we could be in love, lighting up the dark, but there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, the love, 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 yeah, the love. What is up, the love? What is up? What is up? How's everybody doing, dudes? A very good morning, a very good morning, a very good morning. कैसे हो सब लोग? कैसे? Always on time, always on time, always on time. Let's go, let's go, let's go. अपर ब्रैकेट बोलते आज हम लोग जीतेंगे. कल हम PRX के सामने जीतेंगे, उसके हम DRX के सामने जीतेंगे और उसके बाद लंदन. It's time to lock in. It's time to lock in London. It's time. Yep. Your hairstyle matches with KO. भाई मेरे को वो आने वाला चैट, डार्क सर्कल का भी ऊपर वाला. सुबह 8:30 बजे सोया है यार. क्यों? फुक्कट रात को मेंबर्स ओनली क्या? दिन में एक किया बस है ना? हाँ, रात को भी मेंबर्स ओनली, दोपहर को भी मेंबर्स ओनली. नहीं बस है ना यार एक. उसके बाद वन पीस देखा तेरा भाई. मैप विटो देखो. अरे देख के क्या करे भाई? मैप विटो देख के क्या करे जब सारे मैप्स हमारे स्ट्रांग है? ने देख के क्या करे? ओ वो लोग ने ये मैप लिया, क्या करे जब सारे मैप्स हमारे स्ट्रांग है? मैप विटो देख लो.
Team in Pacific, take your pick on who you think that is. They'll probably be top 2 in Americas. Pacific this year, this is the most competitive league ever.
बराबर.
만족도 50%? 한 60%ぐらいだと思います。
बस मैप आ रहे हो लंदन?
理由としては周りのチームがもっと
घर
全
के
部強い
बाहर
の
नहीं
で
जा पा रहा हूँ.
それと比べてしまうと
लंदन जाओ.
なんですか、自分たちはもっと練習して完成度を上げていかなきゃいけないなっていうの
Who
を
will जीतेगा भाई?
From a
G
skill level of 10, I
fighting.
would say it's about a 7 because we
RRQ.
qualified for playoffs, but that's only the first step. So not playing exactly the way we should be, but
Love
improving
Robinson
every couple
language.
패치가 일어날 때마다 힘들긴 합니다.
T69 हारे क्या?
선수들은 요새 좀
1972 में
많이
यार गए.
집중하고 있기는 해요. 뭐 다들 알잖아요. 담비 네온 워낙 공격적이다 보니까 그거를 최대한 없애지 않으면서 할 수 있는 걸로 생각은 하고 있습니다.
Our mindset going into playoffs is step 1 was making it, step 2 is qualifying for Vietnam, and step 3 is London. So one step at a time.
저희가 가장 좀 힘든 게임, 벼랑 끝까지 몰리는 그런 경기를 해보고 싶어요. 우승을 할 수 있는
오케이,
팀으로
ठीक
성장하기
है.
위해서는 그 경기가 필요하다고 생각을 합니다.
10 तारीख को.
First seed, I think we've shown that we play very well, so we aren't afraid of anyone. Whoever we face.
Done है.
I hope Global Esports is our first opponent.
I'm excited for the first
चलो,
match.
हेलो बंक्स भाई, हाउस व्यू? सब बढ़िया.
But if I don't win, you better win.
Jovi, I wish you the best. If you beat us, I hope you make it. I just don't think it's gonna happen.
ก็คงเป็นการ
ज़्यादा चिल करके नहीं
แก้
बैठे
แผน
लेकिन फ्रॉस्ट बाय कुछ
ก็
ज़्यादा ही.
แก้ในสิ่งที่ตัวเองทีมตัวเองเล่นพลาดนะครับแล้วก็พัฒนาทีม
कुछ एकदम
ไปให้ดีขึ้น
insanely chill करके नहीं
ก็
बैठे.
ถ้าวันไหนผู้เล่น
insanely.
เล่นไม่ดีแม้กระทั่งพิมมี่เดี๋ยวซูชิบอยอินครับプレーオフに進む唯一の日本チームとして日本のバロラントシーンがどんどん
जी का ट्वीट देखो. क्या देखे भाई? कपड़े चेंज किया रहेगा वापस मेरे परमिशन के बिना. नहीं और क्या किया रहेगा? हाँ, हर 2 दिन में वो लोग का मैच रहता है. हर 2 दिन में मेरे कपड़े बदल देते हैं यार वो लोग यार. एक बार भी ऐसा पूछा बिंक्स भाई प्लीज कैन आई चेंज योर क्लोथ्स? नहीं, बिना पूछे. ये मास्टर वर्सेस अप्रेंटिस नहीं, मेरा RRQ के साथ फोटो डाला. मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, ये जो हर जर्सी में मेरा जो फोटो डाला है और हर जर्सी में जो इतने सारे ब्रांड्स है, हाँ, एक वहां से आ जाता तो
RRQ. Welcome to Playoffs Pacific. We kick things off with RRQ taking on GE. RRQ, definitely one of the most resilient Pacific teams. They are never truly out of a fight until the game is done. That resilience has led them to becoming kings of Stage 1 last year. Can they return to the throne?
Yeah, they had a very rocky group stage.
मोने भाई याद रखना, जर्नी कहाँ से चालू हुआ, द रूट्स याद रखना मोने भाई. मेरे हिसाब से जमकिन MVP आज.
Want to see crazy guy playing in front of our home crowd over in Ho Chi Minh City, but we want to see Joby win over his former head coach in Frost.
ये भी 2-0 हारेगा.
in a bracket
ये भी 2-0.
where I feel like the third team to make it to London is kind of up in the air. I think PRX and T1 are a shoe-in, but past that, I don't know what's going to happen. So this is a must-win game for both teams.
कैसी चल रही जिंदगी लाला, कैसी चल रही है?
Finally in playoffs, this is finally a stage where they can show what they're truly capable of. Now it's time to answer the question that everybody has on their minds. Can GE actually do this?
मजाक सेट कर, इसकी पीठ पे वो रहना चाहिए. He also loves me.
Oh, I know that better than most people, but here we are today. It's the first day of playoffs. You get to see this roster take on one of the old favorites here. I think they're for sure the underdog. They're coming in here without the experience as those players on the other side, but they're ready to bring their A game. They're ready to upset everybody today and show their true potential here in the playoff stage.
Yeah, I'm looking at the leadership of this team. I think Autumn with a lot of experience, Patman haven't played at some of these international events, and Frost always putting together teams that end up doing better than the sum of their parts. This is probably the best GE roster that we've ever seen assembled thus far, and they need to take advantage of it. And to be honest, if you're going to be making it deep in the playoffs, you've got to take down a couple of Titans in Pacific, because as they mentioned in the hype trailer there's a lot of dangerous teams in bracket.
I mean, it doesn't get easier. To quote Frost, just do your job, guys. Let's do the job today. That will be the motto for them, I'm sure. They know that they're good enough to win this game if they play to their level. Take a look at the map detail again. You can see the mind games. You see how it plays out between two old friends here. And I love that Ascent is that map 3. My goodness, I want it.
And it's going to be starting right in the first few rounds, because with RQ starting on attack and we saw GE's comp, how well
इंडिया के भाई मैं मजाक सेट कर भाई. बहुत लोग पूछ रहे एनसी के लिए क्या टीम तुम सोच रहे हो. आज मैं ये पर्दाफाश करना चाहता हूँ. For me, ANC lineup for Team India should be Ion 2x2k वो वाला भाई, FNS 2 हो गए, करी 3, जरविन भाई 4, और 5th आपके सामने ये होनी चाहिए. मजाक सेट कर. रस लैंग्वेज वो एक्चुअल में इंडियन है. हेलो लैंग्वेज भाई गोवा का है वो. हेलो मर गया भाई. थैंक यू बक्स भाई. मैं 5th नहीं रह पाऊंगा, टाइम नहीं है इसकी तो.
Now you feel like it's almost back to the starting point, because with playoffs here, all of these teams are definitely showing a different side of themselves.
All right, we found out what RRQ have been cooking. Monya, he's had his struggles playing only Neon thus far. Back onto the controller, Harbour, a very popular choice, but they're throwing Jemkin onto Neon. It's something he's played every now and then. He's been decent on. He's always good on any duelist, and they're playing double Enid here. That's going to give them the flexibility to work the map a lot more than Nong did against GE on the attack side first.
वहाँ पे
and like we saw Nongshim get stopped a lot in the chokes and then have no secondary answer. This comp will have a lot more util to work with. Should be able to go a bit slower. Mid-round more effective. So that's clearly the approach they're taking, is try and bait out this defensive util. That puts a lot of pressure on Javi. You have to be smart with your Sage util here. Otherwise, if it gets baited too easily, the side becomes open.
Oh yeah, the IGL matchup is crazy as well between RRQ and GE. Just about everything in this match is just so crazy too. We're gonna send it to our casters for our first map of the day, over to Quack and to Elfish.
आप लिंक फाइव तो हॉस्पिटल कौन करेगा?
Thank you so much, Mika. Yes, of course, a lot to talk about today, Quack, and I think the Dets have really laid it out nicely for us, starting off with our first game of the playoffs here for Pacific Stage 1.
Neon nerf होने
have you
वाला
got
है?
any thoughts? Have you cooked anything up in the lab?
Sources कह रहे हैं कि buff होने वाला है.
In my lab, oh,
Slide
not much.
करके दो गन
I
से
think it
मार
all comes
सकते हैं
down
इस
to
बार.
what happens on the stage. In fact, it's just the main theme of today would be the fact that
You can
the
buy
teams that
Vandal
win
and
their
Phantom
series today
together.
will kind of join the next two teams as the Elite Four
आज आ रही तो
Pacific,
बाहर है क्या? नहीं,
and
lower
that would
bracket.
be one step away from
Lower
actually
bracket.
making it to that Masters London qualifier. I mean, it's just such a big pressure-staking game. It's a lot on the players' minds, but at the same time, you don't want to go down to that lower bracket. It's a more treacherous path, more potential pitfalls facing off against teams like BFM, Nongshim. So it all comes down to this.
It does indeed. Lots on the line, like we've said. The desk have really set it up nicely for us, but importantly, we have to remember a couple of things for these two teams. RRQ, of course, trying to send Crazy Guy to Vietnam. This is one step on that pathway. And for GE, their first time as an organization in playoffs with lots to prove for this.
1972 से बोल रहे.
Another question, we'll get all the answers as we jump into game number 1 of Pacific Stage 1 playoffs.
हल्का सा watch party कर रहा हूँ. हल्का सा watch
You
party
saw
कर रहा
how
हूँ.
divided it was on the
text
predictions. The desk had no idea, we have no idea. Let's just get
ये
into
तो
it and
voice
see how we
note भेज
go.
दो, मैं सुन के मैं reply
Would love to see an Ascent, of course, as well. We already have that a little bit in China. But for now, over onto Breeze, where RRQ are starting out on the attack. As the desk mentioned, GE were very strong on their defensive side previously. This time they're pushing down middle on the pistol.
Yeah, something different. See if they can have an impact in the game nice and early. Unsettle RRQ. Haven't found anything thus far, but they've been spotted out, and that is potentially bad news. GE have to make a split-second decision. Do we keep going, or do we cancel? The answer is, we're going to keep going, but we're going to go right into Kushi, and we're going to go right into Crazy Guy. This is the perfect start for RRQ. The pistol surely now unwinnable for GE.
Yeah, no shot. Crazy Guy finishes it off with a 3K. I mean, this is exactly what Morgan was talking about on the desk. Just the fact that picking this map into, or picking this side into G must mean that you have some kind of antis cooked up. And this one, you could clearly see it. As soon as they saw all 5 down middle, it's a quick pivot over on the B side. That's footsteps. And G thinks to chase instead. Unbeknownst to them, it's Crazy Guy. It's still holding on. Pick them apart. Off to the next round now. You got to think about how this composition can continue to work off as well. Because you got the hard range, you got the double initiator. You can play a rather controlled, measured style. They will continue to default for now.
I mean, I love how that pistol has set us up because, again, you know, you talk about the mind games. That was a really big conversation point. You know, the coach matchup, and I think that round is really a good example of it, right? There's certainly a lot of layers to that. GE this time coming off worse for it, but I'm sure there's going to be a few more implications as we go deeper into this matchup as to how those kinds of rounds are going to play out, and there'll be a few fumbles probably from RRQ on that way as well.
Yeah, so much potentially. I mean, that's, I think, another big question as well, just seeing Global Esports' path into playoffs. You know, first one, it's pretty big for this team, you know, apart from Frost. Have they regained that composure ever since that game against KRX, PRX even? They've been looking a little worse for wear. They did find that recovery against Nongshim. But what about today? You know, what if RRQ comes in with spoilers to their plans? Do they lose that kind of composure and confidence in themselves and their ability? Again, so, big test. But for now, just an anti-ego, quick Russian from RRQ.
Yeah, 3 players on this side. Now 2 though, as Javi has gone down. Jemkin putting in some work on the entry. Has some amends to make for last week, I think, and it's good to see him starting well. A pretty routine out here. Most keeping an eye on there is Jemkin just walking in, hitting a nice couple of shots, settling himself, feeling comfortable. Like he's been a big X factor or a big proponent of the success for RRQ in the past, and the fact that he just went completely missing last week was such a surprise to us all. But if he has a good day today, well, maybe it will be RRQ's day as well.
Right, could be fast. If this map goes RQ's way, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be a little bit worried.
Do we Indian players?
But that aside,
Do
you're
we
absolutely
thoda
right.
sa pade kar lo bhai?
He did find that recovery towards the end of the maps as well.
Yeah.
And that's just something that you always got to think about with this guy. The fact that he's on the Neon as well is very interesting because he doesn't tend to be that kind of dive duelist style, but that's what they're going to be doing into A site.
Certainly. Quick round here for the first gun round as RRQ take all of that space. They've got themselves a Viper wall set up. Get that plant down early on in the piece. The question is now, sent in the direction of GE, what is the answer going to be? They're waiting, of course, for Yutatan to come across. He's still making his way through Sports, so will probably slow down for the next 5-10 seconds or so.
इसको retake wall के लिए यहाँ पे neon को मारना ही पड़ेगा. अगर neon मर गया तो लग गए. ना?
Drone over the top, trying to figure out where RRQ have got this setup, and Yutatan very, very scared about pushing his way forward into A main. There's multiple players waiting for him there. Jemkin for one, but no more than that. GE looking for their response, and it is Swift.
Just completely corralling RRQ all around the site. A bit of distraction bought by Yudotan, especially with that relay bolt coming across. I mean, they started to turn away from the actual fight happening around the pyramids. The two players who were holed up inside of shop. And that's, I think, where the fight completely broke apart. Also, quite, I think, controlled with G and how they decided to sit inside that cove, break it first, and then that's how you find those trades, right? You can see that Jemkin, apart from the initial shot, RQ tried to fight back as well, but ultimately, it's the better weaponry that comes out on top. So standard start so far, and at the same time, RQ being able to buy back up, they will probably start to be aware that G might have some potential push-outs outside of B for now. So, back over at the 3-2 split.
I'm intrigued to see what Yutatan is going to get up to here. He's obviously got the judge in hand, so see if he can maybe get a little bit more aggressive, which is kind of what you're seeing outside of A here. Obviously, GE a little bit more interested in taking a look at middle.
And that's what this double Sentinel composition can do as well. We saw it against Longshan. We saw how effective Javi can be with the Sage, the walls coming up, blocking off avenues of entry, the slows coming in to slow things down as well. But the main thing right now, though, is they're aware of Xpharaoh being around the corner as well. Does G continue to push the issue? Is RQ going to try to pivot back over onto A site?
Oh, nice bait and switch, but it's not going to matter. Xpharaoh is just so much better. I mean, you saw the aim get dragged away, but such a quick readjustment. And that's a perfect start for RRQ as they'll waltz their way into A.
Yeah, the only way that G turns things back is if Crystal somehow really proves himself to be the better Russian and finds some frags necessary. Slow mid-rotation as well, because they're always concerned about potential lurk.
There is a lurk. Crazy guy. Just trying to hold on to middle. Look at the way his position, but again, it doesn't really matter. It seems like the aim is on point for RRQ today. Gets traded out by Patman. That's largely irrelevant at this point. It sort of feels like GE are already in safe territory.
Most likely. It's just not really being able to see too much. The Viper wall up over the A side as well. It's just way too difficult. So, relatively good call to save, but apart from that, you can tell, this is exactly what you're thinking about. Could the confidence be shaken again? You had two players inside of K main, and somehow that's still broken apart because of just Xpharaoh with the aim. You had a judge as well. Like, those are positions where you're meant to win, but one way or another, it happens, and you have to quickly pivot over to think how to recover from that spot. Unfortunately,
that's literally just a mechanical diff at that point. Like, you're right in saying that should not go that way. And, I think there's no real...
Dad's disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing else you can really say because you didn't do anything wrong per se. You didn't have a bad setup or anything like that. You just didn't hit your shots. And on a day like today, you're going to have to be hitting shots. But GE have to try and shake that off. But I'm starting to get a little bit worried here, Quack. This is looking a bit awkward. RRQ are fired up, man. They're hitting everything. And GE coming in a little bit sleepy. Autumn 0-5 as well. That's 2 rounds in a row now where he has lost the opening pick as well. GE have to start getting a bit worried here. They've got to find a way to turn this around. Push coming through from Yutatan. That might be just enough to settle the nerves here. Bring it back to a 4-on-4, slow it down a little bit.
Ye menta.
Some breathing room.
Exactly what you need in this moment. start to think about where RRQ could be positioned.
Yeah,
the drone
fast in
potentially selling some kind of a fake. At least you'll still trust in the utility that you do have, which would be the Viper wall as well as the Sage wall inside of Cave. So 2-2 split for now. They can always rotate back and forth.
No buzzer race of milestone it is. Hello, 5-8, कैसे हो लग जाए? कोई चीज़ नहीं, thank you for the 13 months. Love you.
But that's unfortunately not the right gamble.
Well, once again, RRQ just going to try to filter their way out onto this A site. At the fast lane, they had a Viper wall. RRQ happy to take that plant. GE happy to play for the retake. Hits down now as well. So that will add another element of difficulty for GE, but Harvey finding Crazy Guy at least gives them the player advantage, and Kushi is quite low now as well, so
this pit is Gucci for us.
GE. They've got to push their way into that pit.
नहीं ये एक्चुअल में हम लोग के लिए अच्छा है वो लोग को पिट से बाहर निकल के मारना पड़ेगा वो लोग
surviving for now. Orb goes up to try to slow things down. Jemkin again, he's on a bit of a heater. A triple for Jemkin in the round. It might just be enough to close it out. Batman saves the day with the final shot through, and there is time for that defuse. GE will get themselves their second, but it is on a knife's edge right now.
Yeah, not exactly the way that you want to start the round, but at least they still managed to stabilize towards the end. The Viper's pit, unfortunately, somehow became RRQ's undoing. They all stayed inside of it, and unfortunately that's where Omega
Group A or Group B
with the relay bolt starts to break things apart. Jemkin, they always had to pivot back and forth 90 degrees left and right, and it's always a tough shot to hit, especially when GE are this much inside. That said, though, it's still a really good point to bring up the fact that Autumn needs to step up.
100%, and maybe that's going to be the conversation here. Like we've said, it's a real mental battle between these two teams as well. The two coaches coming in, they've worked together for a long time in the past, and now facing each other head-to-head on the stage, and this is where they first both get to have some really significant impact on this game.
It's definitely what I would give to be the coaching booth to be able to listen in. It's just such an interesting thing to think about, just the fact that they are both so familiar with each other.
Let me think about it.
Thinking about Valorant, they've seen each other's. Well, I mean, at least Jovi has seen Frost's approach towards Breeze for now. But that's where you really want to think about how the next few rounds could go. So far, this comes down to 2 retakes successful for GE. Apart from that, they've often lost the initiative in the early fights, and that could be because of Autumn. As the solo chamber, you really need him to be able to, either find these early picks or anchor down sites more effectively. Right now, though, it's an attention towards middle. Meanwhile, RQ is staying with the same 3-2 split setup.
Yeah, I think you probably want to change up the approach to the early round for GE. That will be the conversation point in that break time. Next time they're going to, as you say, add a couple more forces. That stage wall up over the top, but irrelevant again as Xfero finds Patman. It's just so awkward, GE, they're trying things, they're trying to unsettle RRQ, but it seems like RRQ always have the answer for what GE is trying to do.
ये वाला को लोग को पता है क्या करने का ये वाला नहीं ठीक है ये वाला नहीं
I mean, the RRQ core, this team has stuck together for quite a while. A lot of experience, a lot of comfort in these positions as well.
Xfero low, but still hitting shots, and so Harvey's going to go down. It's a favorable exchange, of course, for RRQ, and even with that clean kill onto Xfero and onto Kushi, this is still a really tough round for GE. You've got to get past Monyet and Crazy Guy, and Autumn, who has only just found his first frag of the map, is the one in the 2v1 clutch. There'd be no better time to start to turn it around than now, but Quack, I feel as though he might be starting to run out of time. A tap on the defuse, tries to get something going, but it's impossible. The crossfire is just too strong.
And ये वाला नहीं करेंगे.
That's a potential factor. You would have hoped he would have found the first one. I mean, so far so good. The micro, he's able to TP away off of the flash. But down to the kills, something's still not connecting for the guy, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's clear this together.
And apart from that as well, yeah, you could definitely see this is exactly where all the plans fall apart. Initially, Pat taking first contact, they saw the positions, but as they shifted over onto the retake as well, just not able to find the correct footing. RQ instead, they stagger all the positions all across the B site, and now that could be the game-changing plan that gives RQ the lead. Economy broken for GE, but now Autumn's starting to strike back.
Yeah, that's a bit more like it. He's been having an awkward time at the start of the rounds, but now RRQ get a little bit of their comeuppance. It's a greedy peek maybe from Jemkin straight into the shot from
Oh.
Ornament. Now all of a sudden, GE get to play from the front. They get to play from the 5-on-4.
Look at this as well, right? The rotation off the initial pick, and you also have the ultimate brought out now. Toward a force online and zeroed in on towards A main. Anyone who dares step out if the wall doesn't come up in time.
Jeremy, thank you for the 20 Canadian Australian dollars.
Hunter's Fury with a little bit of a look in as well, but the connections lacking. And Autumn has changed up his position as well. Won't be scanned, and it's going to be too little too late for Kushi as that information now starts to come through. Autumn starting to pop off in this round. He's been missing, but now he's being the difference maker. Almost on for the ace. Doesn't quite get it done, but brings it down to the 1v1. And the ever so reliable Patman is there for GE. Can he get it done?
He's been that guy for the team, but now it's just a sheriff.
उसको मालूम पड़ना चाहिए वो लेफ्ट साइड पे किधर तो है या फिर डिफॉल्ट है फिर लेफ्ट साइड पे किधर है.
Doesn't quite manage to find it there. Sparrow Batman cleans it up with the shot through and GE.
Bro, W autumn वाला round का, autumn वाला round का,
4K from
autumn वाला round का.
and then a 1v1 clutch.
जेरी पे $2 से आगे बढ़ गए crazy वे $20.
Not entirely convincing now, is
आज
it?
प्यार में लगता है.
Still though, I mean that star factor, you love to see.
गाइस अगर किसने नहीं बताया है अंडी मंडी जिसने लाइक नहीं किया हाँ प्लेऑफ चल रही है अंडी मंडी मैंने पहले बोल दिया
Strength of the composition that RRQ has brought into the fray as well. You've got a Viper Wall initially to kind of condition and mentally confuse your opponents, but then the second deeper Harper Wall comes up, and that allows for Crazy Guy to come in with the side flank, which fortunately brought the numbers back down a little bit more. For GE then, once again, try to get the right read, but the 0 points always tossing things apart. It's an A split now.
Yeah, I wonder if RRQ going to go fast here to try to unsettle things. It looks like that'll be the case. Jemkin instantly taken down on the trade, but RRQ very happy with the entry they get. It's a 2-for-1 into A. They get the plant down, and again, it's GE on the back foot.
I mean, that just tells me, right? That's such a big read. You saw that Autumn was starting to up. Now you know he's going to be buying that for next round. Let's just run it down. And they actually managed to find the successful trades. You've got Null Command propped up as well, and that's going to be GE a little slower to the party this time. Same approach from Eurotown to the back of A main, and it seems like Monyets were rare.
Oh, straight on in. Eurotown gets the better of Monyet.
Oh,
so back
shit,
into the 3-on-3, and it almost feels like
hai.
Groundhog Day. They're retaking into a pit on the A site once again. That was
हम
one of
लोग
the rounds
वापस
that
space hai.
GE won, but this time they don't have that much time to play with.
Spam
Luckily,
karte
they've
raho,
got
Lala.
Kushi out of the picture. It's a 1-for-1. Now
Spam karte
Eurotown
raho,
starting to
Lala.
come into his own. Xpero not able to pull it off. Defuse on. It will be close, but Eurotown doesn't have it. Oh, RRQ will take the round.
कहाँ जा रहे हैं हम
Put that one
लोग?
together quickly enough.
Unfortunately not. Yeah, I mean, every round so darn close. They have to fight tooth and nail for every single retake that they have. And this one comes down to time. They had the positions. Eurotown broke apart this A main hold with that relay bolt, which, you know, kind of meant he had left to deal with the Viper Spit. So it all came down to how they actually timed their peaks and trades into it. They actually managed to find the frags necessary, but just down to that defuse, man. Oh my goodness. Once again, you have to think about economy, and once more, GE is broke. They dumped the pit into A main, but the hit's going to B.
Yeah, RRQ once again looking to try and play this one quickly. They've figured out maybe that's going to be the recipe for success, at least in the middle stages of this half.
Spike planted.
Patman, the only player with a rifle in this round, and of course, like you said, he pulls the pit out in A
भाई
main,
लेकिन
so
एक
doesn't
मजाक
have
से
that in the back
हटकर
pocket anymore
एक बात
either.
बोलो
This is a very tough retake for GE.
एक्चुअल में अच्छे खेले हैं बहुत सारे राउंड्स जो ऐसा कुछ राउंड स्लो कुछ राउंड फास्ट
pistol train.
ऐसा थोड़ा सा अनप्रेडिक्टेबल वाला खेल
Perhaps by the attention away for Patman to find a flank.
Kushi was spotted out here as well, I
my
think.
God.
They are aware of his position, so they're going to try and clear him out as well. Going together, that's nice. But again, time will be a real factor.
Heavy damage दे रहे हैं.
Patman is going to have to come up with the goods. He comes in from that flank and opens it up. Now it's down to a 1v2. They've just got to find Monyet. Crystal's on the defuse. He had no idea, but Patman again gets the kill. Unfortunately, no time. GE are just getting so close, yet so far.
यार सब बराबर कर रहे हैं यार.
I know. I mean, this is already quite the turnaround from last week's Breeze defense side.
So it's 2 rounds and
actually ended up in a successful 9-3. This time around, though, feels like the
Two
score is
rounds
turned
empty.
around, more attack-sided for
तो
ARC.
बेसिकली 2 राउंड ऐसा है जो एंटी था और पिस्टल राउंड हारे और वो एक और राउंड हारा पिस्टल के बाद वाला पिस्टल के वजह से और एक और राउंड वो जो 4 मैन मिड वाला जो है वो 3 राउंड
Once again rushing
और
the
एक
B
राउंड
side.
मतलब टेक्निकली
they've
वो
really
लोग
cracked
एक
the
ही
code. It
राउंड
would
जीते
seem
हैं
like these
चैट
fast plays is exactly what they've gone for.
टेक्निकली देखा जाए वो
Three rounds
लोग
in a
एक ही
row.
राउंड
Once again,
जीते
they're straight on into B. The defense is elsewhere. Hunter's Fury getting pulled out to try and slow things down, but it's not really going to matter. Patman is all over it. The 3-4 game from Patman.
Bro,
He's
hello,
just pulled that out of nowhere.
hello,
That's just straight shooting.
hello.
And it's just the
Excuse
crowd
me.
left. Trying to play by window. Everyone's marking for him.
Hello.
Give him the ace. Give him the ace.
No. You can't let his mental go up that high.
I mean, look, you
Aim
go back
lock?
to that previous round where Patman sort of wastes the pit in a sense, and he goes, "Don't worry about it, mate.
I got this.
I'll get another one in a couple of rounds' time. It's no problem."
I just can't believe that this is how they actually make it work. You know, you have the Hunter's Fury. That's a quick way to, find that entry back in. But Pat taking the confidence to just push all the way down back sight, something that I think RRQ was not expecting at all. And that's going to be another one to add to the montage. There's already a YouTube compilation of Pat being that difference maker for GE. 9-minute compilation.
He has been insane this season, and once again delivering 13 and 4 in this half. And they're down 6-4. Can only get better for Patman, I imagine.
Yeah, real good chance.
Bonus point
RRQ,
for
I gotta
Crystal
say.
Bay. Bonus point for
They're
Crystal
also
Bay.
employing a very different approach to how they normally go, a little bit more slow and methodical. This time around, rushing back and forth, but taking things slow. Economy's not quite there. So just trying to a little bit more scouting, some recon work. GE though, I mean the positions, this is what worked out for them so well. This time, however, it's Javi on a wall perched up on top of the pyramid. So that's another thing that maybe RQ won't expect, but then again, they might not really walk into it. The main thing to watch out for here would be the setup around B site, Autumn and Patman.
Yeah, Drone will have spotted it now anyway. Cushy heading back over to B. It's going to be another B hit. RRQ have been successful getting in, but this time they run straight into Patman. Once again, it seems like the door is closed. Patman is just doing it all by himself at the moment for GE. Eventually, he's overrun. There's a retake coming through here. Harvey, and that is an unexpected position for Crystal. So all of a sudden, it's maybe falling apart. GE with Udotan still alive.
A lot of recon available for Cushy as well, though. Udo has to be really quick to break utility or reposition around.
Spikes out in no man's land. 13 seconds here. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. Has to win the duel and can't. Udotan saves the day for GE, and they are really just hanging on by the slippers of their fingers in a lot of these rounds. But you're kind of starting to get to that high score mark, right? They're getting at least something in this first half.
Yeah, at least 6-6. Not too bad. You know, kind of think about how the attack side could go. Working against a double controller on the defensive. But apart from that, you really have to worry for GE. This is another round again where Autumn has failed to be that anchor for the B side.
अरे ना करो ना यार, लो फील कर रहा ना, उसने मारा ना, उसने 2 राउंड अच्छा मारा भाई.
The mobility, but Autumn was not able to land a shot. So a bit more support this time. It's Crystal on B site, but ooh, big execute coming across.
Yeah, and they're straight on in once again. RRQ not delaying things at all. Plant's going to go down.
Spike planted.
And now just a bit of settling down, waiting for the wall to come across, while Javi tries to set up some kind of a flank. Still has a lot of utility in for it as well, but once again, Autumn onto the off, trying to find some picks, and there he goes.
Yeah, X-Pharaoh's in such a strong position here. They're going to have to try to clear him out. He might even find one more. Javi goes down. This is looking like a doomed retake for GE. Udotan and Autumn. And it's really just falling apart at the seams, isn't it? RRQ with far too many numbers. A solid first half, 7-5, they claim the lead. GE, did they do enough? Have they got enough? I mean, that's still something. It's a base platform to build off of, but they're going to need to have a pretty damn good second half here.
They really do. I mean, you're absolutely right, Jordan. It's the fact that they need to lock the heck in. Second half, start out with the pistol banger. and continue onward from there, because if not, I could see this going south real quick. Look at how RRQ is playing. They're a lot faster than they used to be, and at the same time, they always have well thought out plans in the post plan. Xfero always have another additional layer, someone on the lurk somewhere else. This time it was Xfero out towards elbow, and he's able to be that.
ऑटम बेकार है चेंबर पे, बेकार है चेंबर पे ऑटम। सोच बेकार होके भी प्लेऑफ्स। हाँ, बंदा लंदन जा सकता है, लंदन। हाँ नहीं, तू इतना अच्छा होके 150 रुपए का मेंबरशिप नहीं है, 150, लेकिन उसको बेकार बोल रहे जो बंदा प्लेऑफ खेल रहा है और लंदन जा सकता है।
Maybe the game plan, maybe the prep's just been a little bit better there for RRQ coming into this matchup.
You know, I'm not going to lie. In a nutshell, I would say you're right. I would agree with you. Just the fact that so far this is the result.
वो भी group of death से आया है।
Circles around G a little bit.
क्या भाई जी
but there's still
फ्लैश बैक कैसे लगा कैरी करके? I mean कैरी ओके?
Antis just having watched a lot of G's rounds on defense against Nongshim last week. So really, still could be anyone's game. It all comes down to this pistol now for this first map, though, as GE onto the attack decide to go for 4-1 split into A site.
Yeah, big pistol here for GE, and they have very much been spotted out, so that's going to prompt the rotate quickly here for RRQ. Crazy guy! Had too many targets to try to shoot at Javi and Yudotan. Getting low, but of course, as you can see, Yudotan popping the heal. Patman in for one is not quite enough to get us too excited just yet. That's bad news for GE. Plan's gone down though, and 4v3. You'd think GE should probably have this, right?
Double Sentinel, you know, they're starting to slow things down. They're starting to set up as well. They should, but you got to worry about Jemkin now, who's on a slight flank.
किसका pack है?
RRQ definitely taking their time about this. Jemkin, he's got a few players, too many to handle.
1, 2, 3,
There's just nothing you can do in a situation like that one. Don't think this one's coming together at all for RRQ, but that's a good kill. Trouble is, the post plant is just so strong. And that shock dart is also going to be pretty powerful with the positioning of the plant. Some good kills coming through from Kushi. Is it enough, though? The question I asked.
कोई सीन नहीं, जानबूझकर हम लोग सब मरे, जानबूझकर. That's ultimate सबको.
I also say that's pretty exciting.
वरना एक बंदे को नहीं मिलता था अगर आप ध्यान से देखो तो.
How is it that G weren't landing those shots though? I mean, the peaks and the coordination to go for these
कौन बोल रहा था बे ऑटम को? ओए
potentially set up for trades is pretty sick.
कौन बोल रहा था
But
बे?
down to this one, like, come on.
What the hell?
W chat 8000 लोग देख रहे हैं, स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो. जिसने नहीं किया कल का दिन बहुत अच्छा जाएगा, कोई टेंशन नहीं है.
Potential warning signs. You always want to worry about where crazy guy could be sending these 0 points, and that's what this composition can do as well. You land it just right, you could potentially spoil a lot of executes against Neons. Not to mention the harbor walls and slows.
Well, G have well and truly been pushed back from A main.
में वो लोग ऐसा बगा रहे हैं. भाई वो लोग का एक्शन में कौन अच्छा है चैटी, कौन खेल सकते हैं RRQ वाला?
Not really seeing too much, so happy to send the rest of the team kind of on their way. Maybe have a bit of peek in middle. Even got Monyet maybe thinking about a rotate over to B.
Yeah. In all that time, though, G really needs to either bait out more utility and come down to a quick decision, because in all that time, RRQ's going to be able to continue to reposition. Of course, GE doesn't want to lose their weapons, though. Bring it over onto the potential bonus and ride that wave. That's what they're trying to do right now.
It's been the right call so far.
1 2 3 करने वाले लोग. ओ फ्लैश किया था बे, अच्छा किया था, लेकिन हम लोग देख ही नहीं रहे थे उधर. ना बे अच्छा पॉप फ्लैश था बे वो, लेकिन हम लोग लेफ्ट देख रहे थे. टाइमिंग थोड़ा सा
game on as far as GE are concerned.
Oh no, hang on.
Nah, surely not. I'm not getting baited.
You've got bandits, it's Xfero. I'm worried.
Auto's on the flank though, so it should have it pretty easily handled. Even if these two players come and have a bit of a trouble on the site, you know, he comes in as the late lurk.
7-7.
7-7. Game is alive and well here.
Chat
on
positivity लग रही है क्या chat?
Yes, but also unfortunately, maybe not. The fact that
नौकरी
they lost
मिल गए
3
बंद
guns
भाई
in that
काश
round,
दोस्त on the way
Alfish,
फिर दोनों
is
साथ
quite
में
worrisome.
गॉड
Not gonna
से
really be
खेलेंगे
able to
थोड़ा
invest much into the
ज्यादा
next round. There's a real
खुश
good chance that
love
RRQ
you
comes
Aniket
back in
bhai
the driver's seat.
W's
Starting
congratulations
to get really invested into
congratulations
how this
W
entire
Aniket
map
bhai
could go.
W मेरी
So
जान
far,
को
the
W
leaders, Patman and Dexfero,
wish you
being
more success in
big
life
difference makers. Dexfero then could be such a strong anchor for this B
यहाँ
side
तो
of
गया
RRQ.
आ जाएगा वापस आ
So
जाएगा
G
वापस आ
really
जाएगा
has to take their time with things. That's why it's a more methodical approach as opposed to RRQ's rushes.
So far, so good for GE, though. So let's not
Bro,
get too far ahead of ourselves.
I kind of like that. Pat
G
just
जैसा
announcing his
round
presence
खेल
out
रहा था
towards
ना
middle
वैसा खेल
really
रहा है
forces RRQ to think, do we want to push back? And if we
ठीक
do,
है
we have
अभी
to
उसके
spend
वजह से
something
हम
and
लोग के
consider
पास
for it.
स्पेसिंग
And
बहुत
in all
है
that time,
प्रॉब्लम
G
है
just
कि
sets up
इधर
for a
रोकने
B
के लिए अपने पास सेज वॉल
Crazy
था उनके
Guy
पास है नहीं
and Xfero very much watching for it. The shots through from Crazy Guy only
Now,
amounted
because
to
of
one
all
on
the
to order,
space-
but Xfero has kept himself alive at the back of side, and that is going to be a problem for GE as they're continuing to lose
इतना
players
अच्छा
on the
आवाज दिया था,
entry.
पता है जावी ने।
Finally, he's brought down by Javi, but he's done enough. 3v2, RRQ will feel good for the retake.
Yeah, I really have to bank on maybe the Hunter's Fury, but you're still all, set up around site, so that might not even be a factor. Spotted out now.
Yeah, that'll be trouble. Monyet's just going to back up, waiting for the perfect timing. Kushi instead will be the one to take that kill. And Javi was spotted out earlier, so I don't think he's really going to be going anywhere too quickly. Oh, yeah, defuser's on. There is just nothing you can do. Walls up, and he was out of position. So 8 to 7. RRQ will take the lead once again, and it's still GE that
Love you
have to play
Aniket bhai
catch up.
देखो तो बहुत
Yeah. Really unfortunate. I mean, just once again, look at how it all plays out. I mean, not
मेरा भी
too
नीट
bad
क्लियर हो
with
गया
the
फर्स्ट
macro
अटेम्प्ट में
ideas,
आपके
right, with
स्ट्रीम
how they
देख
wanted to
के
end up on
भी
B-side
क्लियर कर दिया
split.
एक सेकंड देख के
Initially,
भी
Pat
मतलब क्या
showing off his position.
चलेगा
towards
नॉट
middle.
बैड एक और गन गिरता तो
But
मजा
when
आता
it comes down to these fights, I'm
Huh?
not sure what the
Ek
call
gun
was. They
aur
just
milta
weren't
na.
aware of Xfero playing
Maza
towards
aaya.
backside. Maybe they thought he was closer along the entire wall, but
भाई एक्सफेरो फाइटिंग
he
थोड़ा
just kind of springs up.
ज़्यादा रियल
So
नहीं हो
now
गया
a little
थोड़ा
bit more
सा।
aware, perhaps. But then again, a different approach. Middle being spotted out by RQ now with Jemkin jump peeking. Not seeing too much in the early moments, though. And there's a slight chance.
Oh, the pre-fire looked good from Patman, but
ब्रो वो लोग के
not
पास
quite
नहीं है चैट हम लोगों का सारा
just a bit of
स्पेस इनको
information.
सब कुछ डिनाई
They
कर रहे
could
हैं
potentially kick down these
Bro,
doors, set
this
up for
is-
some kind of an A split,
this is
similar to what they
actually
did.
good.
Just a different site this time around, but RQ's being quite proactive as well. Look at the droning all across. You still have Jemkin. Oh my God, who's finding shots through walls?
well, we'll take it if we're RRQ. Anything that can get us through this map, because it is a pretty tight affair at the moment. Hit not yet in from GE, but I don't think there's any secrets as to which direction they're headed in, and RRQ are well and certainly fortified on this A site. Yudotan has to try to make the difference, and he's picked up a kill there alongside Crystal. Oh, hang on. There might be something in this one still for GE. We're back to 2-on-2, but Kushi on the rotate. He gets one, spots the other, and now the round gets much, much harder for Crystal. Has to cross back to try to get that spike. He's
Spot
spotted
again.
out
Dono
by
spot
the
again.
dart as well. Shockwaves in his direction. He
Dono
is
spot again.
fighting a battle on multiple fronts, and it's just to try to cross to get the spike. Oh no! Now a snake bite down as well. Surely this is not possible, but he gets a big shot in onto Xfero. There's no way
Hey,
he
man.
can translate this onto the B side.
Oh no.
He's on the run.
I don't think he's going to be fast enough.
I think he might be. Oh, did he turn around? I think he turned around.
He has to plant safe, though.
He's fine. He's got it down. He's got it down. And he's going to hear these footsteps from Kushi. He actually has time. Why has he jumped? That's so scary. Don't you worry about that one, though. This peak's going to come through. It won't matter. Kushi gets it done for RRQ, and that's another clutch that will go the way of RRQ.
And just look at the player cams. Look at how well composed the RRQ players are. So much more experience, so many more instances where they have been put to the test. They've always had that resilience. How many comebacks, how many overtimes have they already been through inside of Pacific as compared to GE, unfortunately. So that one felt really,
support कर लो no we all know your powers hello
Crystal
अच्छा तो खेल रहे भाई
to get that plant in, but Kushi, I didn't feel like he was sweating that much at all. Timeout now called, and it feels like almost a necessary one, the final lifeline for GE in this second half, because if not, their economy's broken right now, or at least somewhat, and they could really start to lose their grip over this. I mean, RRQ has been kind of controlling things, reading things. You always have this double initiator, which can do so much. If you're trying to break down the door and trying to go fast, you really need to be able to do things in quick succession. Take down these opening duels, set up host plants real quick.
वो लोग जो पीछे से खेल रहे हैं, क्या वो अपन तोड़ सकते हैं?
You can very much see the sweat on the brow of the coaching staff. I think on both sides there. RRQ obviously, you know, they're not out of the woods yet. It's 9-7. Sure, they've got the advantage.
आपका stream देख के मेरा भी नौकरी चला गया है.
Super Xfero, he has been absolutely dominant on this map as well. 21-11.
Just think about that. Round 15, yeah, the multi-killer who's able to break down so many players, trying to set off that B split. It's really, really troublesome for GE. They're going to save up for this round, barring Javi on the hero
Info नहीं तो भी कैसे जीत रहे? Info है रे, space नहीं है.
Probably not going to be enough unless you can somehow
Info नहीं होना और
guns away.
space नहीं होने
You
में
know
फर्क
that
है.
RQ is going to take things slow. You know
वैसा
there's going to be a
space
lot
लेगा
of
तो वो भी info है, वो बात अलग है. लेकिन वो लोग जो passive जो jiggle कर रहे हैं ना, वो सब जगह वो लोग देखो ना.
GE
B पे वो लोग बस close खेल रहे हैं, बाकी सब जगह
working
दे
hard in
jiggle.
this round with not a lot to help them out. There's that drone.
अब जैसे मालूम पड़ गया
Fury's going to be the answer. That is not going to connect initially, but now looks locked on. Kushi gets the better of Crystal. Yudotan taking matters into his own hands. Will still provide a bit of space for GE in onto this site. Spike needs to cross. It will go down.
This is not bad though.
Doable.
Pat in a pretty deep position. If he doesn't get thrown out, if someone jukes it, there could be a lot of problems. Oh, spotted.
मेन वाले को रेस्ट दे सकते हैं.
I mean, even still though, they have to get past him first, and they haven't spotted him initially. Kushi goes down. There's a res in the mix as well, so we're back to 3-on-3. That is very much
time ले लिया.
An angle here for GE.
Shockdart, Recon, ult सब है.
Like you say, it could be impactful. It's going to get pulled out. Hunter's Fury, slow and steady. Here from Crystal, just trying to buy as much time as possible and delay for Harvey. Coming into the picture for two. Hang on, it's a round for GE. Okay, we're back again.
Let's go. A real map in our hands. A semi-thrifty pulled out of the hat. Just thanks to the ultimate, he timed it and spaced this so well. He actually tagged down Crazy Guy as well. But for Javi to be able to stand tall in the moment, that's what won them the round. Apart from that, Pat position as well. Just being able to pull out two more players, or at least close to that, with that one Phantom that was safely delivered to him. Yudotan being able to be that dive duelist as well. This is that GE that makes you believe in this roster. The next round up though, and once again,
crazy था. वो वाला shot
to buy back up.
Crazy and believable.
Money's awkward on both sides at the moment, isn't it? Like, we get deeper and deeper into this map, and everyone's trying to invest where they can, save where they can. That's getting tense now. Scoreline close. Still anybody's map at this point. Yudotan looking to work his way forward in middle.
ये चीज
Not bold enough to cross just yet.
पनिश नहीं हो रहा है बे.
It always just gets drawn out so much. For these rounds, you always want to be
लेकिन majority rounds mid door और pixel angle पे free fire मार रहे हैं ना.
That's why G probably are looking to group up and just storm the front all the way down A site.
Wolfpack style.
क्या है डिले कर सकते हैं. इस बार अच्छा वालों ने बीका info लिया है.
Sliding across gets the early info. G have been slowed down.
डिले करने के लिए
Flash out now as well will slow them a little further, and so buys time for the rotation to come across. RRQ are going to have members here for the defense.
क्या cover दिया Crystal ने भाई?
And it's a quick ult as well.
30 seconds left.
Now Rez is through. Monyet helping Crazy Guy out. So still a 5-on-4 now as Jemkin will drop. There's walls and orbs all over the side at the moment. Xfero on the flank, as you mentioned, comes into play. Crystal down, and that brings Patman across. He's distracted. Rifle secured for Xfero as well, and Autumn just out of position, shot through the wall. Yudotan trying to salvage it. A 4K, and might need the ace to save this round. Patman will help him out. Oh, GE are not doing it easy. I think I might have an aneurysm if I was Frost at this point.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm holding my breath every single time I'm watching these rounds play out. Oh my goodness. They actually managed to come up with the call, but that one little grenade fragment from Crazy Guy slowed it down enough for Chicken to get within range to pop out that overdrive and kind of throw things into chaos for a bit. And in all that time, while it was chaotic on the site, Xfero comes in for a flank, picks up a rifle, finds a huge multi-kill. Thankfully, Yudotan was able to save alongside that ball from Javi, so that's what it all comes down to. But this, Elfish, is where things get pretty interesting as well. We've seen 2 timeouts from GE. We haven't seen them from Jovi just yet, and that's where you might be able to run away with a lead. Coming in with the
9-9, let's go!
And while the desk was kind of talking about this a little bit as well, a big head-to-head was kind of Jemkin versus Yudotan, you know, the main duelist. But another big one that actually Pilsky did mention was Jemkin versus Autumn. In terms of the operator usage rates, it's these 2 that you want to look out for. And if Jemkin's the one holding the operator, I mean, especially if you think about the games from past weeks, last week in ZFM, he is still quite effective. Taking down a player like Yudotan or even Patman could be a very big factor for RRQ.
Could be indeed. RRQ
My pick is
had to invest those timeouts quite as much. So still one more in the back pocket here. If things get tight on their behalf, they'll be getting called before the end of this game. 9-9 is the point at which they might start to get a little bit hot under the collar. Let's see whether or not Jovi has had any positive implications on this round.
Just in terms of positions for now, though. Very controlled, very measured.
Despite having 2 centi, we are getting backstab. Arey babu bhaiya, अपन info लेने वाला जो centi है वैसा वाला नहीं है. सेज वहाँ पे अटैक में घुस के बॉल बना रहा है. चेंबर ने B का info वाला ट्रिप डाला है. वो लोग को पता है गैप क्या है. Oh, check ही नहीं हुआ है.
Goes undisturbed. Hang on a minute. The reposition from Autumn is not enough to save the day. Yudotan tried to help him out, but couldn't. So we're back into a 4v4, which is not unwinnable here.
Wow, they actually dumped the Reckoning all across the brick pit.
Bro, इतना अच्छा जगह था. Bend to the deep हो गया.
GE
बहुत प्यारा
trying to hold strong for the moment. A tap on the defuse. We'll see if it draws anybody out. A 1-for-1 thus far, but Harvey having the impact right here. Does have the res if he wants to pull it as well. Probably unnecessary given the circumstances, but
नहीं करना था, लेकिन ठीक है, जीत गए.
There's no time for the defuse though.
W बे, भाई वो क्या sexy था ना वो.
No way, he took down Pat.
ये लोग क्यों guns दे रहे? Bro,
what a way to find an exit.
But
the round still goes to G nonetheless.
Alt wall sub.
So when do you call the next timeout here if you're RRQ? Is it 11-9?
Alta में अगर वो एक angle check तो जा.
This is really awkward for Xfero. I mean, like, what do? You just have to choose which angle to watch. You get 50-50 basically, but that's just kind of like your sight gone in an instant. You don't even feel like you really got to play that round.
It's just one of those things where you haven't really seen G go in, you know, full 5 down B main for the past how many rounds, right? But suddenly it happens. But still, you have players like Crazy Guy still being able to show up all of a sudden. Now RRQ starting to get proactive onto the pistol zone, and that's going to be easy pickings for Autumn.
Nice try.
And G just kind of hanging back towards middle
nice
as well
try.
now because
Thoughts के लिए 1 point.
Could potentially be
लेकिन rounds
the extremities of the map.
के लिए -1 point. Thoughts के लिए 1 point. अच्छा खुद से info लेने गया हो.
Awkward spot to be in. RRQ I think gonna have to take a bit of a risk somewhere here. 4v5. Jemkin's got the rifle. Push out on B is going to be the risk they're going to take. And
ये main बंदा था. First
no.
pick.
Instead, it's dividends for.
उसका idea अच्छा था.
It could happen over B site now, but they're going to be journeying out A main for the time being, having seen a drone towards his position.
अगर same हो रहा है तो last time कैसे वो लोग B का info ले
That's going to be the call now. They're trying to withstand the fights as well, though. That could be a rifle now picked up.
Yeah, exactly, that's a retrievable weapon.
Bago.
I'm still not sure it really is quite enough to get RRQ into this round, though. They're so out of position. B-side's going to be taken in a second. Plan's going to go down. Got a player watching the flank in mid.
Bro, Viper के साथ कोई है नहीं. ये वाला
on numbers for the retake. Not to mention the fact that Monya's working with the sheriff instead of rifle. So
चिपक के बैठा था तो मेरी गांड चिपक गई थी. ये वाला बहुत बाबा off angle है. Free kill है.
He's fine. He's on the off angle. Nice easy kill onto Monyet, who's really struggling in this map. You know, I think it's looked really good for RRQ up to this point, but a lot of that has come off of Xfero, and now that he's maybe slowed down, the fact that he's sort of patching up the
Language,
holes of
Krishnabhai.
going 5 and 14.
कोई सिट नहीं.
A couple
इतना
of the other
कम
players
चलने
maybe
दे दो.
not quite delivering is actually starting to be exposed, and GE are
Boy,
now
sin.
starting to push ahead.
Can't fault that argument. It's just what we're seeing on the server right now. Of course, this round will kind of write it off because it's, you know, a slight eco from RRQ. But how much, how long can we continue to say that? We're near the end or near map point now for GE for this map. So it all comes down to this next round for RQ. Such a crucial one. You have to imagine this is where that timeout really comes into factor. What have the players gleaned in from the coach's intervention?
Bro, we are playing
Positional setups are so crucial. They definitely need to see some kind of early pick or something. If you're buying up an operator, that's what it's for. And Jemkin is positioned towards middle.
Actually, 4 in a row now for GE. RRQ have to break the streak here. Taking it a little slower though.
I think ये smoke miss हुआ है. या फिर push रोकने के लिए, लेकिन most likely
maybe not the guy that you'd want on this line if the fight's going to happen. He's been struggling. Jemkin going to come across, but loses the duel to Autumn. And Yudotan as well on to Monyet, like I said.
Bro, क्या दे जिगल करके मार रहे?
There's another one for Autumn, so the setup just falls apart for RRQ. 3 individual aim duels won, and that might be the map for GE at this point.
What a way to stabilize. Not gonna lie, this could be where it all ends. Next round, it's quite likely that RQ's not going to be able to buy back up. They might have some ults close to them, but I don't imagine they're going to be able to do that much off of it. Although they have had pretty successful thrifty rates before, this is a GE that is now in control. Just careful plays, positions, expecting RQ to be hungry for information, and that's where you find punishment.
I think RRQ very much been punished in this second half. They came in with some degree of hubris, really. First half looked so good. RRQ were rolling along nicely. But GE able to stabilize, and looks like Breeze will be theirs, though obviously not done yet.
Yeah, there's their map.
To be expected, I suppose.
अगर वो गन ने नेक्स्ट राउंड बीट दिया ना मैं अब भी बोल रहा हूँ अब 5v1 सिचुएशन में जब सामने वाले का पैसा नहीं अगर ये बंदा बच गया नहीं बचा W
What's the money like?
Pretty much broke.
तो अल्ट आएगा भाई अल्ट डॉज कर सकते हैं लाला क्रिस्पी एम को कैसे डॉज करे
RRQ really nice impact from Autumn and Yudotan to start this round off.
हाँ पे कौन बोल रहा था बे ओ?
For all the
कौन बोल रहा था ऑटम को?
As kind of reprimands that we had towards Autumn in the first half. He's really stepped back.
10,000 लोग देख रहे हैं स्ट्रीम को लाइक कर दो मेरी जान कर दो अपन लीड पे है जीत गए मैप 1 वो लोग कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते अपने पास सेज अल्ट भी है गन्स भी उनके पास इतना अच्छा नहीं है कोई नहीं कोई सीन नहीं ये ले उंगली ये ले
nice and quick
4v3
retake coming through from RRQ is perhaps going to be enough. Pushy for 2. Autumn in the clutch. 1v1 could get it done right here for GE. Up on the boxes, spotted out. I think maybe by Kushi. Perhaps the shoulders just see for a second there.
Oh, he's thinking across to pick up the spike.
Has to. Dart.
Ooh.
Obviously knows where roughly he is, and so Kushi takes the push forward and wins the duel. We go again. It's not over yet.
Oh my lord. Oh, Elvish. Isn't this fun? Don't you like casting Valorant?
Yeah, it's fun.
You would have thought that this round belonged to GE. Everyone had light shields. That Outlaw was firing off inside of A main. But unfortunately, somehow, Pat, not quite anticipating that Judge around the corner out by mid, donates one over to Manya. That becomes more kills. Cushy still popping off. And down to this position at the end, just unfortunate for Autumn. He was not able to cross safely. Perhaps if he tried to wait it out, but tried to go for the fight instead, unfortunately was not able to live to tell the tale. The next round up, though, and that's where you start to worry as well, because G can't afford to out the rest of the rounds, it's big setups from RRQ, and they have ultimates as well to weather this storm.
Well, setups can only do so much if there's a good flash toss in. Nobody playing anti there. And GE suffering as a result of it. Hey, I mean, there's a chance we go OT in the first playoffs game of the stage.
Very possible. Unless somehow you find the pick.
Had been reliable, but again, maybe slowing down a little bit here. Not the time to. Still need another round on the board here for GE, but relying on Crystal and Autumn to try to put it together, and they are pretty aware of Kushi's position, but that doesn't make it any easier to dig out.
बेचारा
not happening.
ऑटम भी लाइक राइट में देख
now
रहा हूँ
1v5.
लेफ्ट से मार दिया मैं वापस राइट देख रहा हूँ ठीक
You
है
don't want to donate
लेफ्ट से
these
मार
alt
दिया
points over. Watch out for Crazy Guy though. He's close to no
अबे
command.
पिक करके वापस राइट देगा
30 seconds left.
चल इस बार एक्सपेरो बेटा इस बार एक्सपेरो बेटा
I mean, what can you really do here as Autumn?
इस बार
See if
ऑटम
you
इज
can
लाइक मैं लेफ्ट देख
farm
रहा
up
हूँ
a tour de force, but there's only one round left anyway, so maybe fairly irrelevant. Kushi gets it done.
क्या लगता है चैट
2-11.
स्मेल क्या आ रहा
OT
है
Brewing, RRQ with a late map resurgence.
स्मेल क्या आ रहा है
It's a great setup, the flash into main, isn't it?
It's one that you haven't seen them deploy so far. So
अरे अगर ये
you really
लोग
blame them for being surprised, but that will be the
फास्ट मिड
score.
लेके मिड टू बी गए
Now you're kind of aware to it,
तो
and that
जी
is another one where
अगर
yes, you test the mentality of the GE players. Are
अगर
they
ये
calm
लोग
enough to really put
ए
together
गए
the right calls
तो जी जी
to finish this out in regulation?
ठीक है
Yeah, the pressure is building, that's
बी
for sure.
एंड गया तो जीई ए गया तो जीजी
Once
ठीक है
again, a slow approach
चलो।
from GE, as we have typically seen on this attack.
सब अच्छा कर रहे
Just
प्रॉब्लम ये मिड
trying to
में
end
गया
up on that B site.
ठीक है
You have all the recons, all the potential initiating utility off Udotan, but just for now to break the drone and then go off contact.
Drone's going to spot quite a
अच्छा
few.
अच्छा ब्लॉक करो
Fury is causing real problems, but Jemkin
W,
and
सबको block
Xpero
कर।
holding strong for the moment. It is a
अल्ट से
3-on-3
दो मार दिया उसने
for the map.
फिर भी
GE
3v3
pushing their way
कैसे हो
forward.
पता नहीं।
Patman again, this time,
Bro,
might have
sexy
made the
baby
difference.
man!
As he had so many times in that first half, pulls it back to the 2 players only for RRQ, and that plan's gone down.
Reckoning, though.
oh shit
It's going to
oh
obscure vision
shit
for now.
Patman just drops down, tries to wait it out, can't
bad
escape
for
this
them.
time. Harvey pushing his way
Zavi
forward,
bolte,
just past
Zavi
Monyet's
bolte!
line, and Monyet, the player that's really been struggling all day long, needs to put it together himself, smokes off the spike. It's not going to help him out
नहीं
at
कर
all.
रहा।
Taps are not fooling anybody.
कर रहा,
You've still
नहीं
got
कर
some
रहा।
shock darts through there as well. Monyet is
Let's
down.
go!
GE will take the map 13-11. It was a valiant effort from RRQ to try to come back at the back end, but GE reigns supreme.
I know, just every single round feels so
W,
close to the
W,
wire.
W,
Neck and neck
W,
for
W,
majority of the rounds.
भाई
But
बोला ना
down
भाई,
towards
B,
the end, GE once
B
again
with
finds that composure
so
coming back in.
it's
Just being
easy,
able to clutch it out
easy.
towards the end. Pat finding
बोला
deeper
कैसे दो
positions,
बंदे
and that's
नेक्स्ट
that
लेग में
little
थे पता नहीं
extra
जब
edge that
सवाल
unfortunately RRQ was not able to find. You know, they lost
कुछ
that lead
तो
in
वहाँ
that
पे लेफ्ट
second
राइट हो
half.
रहा
They
है
started
लेकिन
to get a little
अपने
bit
को
frazzled,
क्या
and that's quite worrisome.
Yeah, indeed.
अपने
Think we're going to
को
get a
क्या
bit of a chat
भाई?
down on the stage with the
अपन
coaches,
तो
so
जीत
let's
गए
hear
ना।
what they have to say.
हाँ क्या हो गया गड़ो पापा जीत गए
Hey guys, I'm standing here with Frost, and throwback to last week where you called the team perpetual throwers. You got us for a second, but you guys take the win on breeze. What are you thinking right now?
Sometimes we try to end too fast. Sometimes we get in our own heads. Javi makes a great call, knows exactly what's going on. Someone else overcalls. It's just growing pains with a new team. And when you have to win in this league and accelerate everything super fast, sometimes in your development you make mistakes like this. Unlucky.
Right. Well, I mean, before heading on to map 2, you still got to talk to the boys, right? What's the one thing that you want to tell the boys? What's the one keyword you would like to say to them right now?
It's the same thing I say every week. It's composure, because we have the skill. Everybody in this league
Actual
knows.
में true.
But sometimes we're not as composed in moments as we should be, and RRQ showed a lot of that.
Right. Oh,
True.
well, I guess they got to,
True.
keep
True.
calm and win Pearl as well to close today out as 2. All right. Thank you, Frost, and best of luck to you.
W भाई भी नहीं बोला बे Frost come on dude come on
Composure is the name of
Where
the
is your
game. Global
composure?
Esports takes
At
the
least
first
say
map,
bye. Come on.
but Composure, I would say that not exactly quite there yet. This was very back and forth, even within the rounds themselves.
It was very close, but they got it across the line. That's the most important thing for me. They're one round away from this going to OT.
Everyone
let go! Someone tell Frost they just won the map, guys.
I mean, I think that tells a lot about what Frost's goals are for this playoffs. You know, just winning one map over RRQ, winning your map pick is not going to be good enough for him. Even if they win this series, I don't know if that's going to be enough to put a smile on his face. He's a man with locked goals and expectations, and he doesn't want to see them continue making the same mistakes. But as mentioned, GE do make it across the line, and once again, RRQ 24 rounds minimum, usually OT, but 24 rounds minimum from them.
This was about as close as it could get. How many of these rounds are breaking down to these one-on-one, two-on-two situations? This was incredibly close for RRQ. You're kicking yourselves, to be honest. You feel like you'll need to hit a couple more shots, have a couple different pieces of you to land differently, and you're 1-0 up in this series. Right now, your back is against the ropes.
I'm just reminded of that press con interview where Frost was saying, like, I'm really unhappy with this. I'm so upset. The team did this. And Javi is like right beside him laughing, saying, I'm really happy, actually. I feel like that's what's going on also, like, as the team regroups, right, as we prepare for the second map. But 11 to 13, as you mentioned, RRQ just always like these very, very long maps. But because they've actually been one of the more resilient teams here in Pacific, they actually do maintain that composure. Although GE wins this map, it was still neck and neck.
I mean, RRQ gave them a run for their money, particularly on the attacking side. We're going to dive into a little bit more detail about it and how they approached it. But I liked what I saw from them. GE, though, credit to them. Great attacking side from them as well. I love the contact approach. It really did throw RRQ off. They were great at finding picks and denying info throughout the map there. Big gains from both of the Vipers, both Xfero and Patton going all out. Lovely game from Cushy. You did see Unitan actually outperform Jemkin on the Neon as well. He's got a lot more reps on this agent than Jemkin does, and I think Jemkin kind of struggled a little bit more than he would on another agent here.
For sure. I mean, it's always going to be hard if you're playing that single duels, you're on that Neon, and you're having to contend with a lot of that utility. I do think he was put in some tough spots. But full credit to Global Esports, sorry. Their attacker side, I'm right there with you. I really enjoyed how they approached it. They didn't have to show a lot of it against Nongshim, so no surprises that RRQ were not really as ready for that second half.
Yeah, it was, you kind of like mix it up because like you just said like, oh, RRQ won the map or like GE won the map, because it didn't feel like GE won that map very convincingly. Like when it's a shoe-in and when you know that this team is going to run away with it, we really weren't sure even up until those last few rounds who was going to take it.
I will say for me, it makes me feel a little bit better about Global Esports. I felt like if these games were going to go down to the wire, they would always lean RRQ's way. So it going the distance and Global Esports getting the win means they should be feeling confident moving into map 2.
Yeah, so I wanted to touch a little bit more about RRQ's attacking side though, because they did opt to start attack into GE's defensive comp, and they played quite well in terms of playing quite passively. They waited for GE to make the first move a lot of the time, and they were often able to find picks. Something else that I really liked that they did, I mean, you see in this round just the sheriff singing out as they sit back in spawn side and GE shot down the middle of the map, but I like the way they worked elbow control and denied info over here on towards Nest, as well as on towards this elbow position and deep up into B tons. This was something that Nongshim didn't do very much. Nongshim was a lot of A main and B main control and then straight into the sides. But you see this orb and the cove denying all of that info. You have the defensive wall from GE, and they just have no info on the middle of the map in a lot of these rounds. And RRQ does a really good job denying that info, which baits out aggressive pushes like this one in the mid round. And Xfero was fantastic at denying some of those pushes on the lurk.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was a really, really clear game plan from the side of RRQ of how to counter this kind of heavy stopping composition. And you know, it's all about denying information. It's all about forcing GE to come fight you where you are instead of you walking into their utility.
You see another mid walk here from GE. Drone goes up in there. You get a little TikTok wall over the top from GE, but Xfero again is sitting back in spawn. There's the drone through with both the cove and the orb denying info, and then RRQ once again, they just push straight into the site. Here's a great example of how they mix up the piece. This is a quick A set piece that they did. They also have a B set piece that they did in the early round just to be able to get faster into the site. So they mix up going for these quick rounds as well as these slow kind of pacier defaults where they're going up elbow and up the middle of the map. I really liked how they mixed things up on this attacking side, and it worked quite well for them. I think if their defense was just a hair better, or maybe you got a slightly better game out of Monyet, they probably would have won Breeze.
Yeah, I mean, I really thought after this first off, it was definitely going to go RRQ's way. I think GE did a great job to keep composed and stay in it in that second half. That's not an easy skill against such talented team like RRQ. So I think GE should really be holding their heads high.
Yeah, but let's look at these two players right now. The Viper matchup was just chef's kiss on this map. You have Patman and Xfero really putting up the numbers.
These are two defining players in the league right now for me. Xfero's in some of the best form I've seen from him in quite a while. It feels like since Tokyo Finals, Xfero's just gone from strength to strength, and he's the longest standing member of RRQ. Really is their tokenistic player at this point. For Patman, I mean, he just does things that a lot of other players can't do in this league, especially on such a flexible role. When he's feeling himself, like the multi-frags just come so easily, and he could just win you rounds and games.
I mean, we heard it from Frost, right? I was asking which players really come alive in these high-stakes kind of matches, in high-pressure situations. It's inevitable. Pat, he shows the numbers. He actually does perform. He loves playing in environments like this.
How's the wedding fun,
yaar? Over to
so
Pearl.
much fun.
Speaking of Pat, he did have a lot of very memorable plays last time GE were on this map, but
It's a much better map for RRQ. We can see that they picked it 5 times there. You know, it's not always been successful. I feel like they understand well enough to pick Global Esports less so. They were running that Teo last time.
I love how you said it's a great map pick for them. I mean, they're losing to some of the best teams in the league, guys. So look, at the end of the day, the thing for me, they ended up going 0-9 on attack to lose to PaperX. So their attack was much better than we saw previously on that game of Breeze.
Hello, Pinkity, how are you?
Calling and have a chance to 2-0 here on Pearl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't discount that at all. I just wonder, like, what these teams, of course, you know, this is the first match into playoffs, so like how much are these teams going to be changing their performance? It could still change up, but we did see a little bit of frustration on the side of Frost. I wonder what Jovi is thinking. So let's send it to the stage with Bella and Jovi standing by.
Hello, Adi bye. Thank you for the 20 bucks, Meet Bye. Thank you for the 20 bucks. Nice haircut, looking sexy.
I'm here with RQ's coach Jovi. Well, we saw how Breeze went. It was very dicey till the end, but you know, GE taking the win on that. What were you telling the boys just now?
Just gotta play our game, focus on ourselves, not giving them the kills and those opening picks, because that's really what it came into.
By attack में actual में हम लोग को बहुत picks मिला. Actual में crazy picks मिला. Crazy picks मिला हम लोग को.
No, we had a good.
Meet Bye ने membership renew की. Meet Bye, welcome back. Second membership बोलते. Second membership बोलते. #2. W Meet Bye. W, thank you for the cast membership मेरे जान के उड़ाई.
Very nearly, though. We all thought it was actually going to go into
Jovi bhai ne barabar bye
but
bola.
I totally agree with Jovi. It didn't look like RRQ was very surprised by what they brought up. It was just those little moments, which, you know, many might say is like characteristic of RRQ.
Yeah, need to see them bounce back on their own map pick of Pearl here. Global Esports one map away from moving forward. Take a look at the compositions. Global Esports swapping it up stylistically. Autumn is across onto that Phoenix, so it's double duelist from them now. This to me feels like a move to shore up that attacker side where it was weak against Paper.
We got some changes for both teams as well. We're still running the chamber here on Jemkin, but I believe Kushi Sky and Xfero Killjoy is a little bit of a change up from what a lot of teams are running at the moment over here on this particular map. This looks like T1's comp actually, so we'll see if the pairing of the Sky with the Neon is going to be a good one between Kushi and Monyet, because right now Stacks and Buzz for me are kind of setting the standard for how you're playing that combo right now, and even T1 swapped away from this comp saying this comp is kind of bad. We'll see if RRQ can pilot it a little bit better.
Well, it probably stuck with them after that last match, right? But we'll see if they can indeed make this work, or if Global Esports takes the first series of playoffs. We're tossing it back to Quack and Elfish.
Let's see indeed as we head into map number 2, and it is all on the line now for RRQ, obviously dropping map 1. That road to Vietnam, that road to Ho Chi Minh looking a little bit longer here for Crazy Guy, but it might not be the end of that road. Of course, there is still a lower bracket as well, Quack, but you'd much rather go through the top side of the bracket.
Rushi sir, जी का पता नहीं लेकिन 500 gifted ready रखना. एक टायर अपन लेके रहेंगे गाड़ी का. ये
Just a big melting pot.
I'll be back after this map.
G definitely cooking as well, though, as they push out all the way inside of A main.
I mean, the other question, obviously, is are we going to get to Ascent, right? That's a tantalizing prospect, too. That is a bit of a ways away as we head deep into this pistol, and Eurotown with the first one to draw blood. Crazy guy down out on the other side of the map. I mean, you've still got a second player here. You wouldn't be expecting two to be covering the flank. So Xfero's going to be good for one, but does fall to Patman. Spike plant going down on the B side in the meanwhile, and it's just an absolute mess. This pistol fights all over the place, little skirmishes here and there, as the dust settle, find ourselves in a 2-on-3.
Jemkin bhai ho gaya cut off.
GE.
Jemkin bhai kya aapko kuch dikh raha hai?
Nahi na, mere ko bhi nahi dikh raha. Sitting at the moment. You have one back calls. Kushi will need to hit his first shot here. He's spotted out the barrel. Oh, he's got the chance for the double. The right clicks do enough. And he finds Patman. Awkward timing, of course, on the reload, but still gets a bit of damage off before he falls. And that sets Jemkin up for success. It's exactly what RRQ need. A pistol in the second round. Sorry, in the second map to get things going. Patman just has no chance here at all, as Jemkin will finish it off. RRQ get that pistol and get underway.
Oh my god, make no mistake. Cushy is the hero of this round. Jemkin, of course, as well, a little bit of his own moments, but just the way it all happens is, once again, G recognized pushing out. Very clear protocols. He almost whittled it down to the numbers game, but RQ quickly recognizing to push out onto CT as well, which is where, unfortunately, Manya does fall. But it gives them that extra position. They would never have expected Jemkin to be, blocked off by that smoke. And even though the tap comes in, it's just more positions that G hasn't really contended with before. Next round up, and once again, G still being proactive on the defense.
Well, G can't afford to get too worried just yet. Claiming that old torb outside at A.
Yes.
Gonna get a flash around the corner, maybe not actually, as they do just decide to go dry. Doesn't really matter too much, of course, as RRQ are all set up over towards B. Bar Xfero, who again is watching for that flank, and again gets himself a 1-for-1. I think everything so far kind of going to plan for RRQ.
Yeah, as long as they don't lose more rifles, it probably shouldn't happen, but you can already tell what G's game plan is. It centers around a lot onto Autumn and this Phoenix. You always want to take that A main orb, farm up towards the alt points, or the alt, in fact, and then
अब अगर कोई पीक लेके मारा ना,
he's already done pretty well, but I don't think it's enough for, unless he finds more kills, a round 3 alt, which usually would be the best launching pad for teams. Nonetheless, so this time around, just the musket shots with that Marshall. Cushy being able to finish off with the 3K.
It's a great start to the map. It's already got those Seekers farmed up, so
main ये कि वो लोग को मालूम है हम लोग A में वापस पुश करने वाले हैं Phoenix ult के लिए, तो वो लोग वापस भी जा सकते हैं और वो लोग
So it makes you think about, does G
retake
go
के लिए
back
खेलेंगे,
towards
post plant के लिए
again,
खेलेंगे वो लोग,
build up towards that orb, and what's RQ's reaction to that going to be? Do they just sack the A site, rush it down B, set up around the spike
mid में रखो,
instead?
लेकिन B की तरफ रखो PJ को.
That's
मेरा बात
kind of looking like what they are trying to do, especially when you have Crazy Guy in the Astra, you got stars all around.
Yeah. It's a minefield of stars.
Play mine too, maybe not.
थोड़ा पड़ा.
Yeah, it's not going to be that quick, aggressive play outside of A. In fact, you've still got a couple of players back in the defensive spawn, just sort of milling around, trying to figure out where do we want to go, where do we want to set up. It's going to be towards B, that we do have
counter prowler
stacked up. Jemkin
counter
give it a noise, and the double swing is going to come through. Jemkin just pushed away as a result. Doesn't have any backup over on this side of the map, so most assuredly we're going down. The question is, what is RRQ doing in the meanwhile with all the information that Jemkin's getting, and that is pushing into middle.
Tried to find that port of call over to the A side with the Seekers, but Autumn has to run it back now.
Whoa!
Bro, main player gaya,
flash as well, and he can't quite get away with one more as Crazy Guy gets him in the side, but overall, solid enough hold so far from GE. See what Crazy Guy can put together. Push out actually here from Crystal. Crazy Guy will not be prepared for that, so GE claim their first round.
Three guns is OP.
Yeah,
3 guns
lovely conditioning work, and how G is able to play around. In past 2 rounds, it's always that A main fight. This time around, you kind of sent RRQ back over onto the B side, and that's where they find it kills
Yeah,
Jenkins a little bit inconsequential because it's on and Marshall. But then
Yeah,
you end up back over across middle, and that's where most of it breaks apart because G has control over connector. G has control over stairs, and that's a tough choke point for RRQ to break out of once G already gets a good read across the map. At the same time, Autumn has that run it back. He's still keeping it in his pocket, can use it for the next rounds. RRQ, though, comes in with our own approach. First time with a full force into A main, something that G hasn't really spotted out yet, but they will now with the haunt going through.
Jemkin looking for it. For now, Patman not pushing forward, but I think he will in a second. Curveball's going to come around the corner. Flash lands. Autumn out of the picture. Obviously not a problem just yet. And it allows GE to take that space. So
considering everything,
nice usage of the run it back pushes RRQ
delay bhi
away.
ho gaya, piche push bhi kiya, ek ult kira. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Makes things really,
अगर कोई भी close रहता था ना उसके लग भी गए थे.
Lovely about how G's approaching this map currently.
Bro, sexy खेल रहा है bro.
To spend utility, spend players or timing. Just to take forward space.
It's going to be a really late take on the A site. 40 seconds and
लेकिन अपने पास सीज भी है अभी.
It all comes down to the picks. If Jemkin's somehow able to find one in all the chaos, well,
जब तक Patman जिंदा है.
Sacrifices his body for the cause. Yudotan on the other side of the judge.
Well, here we go. Yudotan inside of the smoke, just going to be able to grab himself the 1-for-1. Monyet out though, and Patman doesn't seem to be too aware of it, so that'll be another freebie that actually starts to stabilize this round a little bit for RRQ. Plans now down as well. Fast retake though, because GE already across, but Autumn and Crystal finding themselves a pick, and down to just Crazy Guy now. This round has kind of fallen apart. It's kind of disappeared for RRQ. It was maybe a little bit too telegraphed. Damage done onto Crazy Guy will make this impossible. He is going to hightail it. He's getting out of there. So another round here for GE, and the defuse will go to Crystal.
वो लोग का angle हटा के वो लोग ने angle hold के hello.
The next round where your team's most likely going to be broke. Not gonna lie, Elfish, this is where I want to sound alarm bells for RQ. I know it's really early on, but just from what we're seeing right now, apart from the pistols, GE is just doing so much.
ये blind के बाद
a lot from GE. Very, very proactive on the defense. Never really felt like RRQ got settled. They were always a little bit uncomfortable, and even in the back end there, that time pressure starts to come into play as well.
And that's the thing as well. If you're seeing, RQ's composition, double sentinel, it's really tough for them to find entry into sites. I know Team 1's played this, but, Bust Stacks is a little bit different from Monyet Cushy. So you really need to find these quick entries. You really need to be able to set each other up, especially with Monyet.
आज मेरा ऐसा दिल खुश हो रहा है कि
once again though,
after
this round, just taking all that space up, be long. They can set up off around it. Meanwhile, RRQ just trying to find as much as possible. Scout out towards the middle, prevent G from circling around them, especially around these connector, B-link spots. Or at least to leave Jemkin
Galine, calm down.
They actually pivot back towards B-Long, and if they are able to take down Yudotan, this could be workable. Yudotan does well to play cautious and head back off slight timings.
Yeah, Yudotan.
Second off angle. To be this turn.
I want to be a little bit careful here. Fast lane should just get him out. It's tough to hit the Neon at that kind of range. So again, though, you look at the space that's taken by GE, and RRQ having to push in now with 30 seconds on the clock.
क्या flash है भैया? ये flash का range बढ़ गया है क्या?
Go with 25 seconds. Like they have zero back control. This round's a sham.
Run into A site. Lockdown already prepared by GE.
You can't. What are you going to do? You're going to lose the round. That's what's going to happen here. We'll see. Maybe Monyet with that entry, but Yudotan farming up a storm. I mean,
spray ball दे, लेकिन मजाक सेट कर जैसे किलजॉय ने अल्ट मारा ना.
Looking in all sorts on this attack.
जैसा ही क्रिस्टल ने अल्ट मारा, the round was pretty much over.
Necessary.
The round was pretty much over.
This was a half buy, to be fair.
Yes. If anything that we can say off of this half buy, or that hero rifle, brought over from the previous round, RRQ forced G to spend, quite some key utilities or ultimates as well, especially with that lock.
The round was pretty much over.
You wouldn't mind it if your G just continued to build up on those rounds, and we will see that timeout coming in. But apart from that, once again, it's just GE working
भाई वो
this
लोग
map
को
to a
लेकिन
treat.
भगा रहे बे अपन
Setting
जिससे वो
up
लोग
four
space ले रहे हैं.
walls around RRQ, and
Not
everywhere
bad.
that RRQ turns to, they just get blocked off.
Exactly, and this is what we wanted though. The timeout coming through gives the chance for coaching staff to have some kind of
Killjoy
input,
क्या
because
करता है भाई
clearly
उसके लिए तो
something's
मेरा
not working in the
membership
server
लेना
right
पड़ेगा
now
मेरा
for RRQ.
membership
They
लोगे
need a
मेरा
bit of
games
additional help.
देखोगे
I
तब
think that
मालूम
was very
पड़ेगा
much obvious
Killjoy
to
क्या
us, to
करता है.
everyone that's watching.
Exclamation mark join.
But I mean, that's a lot to fix in, you know, 30 seconds, right? So we'll see what they can put together with this conversation.
Chat watching देखो और likes देखो गिरेबान के अंदर भी झाकड़ी मार के देखो बेशर्मो you ऐसा झाकड़ी मार के देखो.
Cushy's flashes or Monyet diving in.
क्या पता अगर आज 70k likes होते तो मैं शायद
That's quite
trending में
costly,
होता.
and that, you know, hurts your chances of taking down the actual site itself. So if you're somehow able to maybe work off the operator, and maybe perhaps that's what they're trying to angle towards, go in a little bit faster with the quick pace switch-ups that we've seen at the previous map, that could be something that GE doesn't expect. But then again, let's listen in.
I just want to be guys. East are kept Afros. I think cap. Nothing I guys, nothing I.
जी जीती तो भी दुख हो रहा है क्योंकि नेक्स्ट KRX है. चलेगा ना चलेगा. As long as we are in upper bracket,
yeah, it's a player
I have
GE
no problem.
wants, just again controlling
I
that
have
A
no
main
problem
orb,
at
forces
all.
RQ back, and they're trying to pivot off to something else now. Maybe towards B, where Crystal is, but
10 बार PRX मिले लेकिन upper bracket पे.
It does sound like
Lower
pretty
bracket
frantic
में तो
comms from
डिपेंड है ना.
RRQ, but I suppose that's kind of what they always sound like, so maybe I don't want to read into it too much.
What are you trying to say about Southeast Asian teams?
Oh, I mean, they just talk fast, man. They should be on the caster desk with us.
Fair enough, I love that.
They got the gift of the gab, I'll give them
slide
that.
मार के triple swim करके clear किया.
And Art now, though, GE trying to get a little bit more proactive once again. They could be punished for it.
Oh, ये timing left right
Push
हो
it for
सकता है.
GE, and you wouldn't be expecting it necessarily. Xfero catches one, Monyet the other. Autumn caught with the util in hand, and that is very awkward, but still a two-man setup here. The high-low, not going to be good enough. As that flash comes through, that's good recovery from RRQ. Harvey still trying to fight his way forward, knows that he needs to do something about it if there was ever to be a chance in this round. Of course, doesn't happen, so spike down, 2v4, seems like RRQ might have cracked the nut open in this case.
एक second.
A good way for them to
वो
stabilize
लोग
the
वो pick
scoreline.
fight पूरा हार जाते थे. हम लोग थोड़ा और
See
wide
this
चले जाते
being
थे.
too possible for G unless somehow Crystal's able to
second
find a
बे.
flank, but at this point it should just be exit frag positions. An operator preserved for RQ as
3
well.
wins for
I mean,
master
similar approach
confirmation.
to what
Yep,
we saw
yep,
over on
yep.
Breeze, right? Just a bit of noise and then sitting down, baiting out our GE into the open, where you find that punish. And more alt points being taken up as well. No exits found for GE.
कोई सीन नहीं. We just need
3-3, another tight map.
I think 3 more rounds and
Get the
we
OT
Gucci.
for
I think 3 more
RRQ
rounds we
in
Gucci.
the previous, which is I think what everyone was sort of hoping for.
Yeah.
But we might get it again. Might get the opportunity for it again here.
Not 3,
Quite
2.
possible.
हम लोग को ये
At least
जीतना है.
for
हम
the
लोग को
next
KRX
round,
से
though,
हमने जीतना है.
while RQ
और
tries to
फिर
find
एक
some
और जीतना
momentum.
है.
GE should still
Am
be
I
able to buy
wrong?
back up
Am
and
I
continue to play around the map.
stupid?
It's more conditioning towards A main once again. It forces some of RQ's
Total
resources
3
to
wins.
crazy
Sorry,
guy to
sorry. 3 more than
consistently
total
think
3
about,
wins.
constantly
Total
think
3
about this
wins.
A main position. So it's
Total
quite
3
crucial for
wins.
Jemkin to be able to find whatever he's looking for on this B site.
Yeah. I mean, it's a similar setup again for GE. Take that A space. Start to pivot your extra players over towards mid, over towards B. And RRQ not going anywhere quickly
Not
at the
2
moment.
wins.
Oh. I think they're starting to expect GE to be a bit more investigative outside of middle. And that's where they could find some punish.
Crystal,
Never teach
should have the
goat of
advantage
goaters.
in this duel.
Never.
With the judge up close
Never.
and personal, but neither player really connecting.
Total 3.
So everyone goes walking away happily. Ooh.
तुम लोग ये बोलना चाहते हो कि PRX जो already
Relay ball goes through.
ऊपर है वो लोग
Monyet's gonna
एक
be
जीत
spotted
गए वो
out
लोग
as
लंदन
well.
सीधा.
No picks it just yet.
पागल
Harvey
पागल
comes
हो.
into play for the double.
Ah,
That might be enough to just settle the nerves a little here for GE. They're happy to play it slow. Play for that retake if necessary.
Oh.
Cushy.
Okay. That might make things a bit more interesting. Killjoy ult timing out now, and that'll be the go signal for GE. Yutatan forward, deleted. That overdrive is absolutely nothing. And Crystal, a bit of a whiff as well. Now it's onto Patman, who, again, I will reiterate, has been so reliable for GE. But how many times can you ask him to save the day? Here's another one. 14 seconds to try to get that plan. Patman can try to isolate a 1v1 in that timing. Cushy's down. He knows where Monyet is. 1 HP. Surely it's Patman on for it once again, but he backs away and gets it done. Patman, he does it again and again and again.
My God!
How has he done that with a one tap? I would have thought maybe you saw it in Classic or something if you had the info, but he does it with a one tap for the Red Bull clutch. This is incredible. The player
भाई मजाक से हटकर भाई आधार कार्ड, पैन कार्ड, राशन कार्ड, पासपोर्ट सब रेडी रखना अभी इसका. अब ये वापस नहीं जाना चाहिए. हाँ अब भाई परमा सेटल परमा.
Find that quick entry back in, and Monyet just pulls
क्या
out.
बात है, क्या बात है, क्या बात है.
Frostbite, but still, Pat comes in and isolates those duels. The next round comes up, and RRQ still has Bank.
I think Pat's probably unbeatable in the clutch at the moment. He's just so confident right now, and it is really a confidence game. Flash avoided there by Autumn, and he delivers the double, or maybe just a little bit more than that. GE getting some momentum off the back of that Patman clutch, and they are really putting RRQ to the sword.
Yeah, this is unfortunate for RRQ. You're just starting to pick up some steam, and then all of a sudden you're on that chopping block. Not what you want to have. The one round where you suddenly decide to take and contest for that A main control, but Autumn pulls this off. He's been somewhat quiet for the most rounds, but suddenly comes up again, and he has another ultimate. So this round, G's not.
मेरे को चलेगा.
The brilliant thing really about Autumn in this team is that मेरे को चलेगा ना लाला. You don't necessarily need that from him on a regular basis, right? You're getting enough out of Yudotan, you're getting enough out of Patman, and then as a third
कौन बोल रहा था बे, कौन बोल रहा था?
I know it's maybe a little bit different now that he's on the duelist, but you know, last match there was like 2 or 3 rounds where Autumn just pops off, has a 3K round or a 4K round. Those are
30 seconds left.
really big difference makers in the sort of flow of the game.
Yeah.
And that is maybe why you see GE get over the line 13 to 11. If he's not doing that on maybe 1, 2, 3 rounds in the map, whether or not he's having impact in a lot of the other rounds is potentially a moot point.
Upper bracket का क्या फायदा होता है कि हारेगा तो lower bracket जाएंगे.
What you need sometimes, isn't it? I mean, of all these successful pieces, everyone has their role and has their job to do, like what Frost said in that little playoffs trailer. But
वो चेंबर पे बोला था टेक्निकली उसने 4 राउंड्स निकाले हैं पिस्तौल उसके वजह से एक और एक ऑफ वाला और एक इधर उधर टेक्निकली चेंबर में
is this comp switch up from Global. Autumn onto the Phoenix where he's able to go a little bit more proactive. Coming with flashes, and yes.
I mean, that's true though.
That's
like, he probably shouldn't get 3 there, right? Like, at the end of the day, that needs to be traded a little bit better.
Alas,
बंदे ने पीक पहले लिया.
अगर
अगर नियॉन पहला स्लाइड मारता
Jenkins still has the off, but he's
तो
been spotted.
वो वाले एंगल से
You can see GE again kind of
no,
playing with that confidence.
क्या चल रहा है
And happy to try to chase down Jemkin. I mean, it's space taken here by Yudotan, but Seeker's going to find him. And Jemkin will pluck him out of the game. Now, Sign's going to be taken over on A. So, kind of blows up in the face of GE, that aggression.
Really deep towards the back end of CT as well. If more smokes and shotguns, traps being set up, it's going to be tough for G to clear it.
Monyet gets rid of Autumn, but he's in run-back mode, so he's not going to be having too many problems about that. 4v4 is going to ensue. GE starts to push their way in onto the site. They have got nobody to find, but that Cosmic Divide is going to cut everybody from RRQ out of the site. Defuse very much on offer right now. Patman and Harvey finding themselves some picks, and the defuse is started. Flash onto Autumn is a good one. He can't escape back behind the wall in time, but the defuse, just about cancelled.
Oh my god!
GE get it done.
Oh my god, it's done.
I mean, that wall made all the difference.
Suddenly, quickly deployed by Javi. He almost got caught by Crazy Guy as well, but just heard the footsteps in time to land the off flick. But the moment that really had me on the edge of my seat was that defuse at the end. The kill still secured, but just a hair too late.
Not even close.
I mean, what an
तुम लोग क्या
incredible
लगा हार
round
गया?
for RRQ.
I think it's a great
Actor.
cosmic divide. It just cut all
Reaction
four of those
ऐसा था.
RRQ players out of the round. And to push their way in, very awkward this time. Faster, and Autumn unable to deal with Monyet, who's bouncing around
हल्का सा नियम
all
हो गया
over the
अपने साथ.
place. It's the guiding light, and Monyet
कितना
to get
second
the
बचा
job
था
done.
बे? Hello?
RRQ back with a vengeance here into round 10.
And unfortunately, a little bit
किस
more
पे बे?
weaker now. GE just trying to pick up the pieces.
One enemy remaining.
But Patman
ये
not
round neon
able
हो गया
to
अपने साथ. कोई सीन नहीं, कोई
survive.
सीन नहीं,
Just
कोई सीन
Javi
नहीं, कोई
on
सीन
the
नहीं, कोई
operator
सीन नहीं.
trying to hold on to it.
कोई सीन नहीं, neon हो गया.
I mean, what a quick round. All of a sudden, RRQ decides to switch up
कितना
the
बचा
pace,
था?
push
किसने
down into
देखा
R,
क्या?
something they haven't done so far.
कितना second
And
बचा
it's
था?
Monyet who turns this map into his playground.
जी भाई बाप acting language. सालों बाद घर में खुशी आ रही है जी fighting. Yes sir, yes sir.
Pull off another cosmic divide before the half is over. Obviously, he'd like to just hold on to this Phantom for now. Crazy guy coming in behind. Doesn't look like he's going to check for it. So
Looked like he juggled.
0.0 point तो नहीं
were
था
you any
बे.
good at hide and seek as a kid?
मेरे को लगा half से
Apparently,
मतलब
Harvey's pretty good at it.
half के बाद रुक गए, उसके बाद अगर मार दिया तो फिर time नहीं है.
I'm
फिर
terrible.
लग गए.
Really?
क्यों वो लोग दोनों मर गए ना?
Spotted out around the just no, just joshing around. But as you look to the rounds again, it's RRQ's
Time
ability
था,
to be
time
that
था.
flexible and switch up the pace on a
Zero
dime.
कहाँ से आ गया? 0 point कहाँ से आ गया?
Meanwhile, though, for GE to try to find that correction once again, unfortunately this time a little bit more broke. We'll kind of see how they approach it this time around. They've been
वो ऐसा है कि
proactive,
8 वाले
and
को
that's
मार
been
दो
the game plan.
बस.
He's been
उसने
starting
मार
to
दिया तो
bait
मेरा
them out
इस
now more
ओ
into the
निकला.
open, but go back towards farming alt orbs and then back up on the B side again.
I would hesitate to guess that GE's pretty much taken every single ult orb outside of 8 for this entire half.
Thank you.
So they've been certainly getting their values worth out of that conditioning. Quick rotate over. Brings Autumn
Connector
to
लेने का
B.
call आया.
I think that's the thing about RRQ though. They're happy to let that go.
But
They
ये
leave
late
Jemkin
नहीं
on that
आएगा?
insert, and that's always going to mean that B
Bro अभी
is an
Batman पे round है,
available
ठीक है?
option
क्योंकि ये
to
लोग
them.
connector
And if
लेके
that
ना ये लोग
happens,
A
they take
split
down
करने
a
वाले
place
हैं.
like mid. They'll be
और
able to pivot
Astra
off into the A
बहुत
side if
late A
necessary.
जाने
Jemkin
वाला है.
becomes a lurk,
Amen.
or you end up back again on the B side in a B split. And that's one where G might not be able to respond back
ठीक है,
well
Astra नहीं
enough.
जा रहा,
At least
Chamber
the
जा रहा है.
smoke kind of
Main
deters
ये
them
है
from
कि
the site for now.
ये Amen वाला fight कौन जीतेगा?
GE's really
बस.
hoping for a B hit here. They're not going to get it.
Blinded.
Flash is going to go over the top of A.
Bro,
That's
ये
going to draw the
sexy.
attention of Patman. Meanwhile, Udatan
10
not having
HP,
any luck
bro.
in that fight against Monyet. This is where Patman
10 HP.
really has to have another one of those X-Factor rounds, and he could with 20 seconds on the clock. If he's not cleared, which he's not quite properly by Monyet, that'll be a judge in his hand and impossible to make use of it. So RRQ navigating things well enough thus far. Still the retake yet to come. It's not a whole lot for GE. There should be a 5th for RRQ.
रिजल्ट भी अच्छा था. अच्छा खेला लेकिन जी. ये राउंड हार लेकिन एक्चुअल में अच्छा खेला बे. हाँ? मेरा चैट स्टक हो गया. हेलो.
Some damage, but nothing more than that. So RRQ up to a 5th. GE
चलोगे.
Last round
would
in
love to get that
the
7
bad,
lead. That'd be a
अच्छा
really
खेला.
stable position to be in at the halftime break.
ओह क्या ये 5 प्लेट
Slight
खाने को?
consolation prize for
5 प्लेट
Autumn. if
हाँ
anyone
ब्रेकफास्ट
wants to get
लंच
away
डिनर
from
सब आ
the
जाएगा
back.
इसमें मेरा.
But thinking about the round once again, I mean, although Yudotan does
Cheers, garam,
manage
garam,
to
cheers.
slow them down somewhat, again, it's
Cheers,
just
cheers, भूख
RRQ
लगी.
always making these options available for themselves.
जल्दी भूख लग गई.
And
चैट कांदा
we're
पाव खा
starting
लो.
to see Monyet be a little bit more proactive now.
कांदा पाव खा लो.
So
मैंने
let's
बताया
listen in
खा
to
लो.
how G might find the response in
इसने
this
बताया
round.
इधर बैठे इतने लंबे हाथ एक किचन तक जाते हैं.
Can we dog him and we... Can you fake stop long now?
Cheers. भूख लगी.
Try. Dogging. They dog like... On top.
Same push coming through from GE, and similar result. It doesn't work out this time at all. They've just tried to cook a little bit too hard in these kinds of rounds, Quack, and sometimes too many cooks spoil the broth, as they say, and it seems like GE
6-6
might
is
be
actually
spoiling
good.
their first half a little bit here with aggressive plays.
You are absolutely right, because this
6-6
actually might
is
end
good.
in 6-6. They spent the lockdown in the previous round as well. A little bit over-eager this time. They have to somehow scrounge together a 3v5. Both flashes and all utilities spent already.
God, how do you get in? I mean, there's just smokes everywhere. Autumn
There's the third man.
with a
नहीं,
nice
नहीं,
pick
पागल
onto
है क्या?
Cushy, and he did push Jemkin out of
इससे
position
अच्छा
with the
भाई.
molly, but it's still not enough. It's going to be a tough road back in here for GE. They're just going to have to frag out, and that has not happened. Tough crossfire to break, impossible
Taxi खेला
crossfire
लेकिन.
to break, one might say.
अभी तक जितना दिखा.
So Crystal
GE अच्छा
will
खेला.
do
अच्छा
what he's
match
going to
खेला.
be able to, but realistically, I think we all kind of know which way this round is going. RRQ are not giving him even a sliver. He's going to pretty much just give it up. He knows this one is done and dusted. There's an extra kill just for good measure, but realistically speaking, 6-6 was always on the cards there, and RRQ I think will be pretty happy with that recovery, given the half was looking a little awkward for them at one point at that 6-3 scoreline.
Yeah, good recovery.
फेब्रुआरी 1 में जीती तो
that's the
अपर ब्रैकेट
difference in, I
फाइनल्स
think,
में जाएगी और वो
experience of
अपर
the two
ब्रैकेट
teams
फाइनल्स
sometimes.
में हारी
That
तो
one
लोअर ब्रैकेट
split
फाइनल्स में
second
जाएगी और
decision
वो भी हारी
in
तो
round number
हैशटैग
11, where the lockdown comes in,
3
could have been the difference maker in this round. If you had a lockdown, that could be a whole different retake. But unfortunately, it came down to those flashes from Autumn, and that's where you kind of applaud the attempt at a retake, but you end up shaking your head in dismay at the current scoreline, because once again, we're back to an even footing for both sides, where the pistol has such a heavy weightage. You kind of think about maybe G has had a lot of successful pistols despite losing to teams like KRX and PaperX. But can that same performance be put forth today?
हाँ बे, दो ही win.
These are easy poses still.
These are easy poses. I reckon you could do these.
हाँ बे.
You
So
could.
KRX
We
मतलब
should
एक
get the
चीज़
camera on
लंडन
Quack.
सीधा.
He would love to do a pose.
Okay, nice. Way to throw
You
me
are right.
under
Two
the
wins,
bus,
2 wins.
buddy.
Fuck बे, उस दिन वाला है
Let's
बे.
put Pilsky somewhere.
मेरा brain lag हो रहा है बे. वो
Pilsky
upper
down there.
lower middle bracket वाला
Having
जब
a
से
great time
system
with
आया
the
है,
boys.
मेरा सच्ची
Making
brain lag
twice.
होने लग गया
He's got
है.
big muscles these days. He's been going to the gym. Question is, which of these two teams have been going to the gym here in this halftime break? Because, you know, RRQ and Global very evenly matched right now. So, you know, any extra little bit of conversation in that 30-40 seconds that they have is a big difference maker.
वो कार्य
And
करके
I
नहीं
think
आ
that's
रही
the
है.
main factor for today's game as well.
But
Whether or not we
short
go to
बन
that
जाता है,
third
उसमें मैं
map, which
खाती रहती
again
हूँ.
would be fun, but you want to see them perform well. Main thing is they always need to be able to keep their wits about them, keep their heads screwed on. Once you start to get a little bit over-eager, a little bit too relaxed, that's where things can fall apart. This time around, once again, a main control for GE.
क्या यूट्यूब
Just backing up RRQ, giving the space. And again, GE loves those A ult.
बोला ना वो लोग कुछ नहीं लड़ सकते बे, वो लोग ये लड़ ही नहीं सकते.
Back over onto
हम
middle,
लोग कॉम
and that's where there's more
1000
utility,
times
more
better है.
traps from RRQ, just to try to slow GE down.
पैसिव में वो लोग का कॉम बच्चा.
RRQ looking to retake the
एकदम
space,
पैसिव
but
किधर.
Javi is there to harass them a little bit. Flash around the corner. Monya chasing. Oh! Doesn't matter. Javi happy to take his head off, and that is a lot of space that has been created for GE. Trouble is they've lost a player in transition, so Spike will get planted over on A. This is an important peak for Yudatan, who doubles down out of nowhere. The round flips back on its head. Crazy guy pushing his way straight into Autumn's crosshair, and RRQ, the round will fall apart. It's all on the shoulders of Xfero, who again, good, but now been spotted out. And so you'd think it will be a little bit too much to ask. This high-low setup should have it. Good shot, but a Bobby 3, it does not make. 7-6, GE take the second half pistol.
क्या हुआ वहाँ पे?
Almost flicked 180 fully though. What a
उड़ो
guy.
crazy मारा, उड़ो crazy
Still,
मारा. Holy
you're
fuck,
absolutely
crazy
right.
मारा.
Just looking at how these kills go through, and I hate to do it to the guy, but you have to kind of put Monyet into that hot seat. He's the main player to be able to find that forward space or, you know, further space outside of the spike plant. And if he goes down, that's just more information, more spacing for GE to play off of, and that's where they're able to set up off that spike. Next round comes up, and they're going in with a buy that kind of allows them to play with reserves over on the next round as well. It's a full attention over on
of pushing in here. Autumn deals with Crazy Guy.
Clean
That's a
first
start. Gets himself another ult orb. So they're really trying to funnel the ult charge into the run it back.
You know, with the Bulldog as well, I mean, that's potentially more kills you You have Crystal on that deep insert. So another option back over onto A
Bro,
side.
actually,
RRQ has the same exact
ये
idea.
round
This could be a
RRQ अच्छा
bloodbath.
खेला.
Quick play into where you don't want to be doing a quick play into is probably what I would call that round. Not a very good one, unfortunately, for RRQ. And this second half is kind of just
सब
got a little
right
bit
कर रहे थे,
pear-shaped
सब
for
left
them.
हो गए.
Obviously, early days. But
Oh my god.
GE
Can't
any
be-
real advantages,
Next
especially
second,
given
it's
how
still ult hai.
strong they were
Hello?
coming back from a bit of a tighter deficit in the previous
Yeah?
match. It feels like GE are in command right now.
Next time.
And for the first 2 rounds, if the first half is any, I guess, inkling as to how the rest of this could go, I mean, then we're meant to have RQ strike back. But for now, we're just not really seeing any exploration and ideas towards that kind of direction just yet. I mean, we're seeing Monyet trying to dive forward. He's always the first one to the fight, but the first one out as well. That's not what you want to have. Back again into A main, and GE are poised for this fight.
मनी के लिए चोमटा दूसरा प्लांट करता उसका
Really
अल्ट
gonna
और
be
प्लस
a
मनी
fight
मिलता
presented
था
though. Run it back will be
उसके
invested.
बाद में था कौन सा
Charged up
फिनिश
again
नियॉन
incredibly
जैसे भाग
quickly
भाग
by
के जाके
Autumn,
प्लांट किया
who will just try and get a bit of info in onto the site. Has not seen anything, but he's got the wall out and he has drawn out a bit of defensive util there as well. Which I think GE's happy with. You know, they're not using that as a commitment. They're just trying to unsettle RRQ a little bit. Jemkin now out in no man's land. Awkward fight for him, and Patman takes his head off with the Sheriff.
Such confidence.
Patman not too eager to overcommit though through the smoke into B.
इतना अच्छा कर रहा था थोड़ा ओवरस्टे कर दिया बे वो.
And then you've got G back over onto A main, running circles around RRQ. It's just Cushy here to try to slow it down.
Would this be the nail in the coffin potentially for RRQ if they lose to this bonus? Molly has pushed Cushy back. Not taken out just yet. Yudotan. Oh! He's all over the place and it's impossible to hit, but Crazy Guy can't hold on either. Monyet in. Gets the double, and that will be the defuse, you'd think. Patman's going to try and deny. The smoke fades, and Monyet wins a critical round for RRQ. Way too close for comfort, though.
Truly, but still a welcome hero play nonetheless. I mean, what on earth? For every failed first kill in so many of these rounds or in engagements, somehow he's able to pull this out of the hat. Starts things off from backside and then pushes all the way up front. Able to, slice the pie bit by bit. But it's the fact that he kind of anticipates Pat as well, and it manages to land that final shot. That could have been Pat's round had he whiffed somehow. So, launching Pat for RQ, but GE able to buy back up as well. And G once again just trying to do their best all the way work around the map. Whoa! I just...
Line of fire, man.
You don't need to say anything else. I think
the
reaction says it all. That was...
मेरे को तो sound आया बे.
Right?
What the fuck?
Huh?
That's perfect pre-fire, perfect accuracy. Pre-aim, I should say. Well, Autumn is going to try and salvage it. Ball goes up. Entry into B will be allowed off the back of that. He'll get that curveball around the corner to try and take a bit of that space. Dog misses. Monyet backing away, but GE are starting to recover this round. Forget about Jemkin. Now it's all about Monyet with that overdrive, and he gets nothing done. Hold on. How can Jemkin start around like that, and then you still lose? Surely not RRQ.
G numbers में आ रहा था लेकिन अचानक से 2-1-4, 2-1-5, 2-1-3
but spotted in the end as Crystal takes him out of the air. That is criminal for RRQ to lose around like that.
Cleanest, hello?
I mean, still GE just having those retake protocols. Just scavenging 5. And it begins with Autumn. I mean, this is one. I wanted to make a joke. My monkey brain just tells me, yeah, I'm just going to do it anyway.
I just want to see it again. Can we see it again?
Yeah, my reaction to that would be, well, slow-mo replay, but also check his PC. Jemkin has some kind of, software. I'm kidding, of course. But Monyet has some kind of a bug in his PC. One round he's doing amazing things. Next round, even with overdrive and everything, he's just fumbling the bag. And then G is able to find more plays, more setups around the side off of it. And that's another round where Autumn finds more multi-kills, put himself on top. So the next
Last
round comes
वड़ा
up
पाव
and it's
अपन
going to
ने
be a
कब
timeout because unfortunately, well, GE, as much as they feel in control, you know, there's still some mistakes potential
Can you
plays
not?
where
I
RRQ
made
is able
एक
to
और plate है
place
वो खा
forward.
ले.
प्लेट थोड़ी
Kind
खा
of
सकते
work
हैं
around
प्लेट
or
में
be
जो
a little
रखा
bit
है वो
more
खाऊंगा ना
careful with how you're
पागल
able to
एक
take
और
forward
प्लेट में
space.
भर के
Yes, you
पोहा
like to
देती
leave
हूँ वो
the
खा ले.
players like maybe Javi or I don't know,
बड़ा पाव नहीं
Pat
आएगा
on
आज
some
कुछ
deep
बाहर का नहीं
insert
आएगा.
somewhere,
प्लेट
but
है बॉटल
if it's
थोड़ी
not
जो तुम
safe
भर
enough,
के देगी
you're just sacrificing numbers to the cause.
रख के
Lots to cheer about for the GE fans in the crowd. That is a really massive round to win. RRQ are broke. They've got no tools in this round at all. You know, no ultis really to work with. Okay, maybe Crazy Guy gets the Cosmic Divide or Jemkin gets a couple and pulls out the Tour de Force, but this just feels like a pretty doomed round here for RRQ, does it not? GE should have a 10-7 lead, and that is a
Jemkin
pretty
कुछ crazy ना
commanding
कर दे
lead
bro
in the context of this series, which has been so damn close.
sexy
Jemkin forced away.
Go, go, go.
Usually you could
Must
rush him
angle
seeing just a lone
हटाया
chamber,
उसका.
but that smoke.
Yeah.
भरोसा नहीं है भाई
I don't think we're going to
से
see
मार
that
दे दो
necessarily
तीन
out
वहाँ
of
पे
GE. They
खड़े
haven't
रहते.
really been a fast team so far in this series. If anyone was going to do it, maybe it would be RRQ on the attack, right? But GE have had this methodical style. Even on
Take those
threes.
orbs back over onto A main. Good drone on the timing though, but it gets shut down and suddenly
अच्छा
you're
एक ही
starting
दिखा
to
है
think,
कोई
RRQ,
प्रॉब्लम
when
नहीं
are you
है
going
अभी
to
घुसो
pivot back? Find those rotations.
अभी प्लान भी नहीं अभी घुसो
Morales don't spot anybody. Cushy will try to get back on the line, but just a little bit terrified. And again, GE are just playing this back and forth game. They are really playing ring around the rosy with RRQ. How many times we've seen them pressure one side of the map, pressure the other side of the map, go back to the initial side of the
वो लोग का
map.
stack
I mean,
रहेगा
if you
तो
look at
प्रॉब्लम नहीं
Crazy
है as
Guy's
long as
ability now, he's
crossfire setup
surely
में वो
but
लोग
slowly starting
बहुत
to run
पैसे
out
पीछे
of
से खेल रहे
smokes, and that's going to be an open sight for GE to kick down those
Ooh,
doors.
it's a good gamble though for RRQ. They're going to have 4 or 5 players over on this
Problem
side, so
नहीं है, सब
maybe there's something in that if
जब
the
तक
entries
कोई
don't go
close
the way of
smoke के around नहीं
GE.
खेल रहा
Fortunately, so far, so good.
या
Monyet
फिर
traded out. That's fine as far as
crossfire नहीं
GE
खेला
are
तो कोई problem
concerned.
नहीं.
The Patman deleted by
कोई
Jemkin.
problem,
That
अभी
makes
भी
things a
कोई
little bit
problem,
more
अभी भी कोई
interesting.
problem.
Cosmic Divide still not there for Crazy Guy. Tour de Force still missing for Jemkin as well. But one kill here for maybe Crazy Guy could really make a big difference if he can put down a big wall for the defuse. We'll see. Not quite going to happen in the end. As it is held on to by GE. 10-7 indeed the scoreline. Got a little bit hairier than you might have liked it to have.
ये
But it's a
round
stable spot to be in.
अगर अपन जीता
And stable is
Match
that key
point possible है.
word. I mean,
और
rounds
अपने
like
पास
this, if you overplay your
finish
hand,
करते
it's very easy to kind of lose your head over it. But taking a look at how this plays out, in fact, G kind of regains or maintains that composure. Recognizing, all right,
Yes,
it's
sir.
eco, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to stay in my portion of the site, not going too far overextended towards the back where there could be pistols, there could be shotguns, and they would be right. Next round coming up, though, and it's Jemkin with Tour de Force.
Oh, Harvey deleted. Not much you can do about that one, and Yudatan unable to find the quick trade, so that is going to prompt GE to try something a little bit quicker here. Autumn, run it back.
अपन
Dealt
अच्छे
with by
पोजीशन पे
Jemkin,
लेकिन
but Patman and Yudatan have taken so much space
अपन
on the
अच्छे
side that
पोजीशन में
RRQ already still feeling a little bit under the pressure. Monyet wants to try and claim it back, but it's pushed away by the Nightfall. And this round falling apart for RRQ. I'm getting a good feeling for GE. Another on the board, 11-7, their first time as an organization in the playoffs. And it might not just be a, hey, we're here for a party. It might actually be, hey, we're here to go the distance.
They really could. This is very encouraging for GE fans all around. I mean, the sudden switch up to pick up the pace, and that's what this comp is. Coach Frost trying to play that tempo game. You have Autumn on run it back duty, and despite getting taken down through smokes, they just rush it down, deal with whatever comes, and they shove Jemkin off of that op line. That makes all the difference. Forces RQ's hand into trying to play for a retake, where they're working off of lesser resources. Really unfortunate for this team that has been so incredible at running through overtimes, running through multiple comebacks. But at this stage, at this point in time, it doesn't feel like they have much else left in the tank. You look at the guns they'll have to bring back up for the next round. And you
तब तक अपन दोस्त के साथ बकचोदी करेंगे
feel like they have much else left in the tank. You look at the guns they'll have to bring back up for the next round. And you think about it doesn't feel like they're left with many options. Timeout, though.
It is a near flawless half, though, from GE. That One exception being the bonus round, and you can kind of forgive them for that. That even, by the way, came down to
Yay!
1-1. So I would say this has been an extremely dominant half from GE, and it's going to be a last roll of the dice now for RRQ. Down to play against DFM.
Fuck you, Binks.
Would mean they go down to play against DFM.
Fuck you, Binks.
Hey, कौन सन
With the runner back on, because he has had a few of them this half. But no, that was just Autumn walking his way down to B. So he's out of the picture for this round.
And at the same time, Pushy has control over A main now. He's still able to get more information with the flash outside if he needs to, but GE trying to end up with a B split.
Yeah. You really don't want this round to be the fumble. You know, it was so clean for GE up to this point. Killjoy, ulti going to go down. It's going to push a couple of these players back.
Yeah, see the reactions of the players, and then maybe you find a kill through B lane.
Oh, there's an attempt in for it. Xfero stuck in the corner. They're aware of that. Surely there's no getting out of here alive. Xfero for one, and Monyet came in to back him up. RRQ answer the call. It was supposed to work out so cleanly for GE, but it has been anything but. And all of a sudden, just when you think the map might be over, RRQ are going to fight back again.
Every time. They did this last week against DFM. And the week before that. And the week before that. They're doing it again. Although, you do kind of question how much more can they keep going with this. You think about this round, the next one's just going to put them in a 3-round gap against GE. You kind of write this one off. It's another lockdown, which unfortunately doesn't go the way that G would have hoped off of perhaps some whiffed shots, but you got to credit Monyet for how quickly he's able to recognize the need to support his teammate.
Yeah, I thought it was a really well executed round. I thought the decision was really fantastic from GE. You could see the layers of that round. It's supposed to push those players exactly back into the setup that GE had, but they mis-execute that aspect of it. You know, they got the players out of position that they wanted, but they weren't able to find Xfero. They weren't able to get him quickly enough, and then obviously the coverage comes back in from Monyet. So, nice idea from GE, but it just mis-executed, unfortunately.
And that's, you know, those slight mistakes could cost you potential things like overtime. That should have been GE's map point, but for now, we're listening to RQ with buys.
कुछ बाय नहीं था यार
Don't beat Kush. Yes, we can retake. That's all. I have pull.
Okay, just a lot of setups. They know that G has control over A main, and they're just waiting for it. As hurt by Crazy Guy, he has the pull.
Batman waiting for the perfect moment. Prowler's spotting Cushy out, but GE not going to commit off the back of this. As has typically been the case, they're not going to go on their first attempt, right? Like, they like that double pump. They like to toy with the rotations of RRQ.
Bait out that utility first, all those crucial stars that Crazy Guy loves to play off of. Now they're hearing the Yodin as well. That's extra information. But Monyet, in position around door, he's going to hear all of this.
Bro, full sound aaya be.
Is he going to get anything out of it, though? He's solo holding. So the push comes through. It's an aggressive play straight into spam from Patman. That is a pretty key piece of the puzzle falling for RRQ, but time's now starting to become a little bit of a factor for GE. They are going to be spotted on their way through Art. So that A setup is going to remain 3 strong, which is a tough ask to get past. Patman, though, of course, finding an entry. Again, ever so reliable, stepping up when it is required. Plants down. Time working in the favor of GE now.
And they're just able to play off towards the back of it. Perfectly planted as well as A main. What a default spot.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Lockdown, and they will be able to kind of push up a little bit, trying to see if there's any reaction from GE, but GE's just so comfortable right now.
Oh! So good from Crystal, easy as you like, under pressure, 12 and 8, and GE one step away from sending RRQ down into the lower bracket.
I mean, how has he timed that so darn well? Right off of the tap, goes in for the peak, and it's just pixel perfect accuracy. Off the first shot, into the next, and then the final one as well.
Let's go,
unbelievable.
boys!
That just might have done it. Heavy investment from RRQ with the guns brought in, and now they find themselves somewhat broke.
Like karo, chat, like karo.
Today, all 5 players having impact in various given rounds.
अगर like नहीं हो रहा कुछ भी problem आ रहा है सुपर चैट करो कोई सुन नहीं
RRQ need 4 rounds in a row and to be flawless from here on out if they want to survive in this map and try to push us through Ascent. It seems though that we might not be getting Ascent to start off the day.
It just ended all here, right in this moment. Munyet hiding around the corner with a judge.
Lots of noise being made outside of A. The creep up from Yudotan goes straight into said judge, and Cushy for the spam on in. GE can just never do it easy, can they?
They do not
Bro,
go down without a fight. I'll say that for RRQ. Still though, we've seen GE turn things around on 3v5s. Autumn's still alive, but far from the ultimate.
Right close, left wall se
somehow,
chipak ke right
perhaps, if
clear
Pat's
karne ka
able
na.
to sneak into the B site, find a shot towards the back of
क्योंकि वो लोग
Xfero's
smoke
head.
नहीं कर रहे थे मतलब कुछ तो trap play रहेगा
He's got a
कुछ
task
तो.
to. Oh, he's gonna get hit by a lineup.
Oh, that's not good at all.
Bro, ये sexy था लेकिन idea sexy था.
Finishes off Autumn
Idea sexy था
pretty
chat.
easily. Not really a whole lot in this round so far for GE. And Xfero claiming a couple of recovering kills to start to build some of that confidence for what is still going to be a long road ahead.
Lag.
RRQ is to go on to win this map and series.
Yeah. These rounds again, man. They flushed him out of the corner, and he's still able to frag out.
अगर तो ऋषि सर जी के actual owner है तो आज 500 gifted बनती है जी fighting लंदन जाने के बाद बोला like नहीं हो पा रहा पता नहीं क्यों like करो रौनक भाई आप तो membership लो tag was the €2 of the pound
potential chance for RRQ to make it happen. GE, all they're looking for is just perhaps one big round where maybe Autumn comes in with run it back.
ये round farm alt points
every time he's had a
और
run
ये
it back,
round हारा तो हारा play contact play for kills लेकिन
certainly at least
ये
a little
round
bit of space
alt
created.
point farm करने के बाद fight
lot of
लेने
the
के बाद
time GE have
next
been
round
forced to
is
convert
very
that space
go
as well.
all in कि तुम्हारे पास ब्रह्मांड की अल्ट आने वाली है ब्रह्मांड की इतना अल्ट आने वाला है कि बंदा टैब दबाएगा पहली गाफ फटेगी मैच किस से लड़े
Question is, do you hold on to those ultis and just have one massive round to close this map out as GE? Or do you try to layer them through? You know, you can use the Cosmic Divide here. You could.
This is clear cut stream snipe. Clear cut. Same चीज कैसे बोल सकता है बे?
Question they'll have to figure out.
Hold on all for some.
Huh?
Depending on the situation and how it plays out, they're thinking about the potential positions around middle now, knowing that A main has been taken by RRQ. So just to pivot off of Art for the time being, seeing that it is relatively clear. But then you got to worry about
Sentinel
how
का
Munyet
setup
could potentially come
तोड़
out through
दिया है.
connector, how the two players position on A and how A main is still dirty.
Space taken nicely there by GE, but response was pretty swift from RRQ, so I'm quite glad that GE have called the cancel. Yudotan trying to clear out Crazy Guy, but that cutout is being a real thorn in the side of GE at the moment.
Same damn position.
Yeah.
Crystal on the lurk now, and suddenly it's a pivot over onto A side.
Well, Cosmic Divide's up. Walls up two, curveball in. Autumn gets them into the site. Plan's going to go down nice and open, but these next couple of minutes, well, next couple of seconds rather, I should say, are going to be really critical. Patman's gone through the wall, waiting on the other side of it to be the X factor that could potentially open this round back up once again, as he has continued to do so many times. Wants to clear out back behind the site and gets Munyet. Can't do more, but that throws a fox among the henhouse here for RRQ as they desperately now try to push their way back into the site with the help of Jemkin. Their own Cosmic Divide cutting off that spike plan, and down to just one. RRQ will survive another day.
And put
Arjit bhai, thank you for the 400 मेरी जान गुड़े. Thank you for the 400 मेरी जान गुड़े. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you for the 400.
Sitting so comfortably, so defensively, they're able to whittle down these numbers and work around what's known, which is Cosmic Divide on site. the spike
That's not
planted
fair.
somewhat out in the open. And
चल
it's
लेवल के
trading off of
बॉस
kills.
लाइक
You know
करो
that
एक
smoke
साथ
came
10
off
के
at
लाइक हो
timing.
सकते हैं कर दो
Possible that it's starting. Maybe
बच्चे
someone's hiding inside it.
लाइक नहीं
They
हो रहा है
don't
क्या
peek
पिक
alone.
की थी
Manya might have
गुजराती
been the
में
first fall in
गाली
that moment, but
पड़वाऊंगा
instantly
बंको
the
गुस्से
trades
में
came
गाली दे
through. They
सकते
set up their own cosmic divide
अरे
off.
मैं थैंक यू फॉर द 1000 मेरी जान गुडे थैंक यू फॉर द 1000 लव यू मेरी जान गुडे
Most of these rounds, I guess, have looked like in this
यार
second
पेट में
half for
कुछ
the guys,
गुड
but
सा फील हो रहा
you
है यार
really need to come off something stronger than that now with the final 2 rounds
अपने भिड़ू लोग वो भी
just a few
कपल्स
seconds
में
away. The timeout
नहीं हो
now
सकते,
called
friends
from
भी हो
GE
सकते
with their
हैं।
own possible plan as well, and this is exactly another thing that I'm talking about. They might have spent the
लड़की
cosmic divide in
लड़की
that previous round, but take a
लड़का
look at
लड़का
Autumn,
फ्रेंड्स
Yotan, even Crystal,
लड़की
just a few
लड़का
points away
लड़का
from their own
लड़की
ultimate, and
फ्रेंड्स
if they are
कैसे
somehow able to chain and combo all those effectively enough, it's just so many multiple layers that
Hey,
RQ might
Kinecha.
not be able to
Hey,
work off of
friends हो
even in a
सकते हैं,
retake.
ये क्या
Think
है?
about
Hey,
perhaps
this boomer
the Nightfall to
mentality
give yourself the
Bro,
sight. You know,
I have seen
Yudan
the
and
world
Autumn off of running back,
वो
take
तेरे को
further
पता है
space,
गेम
lockdown,
जहाँ पे
everything
वो
could come
बोलते
in.
ब्रदर्स या
RRQ needs to play it flawlessly.
कपल्स या फ्रेंड्स या
If
वो वाला
not,
पता है वो
this
गेम
entire house of cards could fall
टॉप
apart.
करता था मैं गेम
In saying that though, these last couple of rounds have looked pretty solid from RRQ.
बंक्स
Not
भाई
as if they can't
बोलो
get it done. Halfway there.
जय लियोसन
2 out of the 4
esports
so
क्यों
far
क्यों
that they've needed
क्या
to
वो लोग का
get.
मैच चल रहा है क्या
And a solid 2 as well.
वो लोग का मैच चल रहा है क्या वो लोग का
She
मैच
would
किसके
not
अंदर
want
चल रहा है
to
मेरे को
falter
पता
at the
नहीं मैं
final
फॉलो नहीं
hurdle.
करता
It sort of feels like it's in the bag. A chance against Paper X tomorrow.
अपन भाई
One
सिर्फ
match away
डेट्स
from
ही हुआ है
London.
हेलो
They almost can taste it already.
The
थैंक यू फॉर द 200 मेरी जान गुडे
I don't know. Might have to.
मेरी आंखें जल रही है
I'll
यार
have to ask Morgan.
ब्रो
Wouldn't wanna get too far ahead of yourself, though, if you're
जब भी
GE.
अपने पास इतना अल्ट्स आने वाला है अपने पास भाई
Very
नहीं
careful
रहेगा ये राउंड आ
approach.
रहे
A
हैं
main silently being taken by RQ. A sudden peek could hurt them.
हाँ नाइस
ब्रो जंपिक ने उल्लू बनाया आलो जंपिक ने उल्लू बनाया
Not the round you want to be losing a player early.
बैटमैन जंपिक कर रहा था उस
Not this
तरफ
one yet, who has
से
been fragging well and recovering a lot of these rounds for
होली
RRQ.
भाई क्या
Especially
क्या
Monyan
उल्लू
has
बनाया
got the overdrive
भाई
unused in this round as well.
मोटोटे भाई हम
big
जीत
player to
रहे
Slight high low
बिग
setup.
मैन देखो मोटे
Side
जीविंग मैन
G.
जीत गए
Not really
Super.
feeling the need to contend with that
भाई
spot.
अब कुछ
So,
लेफ्ट नहीं हो सकता पैटमैन
finding that
अल्ट
port
भी
of
है
call back over, perhaps over onto the side, but trying to sell that fake over onto A.
क्रिस्टल का
Yeah,
भी
this is actually quite a convincing
But-
fake as far as I'm concerned. Look at
Alright.
Unitan all the way in. He gets the better of
Oh,
Jetman
yeah.
as well. And Crystal catches
Dono idhar
X-Sparrow
hai.
on the rotate. I think
Ab
this might
kya
just be it.
lala?
Plan's going to go down over on B, but that may not even matter. Batman is on the
kya?
warpath. He wants to
नहीं
get it
ज़्यादा हो
done.
गया
And he can't quite get it on his own. So
Yeah!
it will come down to Crazy Guy
Let's
to try to
go,
save the
let's go,
game
let's
for RRQ.
कुछ क्रेजी कर देगा रुक जा
एक गेम
Speaking,
दूर
it should be
लंदन
Crazy
से
Guy.
एक गेम
The chance
दूर
to play in front of his home crowd that wants to
Crazy
try to
Guy.
give himself
कुछ नहीं कर
every
सकता
chance
भाई
possible, but
impossible
this
है
feels like it's a bridge
Let's
too
go,
far. How are you going to get through
let's
this
go,
lockdown?
let's go,
Crazy
let's
Guy is
go,
going
let's
to have
go.
to respect it.
Oh,
Backs off, but that will cost him some crucial seconds as that
Yay!
spike ticks away.
yeah
Defender from behind the box. It's not going to happen there either. And now finally spots one out, but there's just no chance at all. It is done. GE will secure the 2-0 and send RRQ packing down into that lower bracket and set themselves into the match tomorrow against Paper X.
Old nemesis. Frost versus something, round 2. It's stage 1. Let's see it happen. But for now, let's talk a little bit about this map. Final scoreline of 13 to 10. I mean, it just feels as though perhaps the teacher still has more lessons left to teach the students.
Very much.
Jovi tried, you know, we had some pretty cool stuff on Breeze, but over onto Pearl, that's where a lot of circles were run around them. Multiple rounds, especially in the second half, on the attacking side, where GE
Let's go,
is able
let's
to switch
go,
up the
let's
pace,
go,
play that
let's
tempo
go,
game,
let's go.
have Autumn
Pero
suddenly
yeah.
onto this Phoenix. Back over onto the Duelist, I might add.
Pero
where he's
yeah, let's
able
go,
to play all around.
boys!
You love to see the sportsmanship on the stage and the adoration they have for each other.
हाँ by the way सब लोग
But
friends हैं सब लोग friends हैं
the
by the way
games, the performance, the frags. Monyet might have been quiet, but he
Especially
does come
Frostbite
back a
और
little bit
Jovi
towards
Bite.
the end. But still, it's a concerted effort from GE. All the ultimates layered together for that one final round.
Yeah. Definitely looked good for RRQ at the start. I was
Bro,
starting to think
क्या
that we were going to get some
खेले
different kind of
हैं
storylines out of this matchup, but in the end, yeah,
क्या
GE reigned
क्या
supreme.
खेले हैं
कितना लंबा है यार
Recovery from them, and it felt like all five
ना?
players kind of had a day today. It wasn't maybe peak GE. You know, it wasn't as if everyone was just absolutely
सब
popping
लोग
off, but there
actual में
was
सब लोग अच्छा खेला
individual rounds
actual में सब लोग
across the
अच्छा
board really, really nicely. Let's go down to the stage though and hear
W.
what is to be said from the interview.
उड़न फाइटिंग ये हमारे पास फैंस है ये I mean वहाँ पे स्टेज पे वहाँ पे दिल्ली दिल वालों के और लंदन जी वालों की रुक जाओ KRX से टेंशन ना लो जी पर KRX नहीं जीत पाएंगे आरसीबी कब तक हारेंगे 100 बार हार चुके हैं 101वीं बार तक जीतेंगे ना अपन
Well, the keyword that Frost said was consistency, composure. I want to ask you, Rotan, how well the team did in that department, and how does winning today at first day here at playoffs feels like? 일단 이렇게 글로벌 e스포츠의 유도탄 선수 만나보겠습니다. 승리 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
안 그래도 오늘 경기 전에 이전에도 프로스트 감독님이 우리 팀은 침착하기만 하면 잘한다라고 이야기를 해주셨거든요. 오늘 좀 어떻게 침착한 것 같은지 승리 소감과 함께 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
일단 오늘 침착했다기보다는 되게 정신이 없었는데 근데 다양하게 콜이 잘 돌아가고
ऐसा लग रहा है होस्ट सही है चार दिन से लैंग्वेज इधर मैंने
쉽게는
सोचा चार दिन
아니지만
से
그래도
잘 이겼다.
이길 수 있었던 것 같아요.
Well, I don't know if we were actually kind of calm today, but I think our calls today and the way that we shifted and adapted to all the rounds actually worked out in our favor. So I wouldn't say it was an easy win, but it was a good game from us, right? And this is your first ever playoffs for the org and your personal as a player. I mean, taking a win on today and seeing the games that you played here at Pacific, I want to know what is different. What are you doing differently here for this stage? Here at 2026. 안 그래도 이제 글로벌 e스포츠의 첫 플레이오프기도 하지만 유도탄 선수의 첫 번째 플레이오프 그리고 오늘 승리까지 가져가기 성공했습니다. 이렇게 스스로 성장해 나가면서 이번 스테이지에는 뭔가 다른 마음가짐을 갖고 있는지 개인적인 목표에 대해서도 들어보면 참 좋을 것 같아요.
Such a cute team.
네, 사실 제가 포시픽에 들어오고 나서부터 가장 세웠던 가장 첫 목표 일단 플레이오프 진출하기였고요. 그건 이번 연도에 달성하게 돼서 좋은 것 같고요. 다음 목표는 국제대회를 목표로 열심히 한번 해보겠습니다.
Speaking of, it was actually my personal goal here after joining Pacific to make it to the playoffs and check. I've got that in store, so my eyes on the prize would be the next move, making an international event here at from Pacific. All right, first win down here at playoffs, but next up is none other than KRX. We see something on the jet and they're looking so solid. How confident are you with current GE's form and taking that win? What are your expectations on the next match? 안 그래도 오늘 승리는 확보했는데 다음 상대가 하필 또 KRX입니다. 썸띵 선수가 또 제트를 다 잡으면서 기세가 아주 좋거든요. 유도탄 선수 혹시 글로벌 e스포츠 지금 폼으로 봤을 때 얼마나 자신 있는지 다음 경기 어떻게 예상하시나요?
일단 저희가 저저번 경기부터 준비된 결과가 잘 나오는 것 같아서 그냥 긴장하지 않고 준비한 대로 열심히 하면은 충분히 이번에는 이길 수 있을 것 같습니다.
I mean, 2 weeks ago, since then, I think what we've been prepping offline with our own prep time, it's actually been translating onto the server on the Pacific stage. So I'm really looking forward and confident in how my team will perform. So maybe this time it'll be different. All right, that was Global Esports' Yudo-Tom for the post-match interview, and I'll be back after match 2. 감사합니다, 유도탄 선수. 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
네. 계속 뒤로
अगर I don't give a fuck तू कब से देख रहा है अगर तेरा
You heard it from
next
Yudotan,
comment
prep
sorry
finally
नहीं रहे
transforming into results on the stage. It feels as though Global Esports, everything is leading up to their continued success here on the playoff stage. They take the first win of playoffs versus RRQ, and by the time those final rounds on Pearl were rolling around, we started feeling it was inevitable that they were going to take this win.
I've been so impressed by Global Esports all day. To me, going into this match, this was really 50-50. I could have seen this going either way. For me, it came down to who was the most composed. And today, that was Global Esports. Both of these games going on for a really long time. You see these really
कर रहा था बुरा लगा था सॉरी ब्रो मैं फन के चक्कर में ना माँ बहन कर दूंगा समझ रहे टाइप करने से पहले, सुपर चैट करने से पहले 10 क्लिक करना पड़ता है। एक बार खुद का मैसेज पढ़ ले, और अगर तो ये सब बातों पे हंस रहा है ना, तो गेट विल सून। और तेरे को यहाँ पे 0.1% भी फनी लग रहा है, 0.1। डाइवर भाई, थैंक यू फॉर द 40 मेरी जान कर रहे। थैंक यू फॉर द 40।
Even in their easier
Thank you
group
for the
has
40 मेरी
followed
जान
them
कर
back
रहे।
in towards the playoffs. So unfortunately, they'll fall into the lower bracket. Story's not done just yet. They will have a rematch against TFM, who they went back-to-back OTs with just
और
at the end of
PRX
their
के सामने
last
हार
group.
गए तो
So
लंदन
that'll
कैंसिल
be
का
another
नहीं रे,
interesting
लोअर
game
ब्रैकेट
to
है
watch.
रे, लोअर
And
ब्रैकेट
GE
है, लोअर
in
ब्रैकेट।
towards the upper bracket already.
What
They're
about
taking on
Tuchai?
PRX.
Chill
Yeah,
है,
it's
chill
massive
है।
wins, especially early on, as you mentioned, Pilsky, here in the playoffs. And for RRQ, I mean, we've been saying it, they're the kind of team that you can't count out just yet, right? But for Global Esports, I think a strong start
क्या हुआ?
is
कुछ नहीं,
exactly
chill ले रे
what
बाबा।
they needed for
कुछ
this.
हुआ रे
They
तो हाइड
take
हो
this back
जाता तो
30 to
कुछ हुआ नहीं,
10
chill है,
with
chill है,
RRQ.
टेंशन ना लो,
And
टेंशन ना
as
लो।
we mentioned, in those later rounds, it just felt like RRQ just couldn't find
Come first
that
bloods,
same footing that
फिर
we
भी
know
जीत
them
गए।
for, especially on like longer series as we get into
Easy,
second
easy,
maps, maybe
easy.
third maps,
Ah.
right? They just couldn't get those
Love
wins.
from
I feel like
Or
RRQ
seven
got a
language.
lot of
So it's
openings. They had a lot of
indirectly
advantages into these rounds, even above just kills. But I think Global was so good in those
देखो बे,
disadvantages. They were continually
लास्ट
able
मैच
to
Enjoy
claw
me.
their
मैं
way
लो
back
फील
into
कर रहा
rounds
था,
that
इस
looked
मैच
like they should
क्रुशियल
have
बाय
been done.
MVP।
That's really big credit to Javi there for
W.
how he's calling. And the firepower of the squad. They went toe-to-toe with guys we know
भाई
can
वो
put
लोग
up
ने लेकिन
numbers. So
बहुत बार
I think
भगाया
things
पे
are looking
RRQ
up
को
for Global.
उनके
Yeah, they
पोजीशन
went toe-to-toe with the guys that usually set the
Huh?
records, right? And they are holding their own. Congratulations to Global Esports and congratulations to our
खतरनाक
special
भगाया
guest
बे वो
here
लोग को।
on the desk. We
अच्छा
have
खेला बे
Autumn. Thank you
जैक।
so much for joining us here. Congratulations to Global.
Autumn बोल दे।
Oh, how do you feel about that?
ये
Yeah, first day here on playoffs too. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that
Beat तो
Frost
करने
probably
दो।
had very, very specific plays, very specific instructions for you all going into this match. How was that prep going into this one?
Yeah, there was like quite a bit of anti on. Actually, there wasn't actually that much anti, to be honest. It was. I think we were playing our game more today than past
Guys,
matches.
that
But
is-
obviously,
oh
there's
my
some
God,
like
don't do it, Binks.
certain
Don't
things
do it.
we're looking
नहीं,
out
अब
for,
अपने
like
को
how
कोई
they
नहीं
play,
रख सकता।
because they do play the same on.
अब अपने को
Like,
कोई
they
नहीं
don't
रोक
change that many
सकता।
things up.
अब
So,
अपने को
we're just looking
Sorry,
at
Rushi,
some things.
sorry.
But actually, it was more like playing our own game today, I thought.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so because it was also
Guys,
like
mat kar
on
type kar
Breeze,
do,
right? They
please,
were
ek
very
baar
well
kare.
prepared for what
Spam
you
kar do,
had,
mat kar,
but
please.
you guys kind of anticipated and adapted
Abhi
to
tak
that as
hua
well.
nahi
Was
hai.
that what was happening?
Yeah, I think so.
It looked fantastic and it looked really nice to see you guys very, very well prepared for what RQ had in store.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to ask you about the
boomer
pearls.
umar
So
hai
you
kya?
guys swap
Shaitra
confident
Shaitra
now on the
Shaitra
Phoenix
Shaitra
instead of that
Shaitra
chamber. This is the
क्या
first double
3
duelist
एक्सीलरेटर
mission
वो
for you guys.
एक्स्ट्रा हुआ
All split.
लेट्स
So
गो
how is that
वैसा वाला है ना
different
वो
from the secondary duelist role
में लिखना वो।
again, and how does it feel
पूरा
on the
कैप्स
map?
में लिखेगा तो मैं
in that
पिकाचू हो
Phoenix where you're
जाऊंगा।
able to be a bit more aggressive compared to that chamber.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more comfortable in
Umar.
Phoenix because I can, play with the team a bit more. It's not like I'm left on an island a bit sometimes. And also the flash is just so good right now. And Phoenix, like, his just win rate is so high right now. He's just so strong. I think also we have two like good duelist players. So yeah, playing double duelist is really comfy for us, and yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Let's go जी यार मास्टर्स लंदन गए तो बंडल लूंगा let's go यार love you man love you love you मेरी जान
chamber, but even like you're playing a pretty active role on Breeze, on Pearl as well, on the Phoenix, where you're kind of feeling out not only on defense but also on attack. Like when you're going to peg a flash or when you're going to choose to push.
Anuj bhai, you are very wrong. You are very wrong, bro. तू जो बोल रहा है वो अलग है, लेकिन जो तूने बात की है वो भी अलग है, ठीक है, और वो भी इंक्लूड होता है। तो एक बार सॉरी बस खत्म है, मतलब तू अभी भी तू लोगों को एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है ब्रो। मेरे को समझ में, तूने एक बार सॉरी बोल दिया, मैंने बोल दिया ओके, फिर भी तू लोगों से बहस कर रहा है और तू खुद को एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है, मतलब तू खुद को अभी भी डिफेंड कर रहा है, जो कि मेरे को नहीं मालूम भाई। इसके आगे मेरे को ये टॉपिक पे ना कुछ बात करना है, ना मेरे को सॉरी सुनना है। समझाने का काम मेरा था, समझना है समझो, तुम्हारा लाइफ है भाई। क्या पता तुम बाहर भी जाके ये सब बातें करोगे और बाद में फन बोलोगे, तो मेरे को नहीं मालूम, ठीक है। ये लास्ट टाइम है और इसके आगे मैं ये टॉपिक पे बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, सिंपल है।
they don't need that much like talking to. I think.
मेरी सुपर चैट में डायपर बाय आ रहा हूँ मेरी जान कटे बस I think it's time next match KRX के सामने जावी बाय की जगह आप एक्स्ट्रा किल के डोमिनेट कर देना.
I think that's because like you know people like Crystal and Harvey have all been grinding like in tier 2 or they're playing Ascensions and stuff like that.
Plan.
Some of this kind of environment.
Definitely. I think even though the experience in tier 1 isn't that much, it's like the experience in tier 2 at like the top level of tier 2 is it just helps a lot.
Nice.
Yeah, we're always seeing in the GE vlogs how Frost is like, oh, Pat, show the breathing techniques. You know, he's always that kind of guy. But of course, speaking of those KRX breathing techniques, I wanted to ask because up next is KRX. They were looking forward to going up against GE. So what are your thoughts on that matchup?
Fourth time's the charm. I'd say third time's the charm, but we lost last time.
It's always funny and delightful to watch, guys. Thank you, Natsu. Thank you.
It could be different this time around. Congratulations to you, Autumn, and congratulations to the rest of Global Esports as well. You guys are looking very good. You can leave your headset here, and yeah, we continue talking about you and your team and how amazing you guys all are. We have the MVP of the match. We have Padman over here, and this guy is just consistently insane. It feels like the harder the matches are, the higher the stakes get, this guy performs even better.
He had a lot of help though, to be honest, like everyone on GE put in the shift. I almost felt like giving the MVP to Harvey. Those attacking sides were insane. Like, especially, we've got so many good callers playing today. Like especially if Harvey's going to show an attack side calling like that. We've got Crazy Guy, and next up we've got Bane versus Cruz. We've got a ton of great callers in the city.
It's so crazy. This is an average pattern. This is standard for the
normal.
We're not even surprised that he's throwing up these insane numbers.
He's on Viper face.
That
makes total sense. This fight was a no-brainer for the initiator pick over on Build Diff, right? Even though I think there are some outliers here and there.
Not all of us are in agreement.
Looking over
some of us might be winning, but you know. That's okay. I think that's luck.
I mean, some of us see other paths in Build Diff. But going back into our match, as we mentioned, there are some insane players, insane callers stepping onto that stage. And we have our second matchup. We have KRX taking on Full Sense. Bit of a continuation of the Jovi Frost here because, of course, you have Cruz in this match as well. And we have KRX. And KRX, they are the only Korean team yet to lift the global trophy. And they are hoping to change all of that.
Yeah, I mean, Mako's ready to finally lift one up. He's been waiting so long. Will it be Masters London? But in order to lift that trophy, they have to look good in the playoffs. They have to be clean. I think they had a very good group stage until that last match. I think that one against PaperX is ultimately the killer for them that has created a little bit of doubt around this team as we head towards playoffs.
I mean, I totally agree, but I mean, there you go. This is very standard for Korean organizations. Yong, we've seen big games from him on Lotus on the Chamber, for example. Be interested to see if that makes it into the veto, but it doesn't even matter. Sorry, mate, apparently you haven't done enough. Hermes is back in from kickoff, where he had an okay performance, nothing too great. I wouldn't say necessarily from watching both of them play that either Hermes or Yong were better or worse than each other, but I guess the KRX coaching staff has seen something in particular.
I mean, this is definitely an interesting move as we head towards playoffs. I can't say that I love it. I mean, Yong wasn't the perfect player, right? But I think he was building up to it. He was creating synergy with that team, and ultimately, I think there's a reason why he replaced Hermes, right? So I'm very curious to see Hermes coming back into this now. It's going to be a huge question mark in this game.
The spiral to replace Flashback just continues.
Oh, no!
They can't figure it out, man.
I don't know. I mean, it's still a disruption, right? Everything you've been working towards, every time there's a bit of a replacement, it's still something that changes. And of course, here on the side of Full Sense, the big change here at the start of the stage was Cruz coming back in, and it's been looking so good for this team. They look like they have more direction. There's more of less of the headless chickens kind of thing.
I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, they're still having a lot of the same problems, and I don't think Cruz coming back into IGL is fixing the overarching, I guess, pressure moments or miscommunications that you see from Full Sense. Unfortunately, they're still having moments where they completely capitulate, and I think that third up against RRQ where they took a loss, as well as some of the moments against T1 are the perfect example of that. Full Sense, we know their potential, we know their heights. You see great numbers from both Primi and Killua there. But unfortunately, Jit Boys, I mean, he's been okay on Neon. I think he's just playing his role. We probably need a little bit more out of Leviathan. Cruz is still calling a good game, but I don't know. Full Sense have not sold me, unfortunately, even after a hot group stage yet again.
I think there's so much more left in the tank for this team. Ultimately, they came in third in what was a relatively weaker group. When we talk about the guys on Full Sense who we love to see, everyone talks about Primi, but Killua has been the guy for them. He saved them time and time again this stage 1.
Yeah, he has slowed down a little bit since the open couple of games, though. Most of his great stats come off the back of some of these Sky games, so we'll have to see how many times he gets it in this series.
Look, I will agree with you guys that, you know, perhaps Full Sense, they still have that mental boom question, you know, dealing with the pressure and everything, but you would have to ignore everything, knowing that, like, all these players have been stepping up all throughout the stage because of the adjustments that this team has made.
I definitely agree. I think their ceiling is very high. It's just about how consistently can they find it. One thing I want to highlight is these two teams played each other twice in kickoff. The first time, Primi sets the Pacific record for kills in a best of 3, 79, and then look at what happens to his stats the next game. Have KRX figured out how to stop Primi.
I mean, that upper bracket game, I felt like they still could have lost, even though Primi was insane. If he doesn't drop 79, they definitely lose. And unfortunately, in the lower bracket round 3, where KRX knocked Full Sense out of the tournament, you see what happens when Primi doesn't put 79 together. They get 2-0 pretty cut and dry, and KRX continue on in the bracket.
So you're saying it's 79 or nothing?
79 or nothing? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, I'm looking at these two players right now, Primi versus Hyunmin.
Yes.
I think that Hyunmin probably has a little bit wider of an agent pool right now, in that I have got a little bit more faith in his Raze, although Primi did show Raze once on Bind, which funnily enough is the only map that Full Sense were able to take over in the group stage earlier on against T1, I believe it was. They lost the other 2 maps. Now that's going out of the map pool, so I'm wondering how that's going to potentially affect this series. But other than that, they have pretty similar agent pools.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is we've still seen Primi play this way, like even past week 4 where they nerf it. I want to see him move away from that. I think we have to simplify things for Primi, but his numbers have been astronomical regardless.
I want to point out, like, there's a big difference in these numbers, but you have to remember that KRX took a pummeling versus Paper X, and Hyunmin's stats would have taken a massive dip as a result.
Yeah, and looking over onto these two players, of course, you know, Hyunmin and Primi, they stand out. But you look at Freeing and Jit Boys, I would say some of the surprise neons over here on stage 1, right? This was part of the news, I think, when like they suddenly bust out the neon.
These are 2 players that got bored. Bro, get me off the Cypher. I'm not going to put this wall up and down anymore. I want to be putting the wall up on the neon and running it.
Yeah, I think it goes to show just what happens when a meta becomes so dominant. These are teams that were not built with this meta in mind. They're not made for it. So they're having to have players do these kind of really big adjustments across onto this different role of the Neon. Both these two players, I do think, have coped quite well. I think they're both role-playing Neons, very much so, where it's all about making that space and tanking a lot of that util. But I think they've both been solid at it.
Role-playing Neons.
ये क्या लग रहा है? DRX लग रहा है ये?
Or something like that.
Anyway, but speaking of, and this kind of feels a little bit familiar with some of our earlier matches. What are we thinking of Hermes here, given that he actually is quite familiar with it?
Here's what I'm wondering,
Neon main, bे.
Why is he back in the team? And does it have something to do with the fact that he's played a
KRX
lot of
अरे वही DRX KRX KDRX DKRX
duties and on the Cypher, but other than that, I don't know how much they wanted to put Hyunmin on and on. Hermes is someone who they had playing Yoru op initially, and then continuing to flex onto KO and Cypher with his role. So he was playing a lot of different roles for KRX, but he has actually played a lot of Neon in his career. So I'm kind of wondering, is Hermes the Neon guy? Or is he just going to get chucked on Young's role? Because I know that Freen can actually play a pretty good Sentinel for himself.
Yeah, I think that is definitely the toss-up in my mind. For me, I would love to see Hermes play this Neon. He could have been grinding it this whole time. Who knows? Like, he's been on that bench. He's had nothing else to do.
Strong है भाई. Full Sense का scene है कि उनका head coach अभी है नहीं. उनका head coach का कुछ तो surgery है.
Very crucial for KRX.
Full Sense just not interested
in
this.
No,
head coach अभी नहीं है सर. I think
instead we're going to pick Lotus here.
वो है coach अभी.
On Fracture.
कौन था?
Is there, but I'm wondering what
Sushi
these
boys.
teams have prepped for this, especially because, you know, prepping for Hermes and a potential curveball by KRX.
I mean, they've just dropped their Lotus guy, and then Full Sense is
No shame, the green room going, guys, this is what happened. I could have done it.
Coach, put me in, coach.
I also think KRX peaking Fracture makes so much sense, right? Last time we saw Full Sense play on Fracture, they got absolutely dominated. So I think KRX will be feeling like they're very solid in that map.
भाई आपके पास सोल का टी-शर्ट क्यों नहीं पहनते?
So I think honestly this kind of looks like a bit of a handshake veto almost. Breeze will be the third map decider between these two teams. It feels not risky for me, you know. Ascent hasn't been left in there. To be fair, I mean KRX is the Ascent team. They've had, you know, throughout their various different variations, strats named after them. On this map in particular, the coaching staff know it in and out. So I don't think Full Sense want to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I have big questions about Breeze if ever we get there, but going over to
Bro lost her support to look
again,
Sigma. अबे जाना
right? Because previously, obviously, we know what they ran.
Well, this is the thing. Yong is the Lotus guy for KRX. He's not on the roster. No shot they run this same comp. This is a change.
तेरे जैसे लोग मेरे को नहीं
चाहिए. Away from this. You have Hermes who is able to, you know, even freeing.
बाबू आपस में बात करना, आपस में जोक करना, सब 100 बकचोदिया करते हैं, समझ रहे हो? पब्लिकली बातें करना, पब्लिकली वो सब करना फर्क है. सिंपल बात है. और वो मेरा 10 बार गांड मारता है, मैं 1 बार मारेगा, इतना कुछ सीन नहीं होने वाला. ये सब इतना नहीं है एक्सपेक्टेड. जो लोग मेंबरशिप ले रहे, जो लोग इतना सपोर्ट वपोर्ट कर रहे, एज सिंपल एज दैट, समझ रहे हो? तो एल्जिन 01 तुम जैसे जो चूते लोग रहते ना, तुम जैसे जो चूते लोग रहते, वो मेरे को नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है? अब मैं बताता हूं क्यों. मेरे को एक बार बताने दो कि ये बंदा बहन का लौड़ा क्यों है. लेट मी जस्ट शो यू कि ये बंदा बहन का लौड़ा क्यों है और ये लाइट जाने के वजह से क्यों है. एक सेकेंड. ये देखो प्रो लॉस्ट सपोर्ट टू लुक सिग्मा. अनुज भाई ऐसे लोगों को सपोर्ट मत किया करो जो बस एक्टिंग कर रहे, केयर करने की. कॉल एम्बुलेंस नॉट फॉर मी. सपोर्ट इंडियन प्लेयर्स. बॉयकॉट जी चोदू. चुप हो जा बिंक्स. वाइपर चोदू प्लेयर है क्या रे बहन के लौड़े. ओए लाइक ये करे तेरी. ओए तू दूसरे को बताएगा कैसे सपोर्ट करना है, क्या करना है, किसको करना है. तू तो जी को बॉयकॉट करने वाला था, स्ट्रीम देखने आ गया. ओए इधर गया. पिकाचे भाई देख, 2 किस्म के लोग करते, एक चुतिया एक गांडू. ये तीसरा है ठट्टी के वजह से जो है ये.
Show their playoffs form here on the Pacific stage after a couple of heavy map losses.
अरे मैं उसका भर रहा हूं, तो उसका हाइड क्या. अभी कंटेंट क्या है मेरा.
Strongest teams in groups, even with all of the adjustments coming in.
Yeah, whether they played Full Sense head-to-head or not, they've often benefited from their results. They went to champs off the back of Full Sense failing to beat RRQ at the Tokyo Finals. We already mentioned how they played each other twice in kickoff, KRX losing initially and then knocking them out of the tournament to only make one placement deeper. Both of these teams kind of sitting similarly in the pecking order, but KRX, I mean, all eyes are on this substitution. Hermes in last minute as we head into playoffs over Yong, and it doesn't really feel like anyone can fit the extremely big shoes of Flashback so far.
It's big questions all around for KRX, and as you mentioned, Pilski, there's a lot of history between these two teams, and Full Sense, they are just as hungry for another chance at that global stage. It is no small feat as well that KRX, one of those teams that prevented this team from getting over there, and KRX was of course that team that knocked Full Sense out of kickoff in the lower bracket not too long ago. Now Full Sense, they're out for revenge.
Full Sense for me on their day are absolute world beaters. When all 5 young Thai players are shooting, I truly feel like they can beat anybody in the world. But the problem is that consistency. I do think their floor sits a little bit too low. I think sometimes they get schemed out of games.
Let's go.
Everyone isn't shooting at their absolute peak. Things can be tough. What form are they bringing into playoffs? That's the biggest question. We know that they have Killua, incredible players. Will it be good enough to get them to Masters level?
I mean, you can see their ceiling. They have been the only team to take a map off of Full Sense so far in this off of T1 rather so far in this competition. Unfortunately, Thea is out of the picture right now, so Sushi Boy's just got to take on those coaching shoes all on his lonesome. He's got a lot to do over there. Regardless, they have picked Lotus into KRX, and it's interesting, as we mentioned before, KRX dropping their Lotus Sky, what they're going to be coming out with, and whether Full Sense will have some kind of a read on what they want to be bringing into this matchup.
Yeah, I think Full Sense are very well prepared for this. I mean, Thea might be out of the picture, and we wish him well. We wish him a very, very speedy recovery and everything goes well. But Cruz, you know, mentioned, I think he posted on social media, he's like, no, it's okay, don't worry, we got this. So I think they are very well prepared for what is to come, and of course, Cruz, not too long, he was in that coaching booth as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a smart guy. He's going to be well ahead of this, but I will say, with the fact that Hermes is playing, we can expect a compositional change here, which will for sure throw off Full Sense's prep quite a bit. So I'm curious what Full Sense are bringing into this themselves. Do they stick with that Phoenix, or is it going to be a swap up from them as well? Are we heading into the unknown here in map one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see as well for KRX, like, what is the method to this madness? What do the roles look like? Is Hermes just continuing to be a fill for the team and allowing other players on the team to shine? Because he was needed to kind of frag a little bit harder in that Yoru meta, and he wasn't quite able to put up the numbers that were needed. He was just an okay average player. I think you could have said the same for Yong, so I'm wondering what the thought process is behind his last minute adjustment, or is this classic Korean coaching staff just benching a player to try to give them some more motivation, fight for this spot?
I mean, there seems to be some kind of lore around that as well, but Full Sense taking few more seconds in their huddle, you kind of wonder what Cruz was saying in order to empower them, but we're looking at the agent comps right now.
Ooh, okay. I mean, this feels like Full Sense have seen what PaperX did to DRX, or KRX rather, last time around, and they basically copied their homework. KRX had a very tough time against this comp, getting 13 5s at the end of the group stage, and I'm not seeing anything too different except for maybe the chamber swap out for the Vice.
Yeah, on the side of Full Sense, this is actually quite a different comp. No Neon for them. It is double duelist still. Raze with Primi on that jet. I want to say also, Kushi swapping onto that Sky where he's been so good, and now it's Cruz taking on that Vice, so he's going to be calling from the wing, calling from that Sentinel role, so that will feel quite different for him in the server as well.
I feel like the double duelist pairing for Full Sense here plays quite well into the Vice compared to the Neon that they were running before. I think they can go up and over the wall with the satchel updraft dash, and it could go very well with the double dive here.
Well, we're going to find out who indeed is better prepared for this match as we send it over to your casters, Quack and Elvish, to take us into Lotus.
Yeah, another big one, obviously. Quack, we have had one pretty good matchup, a nice quick 2-0. This one, on the other hand, though, feels like it's really a question of which of these two teams come in with the better form, because last week for KRX wasn't so fantastic. Full Sense have been a bit up and down as well. So I think jury's really out, right? We had the 4-4 split in terms of predictions on the desk there as well. Who wins this matchup?
It's tough to say. You know, I think form is really the right question to ask. Thinking about Full Sense, and Pilski actually kind of said it best as well. Full Sense had the opening games, you know, slightly opponents of varying difficulty, but down towards T1, that was the real test. Unfortunately, then they weren't really up to the task. But it also would mean so much for this organization, this team, to actually make it to an international. It's been quite a while, I think, for a Thai squad to make it up there.
That's right.
Apart from that, though, KRX, I mean, you're talking about form. Yeah, I was quite disappointed with that one against Paper X. I mean, that was supposed to be.
भाई देखो सुनने में आया कि एड्स नहीं है किक में, ऐसा मेरे को सुनने में आया, समझ रहे हो?
Useless for Full Sense anymore.
Plus revenue
Cruz is
still
back
be
obviously in
अच्छा.
the server. Premi's fragging. I think now's the time for this team to make something happen, especially
So,
off the back of such an
there's
awkward
too much
week last
Ws.
week for KRX. I think we really saw their flaw there, but we also kind of know what kind of ceiling they can bring into these kinds of games, and I hope that they've been able to fix that in the last week. Let's find out as we jump into the pistol round of a Lotus. It is Full Sense starting things off on the defense.
Gene Masters of what?
To dictate how this
Chat,
round
I
starts
missed.
off.
एक गेम दूर है, एक गेम दूर है.
How the composition switch up can come into
नहीं
play
दो
as
गेम दूर है.
well.
अरे कुछ तो थोड़ा बहुत गेम दूर है.
Towards B, that's going to pull some attention from Full Sense, possibly away, but quite happy with how they've taken C mount control for now. KRX happy to avoid that completely.
Yeah, a bit of a push over
Trap
towards
place से
that
तो बच गए.
A site for now for KRX. That
नहीं,
dark
नहीं,
cover
उनके पास
probably
B का
giving that away a
जरा
little
भी
bit.
info
It's a
नहीं
little bit telegraphed. Premi's obviously also been able
Heavy
to push it outside
वाला
of C.
gap
So
है B में.
information starting to come
Heavy
through here for
मतलब
Full Sense, and they
heaviest
are
वाला gap.
pre-rotating.
Look at this wall up towards tree, though, and that's going to be something that really slows down KRX on the attack.
Yeah, it actually cuts freeing off. He luckily has a little pocket of safety to play in, but he's tagged up pretty substantially. Cruz will go down to start this round off, and so already for Full Sense, it's starting to get a little bit awkward.
Shot,
Hyunmin
bro,
into the
what the
picture.
fuck?
Kahlua for a good trade has been a real key for his team throughout the regular season, but Full Sense, this has kind of fallen to bits and made no sense until maybe Primi comes into play. He has been the X factor for this team. Can he do it again on a 4v1? Is a really tough ask, but started it well. There's a chance at another 1v1, and you thought for a second, Bane's head goes off there. Hold on a minute. Not going to be the case this time. KRX start with the pistol.
And that's just lovely to see. I mean, you were absolutely bang on when you said this makes no sense, because the composition, the setup, it looked pretty darn good. Slows everything down, but unfortunately the shot, somehow KRX just off of slight timing, still able to spring forward. And look at this headshot angle as well, with how Hyunmin's able to play underneath it. Makes it so difficult for Full Sense to find the right angles, the right aim. Despite the defense. So the compositions, well, we'll kind of leave that to a further discussion for now. It still is KRX looking back and forth.
Guiding light over the top, going to slow things down for KRX, and you can see Full Sense really trying to bully them out of A. That has worked, it has sent them back in the direction of this C site, which is where Cruz is waiting.
That was his one flash, though, so a little bit unfortunate now. Quick rotations over. All 5 pistols against the full force of KRX.
Well, if the pistols shoot like that, then maybe there's something in this round. Cruz for the double. Leading from the front, it's a good exchange there for Kahlua as well. You've still got the numbers as Full Sense, although that is starting to dissipate. Hyunmin on a bit of a tear today. That has historically been a real win condition for KRX as well. If Hyunmin is having a good day, well, then you can bet your bottom dollar than KRX is as well. He's already got the showstopper after 2 rounds.
That's incredible. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it, between these 2 teams? The X factors. Who's going to be the player that shows up on that day? Is it going to be Primi or is it going to be Hyunmin? And Hyunmin in this round with the 4K after the showstopper, that's going to be already just such big momentum for the next rounds. Even though they're not going to have that many guns, having lost, 3, maybe 4 players in this one, it's still a big signal as to how they can continue to play out fast plays towards A.
Yeah, it's always going to be fast as you've got that showstopper available. Hyunmin's going to want to try and get that in there, get some value out of it. Doesn't. And so opts for the boombot instead to try to put Full Sense back away from the A site. Still though, freeing and falling. You would have thought with the showstopper to start that round off, Full Sense might have had a bit more difficulty, but it seems like this round is where they're going to start to come back into their own. The timings are working out perfectly. Jit boys not able to save Kahlua in this instance, but overall you'd say a massive win to start this round off for Full Sense.
Yeah, just shaving off all of these numbers, their health bar as well. Plus you got Primi onto this operator just continuing to watch out towards the back. So best they can hope for KRX is to get that spike down, build up towards ults and economy and everything else that goes along with it. And for now, just to listen for information, play together, try to isolate.
It's pretty early dark cover there from Marco. It's not really going to slow Full Sense down all that much. They're going to clear out tree first. They'll boot forward off the satchel, and Cruz gets the better of Bane. Paranoia through
That
makes
blue?
short work on Mako as well. So first round on the board for
Young
full
कहाँ
sets.
है? पता नहीं मेरे को.
Just a question of who's going to get the defuse. It will go the way of Cruz. Getting quite close to that Steel Garden.
No idea. No idea.
Yeah, I don't really mind that. That's
Ajay Mako है ना KRX का Mako है Mako.
helpful for retakes. Apart from that, it's also just how this operator comes into play as well.
Thank you, Judge
The
Pawar.
initial shots, trying to work off that game sense, reading the map, coming in with Phantom checking in towards the smokes and getting those spams in. You're able to find unsuspecting frags against your opponents. But round 3, I mean, round 3 operator, and that's a pretty big statement for the team. Because now you can set yourself up even further
Sharam, not developer, Sharam.
where KRX will be relegated somewhere else.
सारे अच्छे players there हैं, सारे अच्छे players.
Back to the drawing board for KRX with that last round a bit of a bonus. So at the end of the
लेकिन
world
main
to
ये
be
है
dropping
कि
it.
KRX form में
Some
चल
early pressure coming in the direction of the C site, but Primi ready for it. Dashes back out to safety. So again, a good start for full sense, and
ऐसा
also
मारेगा
again
सोचना
mentioning
crunch था बे.
Primi has been such an X factor,
वो
such an
फिर
important
भी
part
मार
of this
के निकल
lineup
गया
that if things are working well for him today, then it's going to be a good day in the office for full sense. That paranoia, almost a problem for Hermes.
Pretty incredible. Just suffocating KRX off of positioning right now. If they want to end up on the B side,
Oh
that
my
kill would have done
God,
it.
क्या shot मारा? Hello?
Hyunmin. It's a bit of space onto B. He'll need to try to find another frag here, but he'll perhaps need
Dono
two as
मारेगा.
Leviathan round the corner will lose his head. Hyunmin is just on a tear.
खतरनाक mood में,
Despite a good start
खतरनाक
to this
mood
round
में.
for Primi, it's the only kill in this round for
निहाल
full
ने
sense.
पता नहीं,
Yeah, not
निहाल
gonna lie,
ने
this is
पता
gonna have
उधर
to be a
विकेट के
save.
मार देता.
Might not even be possible now.
Congo
Well,
Rishi bhai,
allowed to.
W Rishi bhai, W.
Hunt's already kind of on. You can see Hermes is slowly pushing his way forward. Hyunmin
जी
as well.
कहाँ गई? जीत गई भाई.
Gonna find him
Hello.
Eventually. It's just whether or not he finds them first.
ये बंदा
Just got
भाई.
Blade Storm now, but you don't want to pull it out in this round.
Oh no. But Bladestorm available.
Primi
maybe
अभी चट
toss the
कितने
op
साल का है?
over, pop the
21
Bladestorm
क्या?
in the next round, you could put something together.
28, 21 है.
If the op goes through, Primi climbing up a bit of a storm here. He's got that dash available, so could take a cheeky peek here for another one and then just dash back out to safety. Instead he dashes forward. I think, to be fair, he was kind of between a rock and a hard place because he did have Hermes behind him. Whether he went into Mako or not.
That's that checkmate.
That spike explosion was really the trouble for him, wasn't it? It just sort of obscured the vision. He could
वो
really
वाइस
see
के लिए
where
भारी
his
पड़ा
opponents
हुआ
were coming from.
It's one of those things that just happens. Just the fact that it's planted on B means that that's like one of the only corners that you can bank yourself onto. But that's a huge loss to economy. Now Bladestorm and everything. They're trying to take control.
Yeah, and this is big. The timing from Primi round the back gets the better of Mako, and Hyunmin went down too.
मेरे जैसे जेट टंट
KRX,
मारते
they would have thought this
बे.
would be an easy round. In fact, it's not.
Even onto
RCB
the
जीतेगा बोल दो
C-side,
please. Already
everything's
बोल
pretty
दिया.
much
Easy है.
fine and dandy. You've got the sheer wall as an added layer of defense. Everyone can rotate over on a dime.
क्या प्यारा player है बे. क्या
Meanwhile,
प्यारा.
just continuing to check if there is someone else still lurking behind the smokes, and that would be Free, spotted out by the jump peak.
Yep. Primi kind of looks like he wants to take that fight, but electing better of it now after copping a little bit of damage. Wall's going to be baited out. Doesn't really open much up. Dark cover's going to come through over onto C, so still going to take some time to try to clear that out.
Oh
Free
my
will
God,
have
क्या
been
clear
spotted
किया.
now. Going to try and get back out. Does so.
And now that's a rabbit to chase. Oh, Primi.
Oh, uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh,
Whoa, whoa,
I have no words. That was always a tough target to hit. I mean, especially with Bladestorm. The fact that he managed to pull out the classic, but still, on to the retake now. 4v2 off the site. Bane trying to stay hidden.
Can't do it against the guiding light. Flash forward and yeah, that's a little bit surprising. Was that a
चलेगा.
misclick from Jit Boys?
नहीं नहीं नहीं. करना था बे. एक मार दे उसका setup वेटअप पे blind बनने. एक को मार के निकल गया तो. नहीं नहीं बराबर है भाई. Round secure करना ज़्यादा important है.
I guess if you have it, just to secure the rounds.
Yup.
I mean, look, I want to agree, but it just seems nonsensical to me.
It's just one of those things. We'll kind of table that for a future moment. It's one, but
ना
especially
actual में बराबर क्या?
defense though. Like the showstopper could have been so useful in like a retake or something. Not this one where it's 3v1.
Yeah.
But other than that, still, the way that this starts, I think, is how we want to think about how Full Sense approaches it. Just so much force and aggression off of
भाई
Primi
ये
alone.
कुछ भी करके मार देता है प्रीमी अलग अलग प्रीमी पहला जब भी आया था तब भी बोला था भाई ये बंदा शाइन करेगा
That was pretty darn incredible.
हमेशा
Which means
मारता है
KRX will always
हमेशा
have to
मारता
play that with, you know, potential in mind. There's always going to be Full Sense maybe just around the corner taking aggressive space outside.
मैं पुल में अस्कांट आ गया है ना प्लीज टेल रैंक गेम्स में आ गया है इसमें लंदन में आएगा
Unfortunately, economy doesn't look too good for KRX, but they are close to some pretty darn strong ultimates. You kind of maybe play around this round as much as possible.
जब से ज़्यादा औरा कौन सा प्लेयर सबसे ज़्यादा औरा कौन सा प्लेयर है फुरसेकान औरा इस बंदा है
Obviously very experienced. According to the interview that Full Sense did, they think he's a bit of a perfectionist.
माको है वो ठीक है
It seems like Full Sense is a little less scared of KRX than what they are of Nongshim and PaperX. Right? There's like that mechanical diff that they feel like maybe is in the server there.
आ गया इधर भी
That's words from their mouths, not mine, by the way.
Yeah.
Whereas they're not as worried about that maybe against KRX.
अस्कांट
Which
इधर आ गया
is an interesting thought given how well Hyunmin has
इससे
started this
अभी
map,
आया
for
था ना
example.
अस्कांट
He's been a mechanical diff in the server, I would say.
तो फिर इतना देखने नहीं मिलेगा सब लोग बैन
But I think that's
करेंगे
always
कोई
an
टीम बैन
interesting
करेगा
discussion
एनवायरमेंट पे
about,
कौन
you know,
डिस्क
how
लेगा
KRX or how they can fare off against, you know, more mechanically well-tuned teams, perhaps, is the fact that KRX, especially with Termi as coach, they have to work off of, you know, the system that they have put in place. It's a lot of drills, a lot of scripts, and how they want to approach rounds. And if things don't go well, then they might kind of lose track of how the play, how the plan is meant to go.
लेकिन वो तो
That
newest
said,
है
though,
वो
I
newest
feel like KRX has also kind of gone through that slight evolution ever since losing, you know, key players.
लोगों को कितना एक हफ्ता मिला रहेगा बे एक हफ्ता भी मिलेगा वो लोग को
Looking at guys like Hyunmin,
Prep
they
करने का
look a little bit more free flow now, especially with Bane at the helm. He's been doing incredible calls for the team. Obviously, maybe not that much against PaperX, where they were just lost. But we also do have a tech pause coming in.
Binks
Full
पे आप
sense.
बहुत
A lot
बढ़िया
of brawls. I think that's what you
streamer
expect
हो
from this team.
Thank
And that's
you,
where they
thank
do
you,
their
madam.
best as well. Because that's where Primi shines.
Yeah,
Oh
most
my God,
definitely,
tech
and I
pause.
think unlocking Primi has been very much the key to success for Full Sense throughout the regular season so far. I mean, he's been, I think, almost definitely the standout for Full Sense. I struggled to think of a bad map that he has had. You know, you obviously felt like there was that 1-2 punch between Primi and Kahlua right at the start of the season, but it kind of was a little bit of a slowdown in the mid to sort of late stages of the season for Kahlua. So maybe looking at his individual level to try to pick up throughout the playoffs and see whether or not that's going to maybe be what Full Sense can use to sort of leapfrog their way to London. You know, I know this is a team that has had some success qualifying to play internationally, but in terms of
यहाँ के बदले हरमेश आया ना यप
KRX, so it's
टेकपोस्ट
kind of like another
ईमेल
attempt
का
here
मेटा
for-
अभी इसके बाद वही तो है
It's a team that really feels like
Yeah.
if they're at their peak, if they're hitting their level, definitely they can contest on that top level, but how
प्लेऑफ
often
में
are
तो
they
कोई भी
hitting
जीत
that
सकता है
level?
ये में
Yeah.
कोई
Can
भी
they hit it at the right time as well?
Fnatic
It's
का
all
एक
well and
shot
good to
confirm है
come in
लंदन
at the
का।
start of the season and look absolutely banger for 2-3
बाकी कोई
weeks
भी
and then,
जीत सकता है
you know, fumble the bag in
बहुत dicey
playoffs
चल
or
रहा है
even qualify internationally and then just get absolutely domed.
You never know. I mean,
Never
that's... I mean, welcome to the Quack and Elfish
Hang on,
podcast.
goodbye.
A new one. I know you have your own.
What do you want to call it? Quacking guy?
If Young
Quackish guy?
didn't work
I have
out
no
for
idea.
KRX,
El
it
Quack
should
guy?
have been old player now. वो तो भाई org को पता है बे
No,
inside
that's not us.
क्या सीन है
Something about a pond, perhaps. Where you have elves and...
G versus
ducks.
PRX है ना अभी next और कब है I
But
think
no, yeah, I mean, it's very interesting to think
दो
about.
दिन तीन दिन बाद
I
ऐसा कुछ
think
तो
Talon might have made an international appearance before, but this would be obviously a whole different story.
America's looks
because
good. America's
it's the
insane.
Thai coaching staff as well, and they bring their own ideas to it. We've seen
Tough
I think,
fighting
the first
क्यों
3
है?
weeks, the teams that they played against, the way that Full Sense operated was incredibly, fast. I don't want to use the word abused, but they really played with that waylay a lot. And that's where I think Premi did so much, because the way that he would, dash in, saturate, he's like thinking miles ahead of opponents, and he's always just able to get into that state where he's just fragging out. But as we saw, once Waylay had that nerf or the patch change coming in, week 4 onwards, they didn't do so hot. Now they're changing up the compositions. Onto the Phoenix sometimes, still doing pretty decent. But in that game against like T1, for example, that's where players like Stacks on Pearl is able to play spoiler to how Full Sense wants to operate. And again, that's ultimately where all the planning falls apart. So thinking about something like today,
crazy
especially with double duelist, the PaperX composition, I'm not entirely sure. Gotta be honest. It's all very dependent on how well they're able to play around this composition, how well Premi and Killua could go off, maybe even how well KRX has adapted to it. This is a challenge pause.
Yeah, there's conversation happening in the background, as far as I know. What do you think about the way forward? T1, obviously.
भाई मतलब सोचो बे PRX को क्या एडवांटेज प्रो मैक्स ना एक गेम खेलने का, एक गेम जीत गया लंदन। हाँ, हम लोग का 2 गेम और बाकी लोगों को 3 गेम।
Against Nongshim would be a whole other thing, because you're never quite entirely sure
ये होगा कि नहीं मेरे को पता नहीं।
It's Francis on that neon now. You're still thinking about. Obviously, I think form-wise, they just looked all out of sorts last week. So you're not entirely sure what it looks like. But for, KRX on the other hand, it's just one slight misnomer against PaperX. Other than that, they've been like quite flawless, looking incredibly strong even. One of the first teams to adopt that Phoenix in our stage 1 of Pacific, where Hyunmin's just able to go, round after round with run it back. So against a team like Nongshim, yeah, the power rankings are pretty clear, I think, for now.
Yeah, we've got the update.
Challenge pause?
So you were wondering what a challenge pause is?
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, KRX apparently called for a challenge because they thought that Full Sense might have used a prohibited action, but after the investigation from the admin team, it was found that there was no abuse. So we will be resuming at the 3-2 score. So no harm, no foul.
I wonder what that could have been. Maybe some kind of way to work around the Vise wall or something, perhaps. But
yeah, I have no idea. Could be anything.
क्या रहेगा यार? हाँ ये ना है.
Nothing found, so we'll keep on going. KRX
मतलब
back
कुछ
on
bug
the
abuse
attack,
कर रहे
where
करके.
not gonna have that many guns this time around, but met with full force. Leviathan's gonna back off, while the rest of the team from Full Sense starts to try to find other paths to clash with KRX.
क्या हो सकता है?
C and B are clear.
What are you really going to do in this round, though, if you're KRX? It's really on Hyunmin to open things up.
It's down to playing that
passive first time पता चला क्योंकि वो लोग ने अभी वो लोग का नाम challenge pause दिया वरना tech pause लिखते
Premi right now, but also
ये
you're
सब
able to
चीज में
find
tech
headway
pause
movement
लिखते
to A site. Why not?
Does look like they're going to get to walk their way in. Boombot will lead the charge, Dark Cover to provide a little bit of room to work. And Plant goes down, which I think is a bit of a win, actually, as far as KRX are concerned. Anything can happen from here on out. You've got a deep lurk at the moment from Bane, so that could potentially come into play. But the real question is, what can Hyunmin do? And the answer is absolutely nothing. Taken down by Leviathan. Round is pretty much over as a result of that. And so Full Sense right back to their winning ways. 3-3 will be the score.
Just incredible. Instantly shifted over onto a retake setup,
Yeah,
clearing out some forward space, moving on towards the back. Got the flash coming in, and everyone just to trade off of it. Still rather flawless, almost, apart from Jit Boys.
Love you, Banks. Love you.
And they can carry forward with this momentum
This
as
is
well.
the
I mean, if they continue to break KRX's economy, then this map would have really escaped KRX, which would make you worry, but for now it still looks rather even. Think about the upcoming round as to how KRX wants to approach it, because Full Sense is quite fond of taking a lot of forward space on the extremities of the map.
Big setup towards C. And I imagine that'll be where KRX are going to invest their resources. They've got a lot of them. TP forward as well from Marco. Try and take that space alongside the boom bomb.
मैं भी curious हूँ क्या हो
as well.
सकता
So
है
that is a
जो
lot
उनको लगा
of
कि
util already
बग
used to try and push their way forward. KRX. They're not into C just yet, and they might not be getting into C. Though the dark cover is not going to delay them for very long. KRX are just going to try and batter down the door. The showstopper. Not going to land. It is enough though for Full Sense to respect it and back off. Play for the retake.
Yeah, wait out those key pieces of utility. Maybe bait out the Nightfall, but...
High-low setup works, 1 for 1. Nightfall will slow things down, certainly. There's a TP in here from Marco just to try to get a bit of info. Has a little bit of a look, doesn't see anything too concerning, but dark cover does go thugh.
Thank you for the
difficult attempt. Spike's not even planted though, so at this point, Full Sense are wondering what's going on. They're trying to push for information. That's Jitboy's there into B. He'll drop. Now the TP back over from Leviathan to A. Full Sense are completely bamboozled. They've got no idea where KRX are going.
It's so tough. You just have to go for that full reset, try to work together as a trio. But in all that time, you have no idea where Hermes could be. And that's why they are so careful, tiptoeing all around this backside position. Just still trying to find this one lurker. Oh no.
Yeah, timing's perfect here for Hermes, isn't it? They can't keep watching behind them. Primi though, he knows. He's got a spider sense tingling.
Bhai, kya hai
Bane crucial here as the double swing comes through. Maybe there's a chance still for Full Sense. Ring will fall as well, and now it's down to Marco, who can't get it done. Primi finishes it off. Defuse will be gifted over to him as well for that extra ult stack. And Full Sense put together a really chaotic round. I like that a lot from them.
Yeah. So difficult to call around, and that's where I think the mid-rounding from, you know, when Cruz is gone, Primi, Killa, perhaps, the ones to be able to string it together. I mean, it all comes down to, all right, we know Hermes is somewhere lurking around. Let's just still focus on the matter at hand. If we take too long, the spike could go off, so just careful with a double swing out of smokes. Primi comes back in to check towards the flank at the last second and still managed to take down Hermes, and that's where they are able to focus everything down onto the matter. Next run up, and that's where KRX in a bit of a troublesome conundrum. All pistols, and just a judge for free, and they look to dump everything onto B site.
Yeah, they're really not messing about, are they, KRX? This time Hyunmin alone, isolated by the way, getting the job done. Entry frag onto Kahlua. Leviathan is trying to salvage, and his head gets ripped off as well, and then it's Jitboy's turn. Everywhere you turn, in fact, for Full Sense, they are just losing their lives one by one. The soldiers will fall.
What are we doing?
They're going in one by one, and they're all dying. That's what's happening.
I just gotta imagine Cruz is not too happy about that. More rounds like that, he might be the one growing
flawless pistol is
more so than Frost at some point. Really unfortunate. You can tell they got a little bit overeager. It's just one guy on the wall. Let's go get him.
It's just one guy.
And then that one guy turns into 4 more. And
be heavy punish
once now just to try to hold on to the op as much as possible. But it's rounds like these that Full Sense really needs to find consistency off of.
All right, well, how about we just give Premier Bladestorm? That'll be good. A few more kills on the back. Not too bad. But again, obviously not going to be able to hold on to the op. 13-5 for Primi. He is the shining light of hope at the moment for Full Sense, and he's charged up another ulti. We'll see whether or not that can make amends for what happened in this round. It's just a real mess. Hyunmin getting that opening pick. As you say, it kind of just pulls that flood through, but it's not really fair to call it a flood. It's more of a trickle, really, from KRX.
Yeah.
They go one by one, and then you're just getting picked one by one, and that round is, very poorly played by Full Sense. They need to look at that one and try to recover it.
At least they'll be able to buy back up, but no more operator this time around, and we're back over into an A-level fight.
Another big one by the looks of things as Primi will dash forward right into the loving arms of Marco. Hermes is there as well to dislodge Jitboys, and it's again just one by one. Full Sense are falling. Apart pretty quickly. Leviathan has something to say about it with the double. There's only so much you can do in a 2v5. Now it's on to Cruz with a 1v3. His position noted as well. Those shots on the Spike Plank goes down. Bane and Cruz. And it will go the way of KRX. So it's been a pretty pacey last couple of rounds.
Yeah, that would be the lead taken by
आपकी
KRX,
favorite team
however.
कौन से international में? जी भाई hello international.
But if
नाक का MVP
full
ना?
sets are not quite able to play around this composition, that's where the problem starts to happen. You know, usually with the
Roller
Rebel
के
fight,
उसमें
you
मारा
bank
उसने.
on
Raise
season 8
करके.
or something like that. But for this, it's a double duelist. Primi didn't have an operator. So why are we trying to position ourselves towards this spot where on the other side you would have nades being sent across, you would have Mako trying to reposition off of the TP.
Main ये
It's
कि
really
B का
odd.
कुछ
It's
करना
not welcome.
पड़ेगा
It's
लाला.
not what you want to have. And once
Simple
you've
है.
lost footing over this momentum,
B
you don't
का
have
कुछ
the op
करना
anymore.
पड़ेगा.
It's a little bit tougher,
I think we go
for
back
full sense to try to play aggressively
to
around the
playing
defense. It's
vice
that double duelist.
solo
And if you're
C,
not doing what PaperX did with this
and we
composition,
play
it's not something popping
Raise
off.
and Omen B.
It's just Primi popping off
Jet
trying to
and
hold on to the
Sky
operator.
A.
It's
So if they
unfortunately
come
not really going to work
A,
out. So even with this
we
timeout
can
coming in,
crunch
I
with
really
double
want to think
blind
about
B से
what
Omen Sky
they're
के
going to
साथ.
be doing as soon as the barrier drops. I mean, are we trying
And
to take
B
C
का वो
down
लोग info
perhaps?
बार-बार ले सकते हैं with
Run it back
Boombot,
around
Dog,
while KRX just roams
blind.
freely into the A site. That's not it either.
सब दरवाजा तोड़ के.
Well, it's a lonely
वो लोग
job
switch
in
कर
the
सकते हैं. इधर
full
से
sense
उधर.
coaching booth today, as
ऐसा
mentioned
कुछ
previously.
लंड नहीं करना.
Away today.
Vice A यही मैं बोला था.
And Sushi Boy is taking the reins solo, so might not make for as ideal circumstances as possible for full sense, but they did say they could get it done. I think that was a quote from Cruz, and see whether or not that ends up being the case here, as full sense opt to go for a little bit of a forward play outside of C. You've got the Bladestorm out already for Primi, so they are obviously trying to make something happen in this round, but they've got their forces on the wrong side of the map.
It's just okay. They could.
ये जीत गई क्या मैं सो गया था. ये गया पे ये गया.
Just so aware of it, you can tell by
But
how
the
they're
dude say mechanics is
keeping
part
their
of them.
crosshairs trained towards the back.
Part of the
Meanwhile, it's
mechanics
a
same
lot
ही तो
of
है, और
trust into the Vice utility on A site. Cruz is just a sheriff. If he goes down early on, all that utility is useless. You have to be so careful around this boombot.
I mean, what you've got to be aware of as well, though, is Cruz is a bit of a Giga Chad in and out of the server. So, one man
कल
army
जीता था
holding down
मास्टर्स
the
कल
A
जीता
site.
था लंदन.
Out past that dark cover on the wall, and that looks to be what he wants to think about. He decides not to. Primi round the back, can't get the better of Hermes, who was watching for that lurk, and I think that was really what full sense needed to open this round up. Now they might just be.
वो लोग कैसे डॉज करते हैं बे.
Although that Sheriff has
उन्होंने
done some
अपना
damage from
वाइस
Chip
का
Boys, and
blind.
there's a chance in here. Cruz, 2 shots, no hits. Mako getting the job done for the team now, and KRX again stabilizing another round. They will lose Mako for their trouble, but times are becoming a bit of a factor here, and Leviathan and Jip Boys don't have a lot to work with left. Dark cover out.
सच हो गया था.
Boombot as
कोई
well.
से
They
नहीं
might be
कोई
able
से
to get
नहीं.
a half
नियॉन
off
कितने
the
टाइम
back
तक
of that. The
डिसअपॉइंट
tap is
हो
on.
रहा था.
Leviathan holding it will be dealt with. And Jip Boys down to 30 HP off the back of it. He will get that fade away onto
Oh,
free,
yeah,
but no more. 6-4.
Shifted to London
KRX
6 months ago, not been able to follow the cinemas, but I came to know event happening in London. Looking forward to meet to their much love. Brings back keep the entertainment. Pawan bhai, thanks for the 10 euros of the pounds. मेरे चंद्रगढ़. लेकिन मेरा तो
Mako
कुछ
into the
scene
pivot
है नहीं.
position towards the back end. He
अभी
does get
तक
silenced by the nade at the very end.
आगे का पता नहीं.
Just
अभी
with
तक
how he's
तो
able
ऐसा
to
कुछ
come in with a
scene
slight
है
double
नहीं.
kill really prevents full sense from getting into position.
बट जरूर जाना. बहुत क्रेजी इवेंट होने वाले. बहुत ज़्यादा क्रेजी. मजा आएगा. मजा आएगा बहुत ज़्यादा.
KRX trying to take things a little bit more slowly now, knowing the potential threats on the other side of the map.
Once again, you got Primi pushing his way
आप जी
forward,
वर्ज़
but this
RRQ
time
सीन नहीं कर
solo,
पाए.
so much heftier
मतलब?
defense towards B. There's
Karan
3
Ajula
players
bhai,
here.
oh my God,
KRX are going to try
I'm
the same strategy. Send Hyunmin in, but this time Jip Boys is there for the double. Call it a showstopper. That's exactly what it is for KRX. They have been stopped in their tracks on their way into B.
Steel Garden though, and that's going to give them the spike plant. Primi and everyone just trying to surround them as much as possible. Find the right timings to launch the retake.
Spike planted.
Spike goes down nice and quick. Primi though, as quick as you like, also onto Hermes, brings it back to a 4v2. Leviathan ensures that Mako can't see anything, and Primi again, he is making it no mistake. God, this guy is good.
Primi है.
Full sense 5.
भाई बहुत सारे लोग शायद से जा रहे लंदन. अगर आपको ऐसा कुछ है एक्सक्लेमेशन मार्क जॉइन टास्क फोर्स मेंबरशिप.
Much more what you would have wanted to see in that previous round. We're just kind of running through the pages of the KRX strat book right now. 3 sides on the map, and they choose to end up back towards B. Quick on a dime, but that's one of those strats where if you're quick, yeah, but if you're not able to work off the spike plant more, unfortunately, you're going off of poor map control, and that's where full sense are able to surround you. So big collision off of paranoia and everything, and they're just able to come back in through.
उनका नाम अनसी ने मैं
Once
समझ
again,
गया वो.
it's full sense trying to work off what
Dude,
has
right
worked
का
for
मुंबई
them.
में
And
मिलना
just see mount control
का
with Primi
मौका
on this
मिला नहीं क्या पता लंदन में
Seeing
ही
that aggression a couple of rounds in a row, and this time they have an answer for it. KRX already trying to put that pressure back onto Primi, but this time Cruz is there to assist, and so freeing.
But still 6-6 is good for KRX. No?
Spike planted.
Okay. TP all the way towards the back, but spotted out.
Bro, the
Not what you want after you TP deep in behind enemy lines. Marco showing him how it's done. Gets Cruz in the back of the head. Flash doesn't quite connect onto Hyunmin, but spikes down, and Primi looking to get aggressive again. Just does not miss. And he's got another chance for one more. Prowler will unsettle him, but it doesn't matter. He can do it with whatever you throw at him. 1v1, Primi, surely. Got to be on for it. Half already, but Marco is fearless on the peak. 7-5. KRX take the lead.
Switching sides.
7-5 now.
I mean, it's 7-5 favoring KRX, with Primi going 17-8 or something like that.
A lot
you can't
of those
ask for him
kills
to do much more.
A lot of those kills are because he was trying to save the off.
Save kills. Yeah, you're right. I've got play-by-play brain. I see big number could.
I mean, I'm in that same line of thinking as well, man. But thinking about this round, though, they were such a good attempt with how he's able to dive back in, off to the shorty, picks up a phantom, but at the end, it's just Mako still being able to provide that X
कल कंफर्म करेगा कल जीता तो क्वालीफाई उसके बाद
a little bit more quiet sometimes, but it's
एक
always
और विन चाहिए नहीं कल जीता तो क्वालीफाई
Not for full sense though. I mean, it's one of these rounds again where you're thinking about potentially work around map control. That's pretty good. Where you're talking the drawing.
Bro, पूछ चल अरे इसका तो वो लोग फोटो निकाल के वो कर रहे कुछ तो.
It's just so on point. But yeah, just again, all the ultimates and how they're able to play around it. The next half,
आपका चैनल हुआ क्या सर्च करके आना पड़ रहा है.
What this double duelist could look like for full sense. Pilsky was kind of theory crafting around the fact that Jet and Raze could kind of bypass the sheer wall of Hermes, maybe. Right. And that could be a little bit nerve-wracking for who was there in kickoff, but suddenly brought back in at this point in time in playoffs, where if you lose twice, you're out of the bracket.
Geo वालों का पोस्ट
crazy record against KRX in VCT Pacific is not a great track record for Cruz. Look, I mean, it's early days, but KRX have got the lead, so on their way to making that a 1-6 record. Spotting a couple of players out towards Mound will just back up and maybe have to play for the retake here. There's no defense to be mounted on C.
Thorns कुछ कर नहीं पाया लेकिन actual में
Yeah, just all the way back, go full retake.
Flash forward, Primi trying to get aggressive, overstays his welcome though, and Mako, who has essentially been his counterpart at the top of the scoreboard on the other side of the field, puts him down, freeing in for one now as well. It is starting to fall apart for full sense though. They pull it back, shots in from Bane, a little bit of a whiff. With some backs turned, we'll get the better of him, and it's all on the shoulders of Mako. No util to work with here, and a headshot through from Cruz. Get the job done. Full sense up to 6. They take the pistol in the second half, and they remain in the fight.
Oh yeah, with that secured, you can definitely start to put your dukes up for the upcoming
Who
rounds.
is better, you or me? I think we have the same.
It's just really lovely to see that they're able to find that stability. Quick recognition off the spike lane, not seeing anyone else on site, so you should go a little bit deeper and set up. And unfortunately, although
I love you, my first dad only for you. Love you, Rituj bhai. Love you. Thank you for the body. Meri jaan gade. Thank you for the body.
Able to frag out, spinning around, even though Bane tries to go in for a staggered approach on the retake. So pretty lovely stuff. And they have to keep on with this momentum off to the next round. Starting to stream over again into the seaside. Full 4 from KRX standing around.
Over the top, Primi. He doesn't know where to look. I don't even know how Primi's not got into the kill feed earlier. I was waiting for it for so long, but the entire team dies before Primi even gets a shot through. That was madness. Either way, he still manages to find his 2 at the back of the round. So 7-7 for full sense. They'll be happy with that as a conversion off the pistol.
And also a flawless one at that, so they're able to buy up and really try to convert this bonus. Take this second half by the horns. I mean, just flying across, but you can tell that execute well rehearsed. The flash, the way that he's like spinning his crosshair all around just to check around the corners, and actually does spot out the guy towards the end. So the next one up now, and KRX might start to get a little bit proactive now that they have the guns to work with.
Oh, early smoke through here from KRX. It's not going to slow Full Sense down at all. Another fast play toward the C side. It is just getting absolutely battered, and there is so little to be seen on this site. Everybody was blind, apart from Chip Boys. And he's very happy to take advantage of that.
Hello?
Straight on into C. And
Kya?
already
वो लोग ने वापस same चीज किया क्या? Seat? The fuck?
We'll lose our heads outside of smokes. It all dissipates.
Freeing.
Same seat किया क्या?
But again, very tough retake, 4-on-3. Man's not down just yet. Chip Boys has the showstopper if required. Push comes to shove, but with Primi hitting the shots that he is, I don't really think it's going to be required. I reckon you just set him up to stand and deliver, and he is going to deliver. I'll be on for another double here. There it is.
Like
Primi just, any number of targets, and he'll deal with it accordingly.
We all have him on our build, right?
I do.
Yeah, okay.
I think actually everybody but Pilski does. And look, I don't want to rub salt into the wound too much, but I'm pretty sure, if I have to have a guess, I think Pilski might be on for a 4th straight day of last place in the build diff, which, you know, to be fair, he kind of has to. Like, he has to take a bit of a gamble now because
potentially
it's where he's at.
I tell you what, though, he's going to be pretty happy about his.
We have the best chance to win tomorrow because we are already very high.
Primi and Chip Boys just fly across it, in with the judge, and somehow KRX are just not able to respond because of that flash from Cruz into sight. Suddenly now, though, taking things a little bit more slow. Potential for judges on the other side with KRX. Playing around corners, it's just freeing out towards C side for now, having seen multiple executes towards this portion of the map. Full Sense, however, it's Primi with an outlaw, and he's starting to clear out A side.
उनका 3 generation का हम लोग का gameplay पता भी.
Oh my.
है कि नहीं?
There's a showstopper in there as well. It's good for just the one this time for Chip Boys, but he's still able to double down. Seems like any time he presses that ult key, it's worth 2 kills in one way or another.
Oh, look at Primi. Seeing nothing on
Master Sunday को कब जीत रहे हो?
Just going to push a little bit deeper. His opponents all have light shield, so the shots would be 1 hit, 1 kill. KRX just trying to find the right rotations over, but it's Primi around the corner.
Oh no,
mate. My God.
Not like this! No! It's okay, nobody saw it. Nobody saw it, it wasn't on stream.
भाई जानवर बंदा है बे वो. Hello?
30 seconds left.
It happens.
लेकिन वो timing हो गया कुछ नहीं.
It's rounds like that, or moments like that, that reminds you, Valorant's a game. Enjoy it, have fun. There's a little bit of whimsy here.
I don't think there's much to enjoy about that if you're Bane.
You didn't go to a barber and
it's silly at times, but nonetheless, the round was already decided when that C-mount collision ended with the way of Full Sense.
Master London है यार.
Outside of it, they dodged the flashes, they got the kills necessary. And now you're looking at 2v4. Mako might have the outlaw, but
वो तो बोल रहा है Primi और उसका aim same है.
Excuse me. Do much off of it.
खतरनाक मारता था ये कुछ भी बोलो बे.
Dark cover gonna go through.
खतरनाक मारता था एकदम insane.
Trying to isolate some angles, but it's not really going to be troubling Full Sense at all.
ये गेम कितना अच्छा खेल रहा था KRX. हल्का सा Primi हो गया उनके साथ. बताओ.
And once again, they've kind of done pretty well. Just recognizing, calling around it. Suddenly, KRX expecting the execute outside. They hold themselves up, while Primi just sees absolutely nothing around A site, which kind of informed how the round would play out as well. So very much in control of this second half so far. 4 in a row just to give themselves that lead. KRX, of course, should be able to buy back up onto the next. And that's where you want to think about how Full Sense might approach it. Do they take things a little bit more slowly? Do we have the timeout from Coach Termi? Not quite happy with how things have been working out for KRX.
No, I can totally understand it, right? I feel like KRX was pretty in command of this game. I mean, there was a couple of moments definitely for Full Sense in that first half, but
क्या स्टार्ट हुआ था बे KRX का और क्या ही लग गए सारे लोग सिंगल डिजिट पे अभी भी.
I have to say none of these rounds have even
Primi
looked
really
really for KRX either. They've kind of just been getting rolled in this second half, so that's where you definitely need to make an adaptation, put in some kind of idea.
क्योंकि मैं ये मैच के बात करूंगा ना
It's
कोई
pretty
time नहीं मिला,
tricky
कोई
though,
8:30
because
बजे
with a
ये में
composition like this, especially when you're
वो
playing
आज
against
ही
Full
करने का।
Sense, who are able to switch up their pace on a dime. Like, suddenly you're seeing a C's nade outside of A. All right, Full Sense is just going to dive
Hopefully
straight through
3
into
match
C
हो गए
because
तीनों
they have
overtime।
double
मैं ये
duelists,
मैप
they
के
have
बाद
the
देख भी नहीं
ability to do
सकता।
so.
So jokes
for
on
KRX, I mean,
you,
what's the call?
Karan
You
Ajula
go switch
bhai,
over to
jokes
something a little
on
bit
you।
more passive, more reactive. A little
Hey,
bit more
Dalos,
trust in
Dalos.
all the defensive setups that you could have with the Sheer and the Vise.
It's a bold call,
Kinda looks like
actually.
it.
It's a 4-1 split, though.
Ooh. Yeah, well, we've seen a lot of C activations from Full Sense for the past few rounds, so I guess that's what it is, but Full Sense with the read over onto A.
Hermes just going to go back over to B, so he dumps his
का
util on C and then
setup C।
anchoring the B side. But if Silk very
टेक्निकली
much got
देखा जाए
that
तो 4 बंदे।
set up over towards C, and you're right in saying that
मैं घर का काम नहीं नहीं।
KRX might be expecting the offense in the direction of C. It's not going to prove to be the correct call this time around.
So, kind of recall as much of the util as possible, or not. Arc Rose a little bit too far from Hermes. Everyone just to rotate over and try to shore up defense and stuff on A side as much as
मुझे
possible.
न्यू जॉब
But Full Sense still have the option to go back over to B. They
मैं
break down
वरना
baby door,
मेंबरशिप
that's
नहीं ले
always a
पाऊंगा
route.
आगे। बाद में जब भी मिल जाएगा तब भी लेना उसमें।
Just trying to poke around to see
मैं
who's
तो इधर हूँ,
nearby.
टेंशन ना लो अतरो भाई।
Has definitely prompted the response out of KRX. They've started to rotate their way across. Premier's spotted one, I think.
Contact.
Ready to dash back out to safety. In fact, dances in. Oh, yeah. He felt like he survived for way too long. Again, Babe, that would have been not what he wanted out of that one. But it is starting to come back together for KRX. Jib Boys will fall. Flash avoided.
Oh
and
my
freeing.
God, hello?
He's doing it all himself. Can't
Hello?
get back out to safety,
Hello?
but will be traded out by Marco. That's
क्या?
nice. You need an individual to step up
भाई
here for
ये
KRX.
मजाक
Get
से
them back
ये
into
मैं
the
लाइफ
game.
में नहीं कर सकता। Oh my God!
Don't let this gap get too
Blind
far away from
dodge
you. And
करके
Ring would be the one to do
slide
it. I mean, you
करके दो
kind of
मारे
just
बे
applaud the
उसने।
whole team as well. This play was
ये क्या
incredibly
reaction
flashy
है
and
बे?
fun to watch.
हमारा blind dodge
Dodges the
back
flash, slides in
through,
across, gets the
hello?
spree transfer down. But apart from that, it's just back
भाई
to
ये
basics
बहुत
for
crazy
now.
है।
Decent and full map control.
देख रहा है क्या मोटेटो
working
कैसे
around,
खेलते हैं
you know,
नियॉन?
information that you would have gathered otherwise. Premier unfortunately separated from a team, so not really what you want to have for the Thai squad. Back over 4-1 with more attention over onto C site. KRX still keeping numbers
ये मेरी
towards this
भूल का
portion
लगता
after
है।
1-1.
तो उसका और जॉब और मेंबरशिप का क्या कनेक्शन है? मेरा
Still, you got to
कभी
wonder
भी
if
यार
Freeing
मैं
goes
इधर
down
हूँ।
there. How does that round look? Can't rely on a triple kill to win you the round every single
Moteto is
time.
learning race from his streams.
Full Sense are going to default back to what's been working, and that has been the C hits. And this time, they run right into Marco, who has actually been able to get the smoke down in main. Of course, a couple of players already out. He spots that and gets another one, but Freeing can't manage much. And so, in the end, Full Sense actually still able to brawl their way into this C site.
Close by is Hermes and Bane, however. Operator, though.
Oh my God!
Spike's not down just yet.
क्या shot मारा बे ये?
So time's still working in
लेकिन
the favor of
खुद के मारने का
KRX
try
for the
किया मेरे
moment. Jip Boys just trying to maybe see if he can bait any shots out. We'll bait the push out here from KRX. Screws. Awkward timing. Util in hand. Hermes goes forward but is traded back. So now it's all on the shoulders of Cruz in the 1v1. Full Sense get another.
आई उसने गन
darn
सेट क्यों दे दिया
impressive.
लेकिन?
I mean, he was holding on to utility for quite a long while.
कितना
I was
risky
wondering
था?
why he could have set up a flash to allow for some kind of a reaction, but instead
चलो
sets up the
थॉर्न के वजह
thorns.
से उसको
Unfortunately,
1v1 मिला।
I think it was Jip Boys that dies, but instantly off of he's able to reposition out
अब
towards
ऐसे
the
भी
back.
नहीं
And
कर
that's
सकते
where he finds the
उसके लिए
headshot
नियॉन
angle. I
किल
mean,
आना
pretty
चाहिए।
strong take
नियॉन
still.
मेन था 1972
Double duelist dives
Yes,
in, and although Mako was able to withstand that storm for the time being, the trade still is where Full Sense comes out on top, and that's the name of their game.
Yeah, I think Full Sense in their heads a little bit. Showstopper. Uh-oh, I don't know that you're getting out of that one, Hyunmin. Could not back up fast enough. Marco completely blind. Beautiful layering of the paranoia. Perfect timing. And this round is a clean one by the looks of things for Full Sense. I might have spoken too soon though. Jip Boys is going to try to push his way up the rope. That is overlooked by Free. Jip Boys on for the ace right now. That's 4. And on for one more. Hermes can't stave it off. The ace through for Full Sense. 11-8. They are on a rampage now.
ये लोग
feel like that's
4-0
one of
या
those
4-1
plays that
थे ना
kind of
group
puts you into
में.
the Rays Hall of Fame.
Hello?
Instant pickup off Showstopper, and you just go further and further with it. I mean, we've seen players like Jing do just that. And this time, it's Jit Boys, a guy who was put on sentinel duty for the majority of his career. Suddenly now the duelists in this meta. I mean, hiding right underneath off of Heaven and being able to sneak up outside of that Nightfall. I mean, incredible timing onto it as well, but we go back to a Rubble again.
Hold the press. Primmy's not going to get out of there alive. Hyunmin just bops him. All right.
टाइमआउट बचा नहीं है क्या वो लोग बस कोई भी?
I was going to say I'm getting a little bit worried now for KRX. You know, it sort of feels like they've run out of steam a little bit. Full Sense getting away with a lot, doing whatever they want on this attack and kind of making it work, but a little bit. TP across and Jit Boys trips the wall, but again, C is left open and Full Sense will be essentially given the site, given the plan, the push forward here from Jit Boys. How does he deal with freeing on a line like that? 10 HP, survives the shot, backs away. Now we're back to 4-on-4. Still no post-ban though.
पिक्सल एंगल में वो पिक करके मार के चला गया दूसरा बंदा एक बुलेट नहीं मार पाया.
Showstopper could be quite effective for KRX. But look at how they're wrapping around. What?
Oh, TP back over to A.
He didn't see him. Full Sense gets to sneak into B site.
अभी वो लोग को सब क्लियर करना पड़ेगा.
Are they going to go B or are they going to go A? They're going to keep going.
Oh.
The fuck. Oh,
well, that's pretty crafty.
Bro.
You get the spike down. Actually, wait. Are we going all the way back around? Hold on.
Surely not wrapping all the way back to C here.
Just Jit Boys.
This is just try to get a cheeky plan on A and have some real space held in toward the middle of the map.
This is incredible.
That's to be a really tough rotate for KRX. Obviously, you've got Marco behind tree. It'll be an interesting position for him to maybe play this from, but this setup from Jit Boys should get at least one, if not maybe more than that, as he has been clearing up a few heads.
Didn't he just use
Showstopper? क्या 6 round के लिए लो?
Literally last round, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Leviathan should be clean up on DeMarco. Yeah, Full Sense. They are just reading KRX like a book at the moment. Doesn't seem like KRX can get any avenue of attack back in.
थोड़ा लेफ्ट राइट
किया. 12 on the board for Full Sense.
लेकिन ठीक है, जीत गए. टाइम नहीं है उसको.
Back them to close this map out pretty comfortably now.
Only one round.
ये में वॉच पार्टी होगा आज 98.79% होगा.
Clear, glaring gaps with how this setup works against a double duelist, especially.
भाई वो लोग ने रोटेट भी किया, वो भी वॉक करके वाटरफॉल से, मतलब सोचो.
Just taking charge
of
round
हाथ पकड़ के एंगल होल्ड कर
करके. Might have died earlier on with the C's nade being sent in, but instantly over onto C side, and even with the sheer wall, even with the thorns, it all gets broken up. And we go back into it again where on their last legs of this map, at least, KRX tries to shore up the defense. A lot of trust once again over onto sheer wall.
Well, this will be a brawl once again. Primmy though, this time able to get across. Doesn't matter. Free still deals with him. Marco as well onto Leviathan. So these early hits towards A, towards the rubble. Not really working out for Full Sense. They've had much more success with the fast plays in towards C. Going to try and recover it here, but that's not going to work at all. KRX just sweep them aside. So I think back to the drawing board for Full Sense. They've tried the rubble fight a couple of rounds in a row. It hasn't really worked out as a initial hit. So maybe we see them change things up coming into this next round.
Possibly.
Bro, you look fresh today. I'm always fresh. Hello? What do you mean?
It's Showstopper pulled out. It's one less thing to worry about against KRX, where I think it's just Hermes with that Steel Garden now. Meanwhile, Full Sense sitting on 4 ultimates, dude.
Yeah. I mean, this might be it, right? Like, rip the Showstopper, rip the Blade Storm. And that's pretty much that. That's really all you're going to need. I feel like the way the entries are coming through. Jit Boys, again. Primmy does go down, though, for his trouble. These A hits have not been good for him, but Jit Boys has just been absolutely fragging up a storm. Leviathan makes a meal of the spray on the bank. Back into a 3-on-3. Frames around the back. Another one of these weird rounds that's going to be very much decided by the mid-round decisions.
Feels as though Full Sense would be just stick together as much as possible and try to pull something up.
Spike just chilling.
I'm a little bit worried, yes. Killua
बराबर है। यहाँ पे
Doesn't
एक
see much
ब्लाइंड या
else,
कुछ
so
कर दो जाते
heads
जाते
back
बस।
over onto C site with the rest of the
Surely you can't hang around here for too long with the spike. If this push comes through from KRX and they pick up Killua, that would be criminal. They don't, in the end, elect to push any further, though. That Prowler is starting to clear things out.
Oh, he's calling that he hears it.
Rotate coming back from Killua, though. Meanwhile, Jip Boy's still walking his way out. See, this is awkward. And it all comes down to the shots. It's going to go the way of full sense. That might just be the map in a couple of bullets.
भी सीट जा सकते थे यार वो बस था टाइम।
Cruz Killua goes down, at least there's still Jip Boys all the way towards the back, and they're choosing with the B as their destination.
चलो B बराबर है।
Yeah, freeing hot on their heels as much as
मेरे को लगा नहीं था बे हारेगा बे।
And now spotted out, has to try and make it happen. Flash disrupt him a little bit. It's not the cleanest of kills, but it is at least one that gives him the chance in this round. Oh, what a shot! Straight through the fast lane, gets the better of Killua. Is it maybe still possible here for KRX? Surely not with a line like that from Jit Boys, who shuts it down. Full sense will take map 1 against KRX.
Pretty swiftly, I would think. You saw a little bit of back and forth, but onto this second half is where Full Sense really comes into full form. Double duelist all day, every day, baby. And they're just going all around the sites. Double dive into C, double satchel over into A as well. And it just bypasses so much of what KRX would have wanted to pull off. The sheer walls. It all gets bypassed. In that last round as well, he just mashed full mid-rounding, and I think that's where they set themselves apart from KRX in this match. Just being a little bit more passive, listen out for info, and once they do, KRX would start to overextend, trying to set up some kind of flank, thinking that Full Sense were trying to end up on C. Nah, it's a surprise play from Killua and Cruz. I mean, just incredible.
Hyunmin just getting a little bit humbled as well, right? Like, I think a lot of the conversation at the start of the match.
Okay, guys, I have to really go, वरना मेरा EMA का पूरा miss हो जाएगा. तो better go now and do the full EMA. तो मिलते हैं guys. Bye. Adios. Prediction याद रखना 2-0 full sense. फिर मेरे पास मत आना रोते हो. बिग्स पे आपने तो बोला था 2-0 होएगा, क्या हो गया? यप 2-0 फुल सेंस, लव यू। अभी कुछ दिन, आई थिंक नेक्स्ट 3 दिन 10 तारीख या 11 तारीख तक मेरे को बीच में कुछ ऐसा काम है जो मैं नहीं स्किप कर सकता। मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ टाइमिंग क्लैश नहीं करने, लेकिन पूरा दिन ही वॉच पार्टी है तो मैं कुछ कर भी नहीं सकता, वैसा वाला सीन है। और कल फ्राइडे है ना, कल फ्राइडे, आई थिंक परसों अगर EMA है सैटरडे को, तो उसका अपन आई थिंक फर्स्ट मैच नहीं कर सकते या पूरा EMA नहीं कर सकते, उसके जगह पे दूसरा कुछ एक लाइव स्ट्रीम होने वाला, ऐसा कुछ था। तो थोड़ा बैक टू बैक थोड़ा बहुत कुछ तो चल रहा है, थोड़ा कुछ तो चल रहा है, ठीक है, लेकिन जितना आएगा उतना करेंगे। तो मिलते हैं, बाय, सी यस, टेक केयर, सी यू एट 8:30, 2-3 घंटे में फिर से मिलेंगे। बाय एवरीबॉडी, टेक केयर, लव यू। मैच जरूर देखना, फुल सेंस जीतने वाला है 2-0। यप
I find you a star, and we could be in love, lighting up the dark, but there's nothing I can do. I can never get to you, so I'm looking for a miracle. Like if somebody be so beautiful, yeah. It's only a dream, it's how I feel. You deserve better.